Monkey Moon just has that energy in him, but he's got quite the compliment. We heard Drawley talking about the team building they've been going through, not just in scrims, but also outside of the game. And Drawley has been such a huge pickup for this team. Yesterday, he was playing insane. He won MVP in that match yesterday against Space Station. Exotic, so quietly consistent with his shooting. Cassio, the coach, getting the boys ready to go. And I mean, BDS, look, when they're at this stage of the tournament, when they're in the semifinals, it doesn't matter how they looked at any day previous. They've gotten to this point, and you know they're going to bring their best.
And I really like this Drawley pickup from BDS throughout this year, because you need a guy like him that kind of pulls off the offbeat plays. There's a flow to Rocket League, and there's a bit of a handshake between teams. Maybe not Falcons because of the way they play so fast, but there's a bit of a handshake when it comes to the speed of play. And yesterday we saw a lot of fakes coming out from Drawley. There's an expectation that when he gets under the ball into a flip resetting position that he might use it, and he slows the game down, forces defenders into bad challenges, and opens up opportunity for BDS, a guy like Monkey Moon, to clean up plays, right? So I feel like for BDS, they're a team that has been up and down in this tournament, but a guy like Drawley, when the lights are bright, when you're in your semifinals here with a chance at a grand final in a tournament like this is the time for him to show up.
This is where Monkey Moon is always at his best as well, but that guy right there, apparently Jack, had one heck of a series yesterday, and you said it, the First Killer-esque gameplay, and that's exactly what Gen G want. They don't want First Killer to have to do all that heavy lifting. Things might not be going well if he is doing all that heavy lifting, but if apparently Jack and Chronic pick it up like they did yesterday, I mean, we're just in for a thriller. Chance to play in the grand finals.
It's a scary proposition to think that when you've got Chronic and apparently Jack giving everything that they did yesterday, to then add into the mix of First Killer, Gen G, a very scary team.
Just like that, the semifinal underway. BDS get first look at the kickoff, and really just a standard kickoff to start out. But the talk, especially when playoffs started, Corelli, is the amount of kickoff strats we've seen. So something we're going to be keeping an eye on in this Gen G BDS series as well. The first 20 seconds as both teams figuring each other out. Jack, a little tester touch, and he felt that pressure coming from behind him. He lets that one go. Gen G just trying to control the midfield.
Would love to see a great game out of this man right here. Chronic finding his space. He's been so sneaky with his touches, especially through the midfield. He's done a great job of beating the first defender oftentimes for Gen G, opening up and unlocking that space behind them as First Killer almost got through the last man. Gen G putting on the pressure early.
And you know, we talk about First Killer not having to be the guy to do all the heavy lifting on this team, but guess what? He's still going to be lifting, and he will always be a threat down the way. You got to make sure you find a way to shut First Killer down on those pushes. He moves fast. He loves to move the ball with pace. I always like to say, First Killer, it's like he's playing in a bouncy castle. Like, he bounces around the ball. It almost doesn't look like he's controlling the ball, but he always is. It's just the pace that he moves at is so deadly. But right now, you know, it's been tough for either team to get any kind of consistent possession going. You see Exotic and Monkey Moon working well together. Drawley can't even get a free touch. Jack right in the lane.
But that's the setup that I think BDS want to find. Players at the top of the box, attacking with pace towards the net. Drawley was doing so. Gen G were able to jump in front, and Exotic denied on the goal line.
Love that idea. Exotic always sitting on those underneath threats. His shooting is immaculate. If I want anybody shooting on BDS, I want to give that ball to Exotic. And wait, rule one there in the corner. But nope, they break it. I think that was a gentleman's break. I don't think any one player broke that one there. So don't get angry, chat. Or maybe get angry at both of them if you want, depending. BDS taking some shots.
So there's some fakes coming out from BDS as well. The last man in Gen G trying to read the shot that was going to
there we
attack
are.
The goal line. And for BDS,
okay.
Again, those offbeat plays,
little late,
that
but
slow down the attack for just a moment, especially when they get defenses in awkward positions. That's where they're at their best. Gen G broke down for just a second.
Yeah, BDS have done
it's been a good tourney so far.
Down. When Gen G do get the boost, they're off ball. You see him constantly having to dive back. Not a controlling touch from Chronic. First Killer has to dive for it. Wow, great hustle there from First Killer. That was good control from BDS. Again, that's the threat that First Killer presents, even on low.
Yeah, I really don't know who's going to win here.
They still can't get through the midfield.
Yeah, but right now, BDS locking in Gen G. You're seeing a lot of these clears to the BDS corner from Gen G. And that's a great touch from First Killer to follow up. but it's right back into the hands of Team BDS, who have done a
I think both teams have been warming up into the tourney.
First killer gets a free touch. Exotic went to meet him. First killer
And are looking good, honestly. Oh, nice play.
That's first killer doing
From
first.
first.
Yes, sir.
You got to take it into your own hands sometimes. When you beat that first defender, bad things are going to happen for a defense, and they're lucky first killer just didn't put that one away. They got a second chance on it with the shot. But for Gen G, those are the types of plays they're going to look for with first killer, and he executes perfectly.
Yeah, great work from Gen G to give first killer that free touch that forced Exotic to hurry up. He saw first killer on the ball, and he thought, no, close. I've seen this before. Unfortunately, you can see it coming, and you still can't stop it. Exotic tried the low 50,
It's a nice try from Exotic.
But first killer, he stays right with the ball, doesn't get too far on top of it.
Good bump, though.
Reads it well. Gen G aren't afraid of BDS.
From
Despite
Chronic.
the amount of time they've played in the orange half. BDS really controlled the ball well in the first half of this game, but they can't come up with the shot.
Oh, he
Just
misses.
Raleigh. That's the best look
It's a bit of a free shot there for Drali that he missed, but this is still a goal.
They still find it. Exotic punches through.
Yeah, BDS.
It's good pressure from BDS.
Pressure here. I feel like Drali's shot
Kind of what
should've just gone
you've
into
come
the
to
left
expect
side,
from them.
but good follow-up from BDS. Monkey Moon kept that ball in the mix. That pop is so crucial to find the backboard and allow BDS to crash one more time. That was 3 chances in a row, Jorby, and they convert.
Both teams are looking solid right now. There's been a story this tournament of smackdowns and not really a lot of thriller series. We've had a couple of game 5s in there. No 7-game series in the quarterfinals. Only one game or only one series went 6 games. The rest were sweeps. And so this is already already kind of shaping up to be one.
Yeah, the teams are playing good
for both of these squads. Minute left as both look for the game-leading goal.
Scary for Gen G.
Gen G just fine right now.
Oh, and he's past them. This could be bad for Gen G. Oh, what a play. Actually got all 3. How are you doing, Trim? Yeah, Monkey Moon actually went solo there.
And he's got 2 in front of him. Takes it himself with the ball
Yeah.
on apparently Jack. That's a lot to calculate.
That's a big
when
play.
You're in the air. And for Monkey Moon to navigate
I'm
that
good.
perfectly shows why he's world class.
I'm excited to watch the rest of the tourney today.
Will be a scary time.
We got
here
3
for Gen
series.
G.
I believe this is the semifinal.
Soft touch
Yeah,
from first killer.
one of the semifinals.
Gets him the 50 back to Jack. Monkey Moon lying in wait. BDS.
You have Falcons
one going
and
back for the
G2 on
corner
the other
boost,
side.
but they're set up on the midfield.
Yeah, Falcons G2 on the other
Trying to
side.
push forward on the right side. Great read from Drali. He knew Chronic wanted to go deep. He saw he had a man downfield. Drali called him on it and took him out on the play. But great job from Jack stuffing that and not letting BDS.
So it could
run
be a
all
full
over them on
NA
that 50 time
final.
running out here for Gen G.
Yeah, it's go time for Gen G. 10
Or
seconds left. And
It could be no NA as well, of course.
Gen G is the most
I think
offense we've
Falcons
seen from
takes
them
it.
since the beginning of the game. They've
I
gotten
mean,
sore
G2's
now.
playing with a
Pass over to
sub.
Chronic. It's
They're
denied
looking
by
very
Monkey Moon.
good.
And this one looking to drop
Still
down, but
G2,
no.
but
Killer, backboard's
I mean,
found.
Falcons
Oh,
are just looking so
needs
strong,
one
and
more. Okay.
G2's
Gen
playing with
G
a sub.
knocking
I kind
on
of
the
have to
door,
pick
but
Falcons
denied in game 1.
in that one.
2 to win game 1.
But I also do think BDS is one of the best teams. Like, when BDS play good, they're one of the best. Like, I think they might have the highest peak in the game. They're just so dominant when they play good, so I do think they can also take it. Yeah, but honestly, both Gen G and BDS are very peak. Like, they have very high peaks, for sure. Both of these teams peak very high.
And it's because of how
But they haven't been as
awkward BDS
consistent
kept Gen G. A lot of these plays that you're going to see, well,
as
the context
someone
of the
like
game outside
G2,
the goals
let's
that are
say.
being scored for Gen G, they're having to use up
But
so
like I
much
said,
of their
G2's playing with a sub.
and their boost are being denied in the corner that they're
We'll see.
relegated to just booming it downfield or the solo play. So if a player catches up with boost, they're just having to attack by themselves.
But I mean, their
they don't
sub is
have a
one
lot
of the best
support
players in the game
without
as
that
well,
boost
so
for the other 2 players. So for Gen
they're
G,
looking good.
they've got to organize themselves defensively a little bit more, control their own boosts.
Get your
I think
food.
they'll have a little bit better time breaking out. But BDS, they've done great to just break up Gen G so much that they haven't been able to.
Yeah, BDS looked really good there.
Until
Definitely
like, what, the last
a good
minute,
game from them.
Maybe 40 seconds.
Because like, yeah, you had the first kill.
Even coming back after a great play from Gen G.
To get the assist to apparently Jack. But where was that pressure other than outside of that final minute? Jack started to come alive there. So if they can build on that here in game number 2.
Yeah, let's see what Gen G does. It's hard to deal with that BDS pressure.
Try to tie up the series. We'll see how they do. He did start to figure things out against that backboard. That BDS
I feel BDS are
stingy.
looking very good.
BDS already start off
with like how they're challenging and stuff. Which is a scary sign for Gen G, honestly.
And again, that's a perfect example. I mean, it's the epitome of what I was just talking about, Jorby. Gen G in disarray.
See, this is not good for Gen G either. Constantly clean possessions for BDS. The pressure.
Passing play as well from BDS to break up. And again, just
pressure is tough to deal with here.
And Gen G can't keep up with it.
Even this has turned into BDS possession. Oh, and this is hard to read. Good clear from first. That was huge. Oh! Jolly's messed up here.
On the transition.
He didn't quite read the bounce, I think.
This is just a simple clear to the corner, and
I'm not sure what Jolly was thinking, actually.
Too late to make the play. I mean,
Jolly really had to play the ball there.
It's just the quick transition from FK.
Jolly had to play the ball in the corner. He got greedy for the boost.
Be able to keep teams in game, sometimes really
Definitely Jolly's fault there.
He hasn't had to drag Gen G, but he still so consistently breaks them out of these holds. BDS had them in one for a bit. Jack through the demo has a light pop.
Same story as first game.
High and away from the rotation. Gen G are happy to wait. Steals
Gen G gets an early goal, but a lot of BDS pressure.
Makes him quick work.
Oh,
Chronic forced to hurry up. Oh, Monkey Moon hit it with the change up, but couldn't put it on target.
Yeah, Monkey Moon didn't have the boost, so he decides to try to shoot sort of off speed. Yeah, the pressure was too much in the end.
For BDS, this is why Gen G struggled to keep up with them. Exotic, he went for the pre-jump and then dove at
Chronic's in so much trouble. There's so much pressure.
Actually follow it up. Everyone in BDS
in that play.
In the attack, and with one man in isolation for Gen G, he's toast.
Love how BDS were approaching that. Try to create the space. They're running away. Good. Go chase them down. Force them to run away from the ball. Right after Chronic got that mistouch, that was from Exotic, chasing him down, and where that snowball effect started to kill Gen G.
Decides not to go.
All credit to Exotic breaking that whole play open for Drolly and Monkey Moon.
Good read from Monkey Moon. Oh wow, Monkey Moon's playing good today.
In a tied game now, Monkey Moon works his way around. He's
yeah, it's a scary sign for a Gen G. Like Monkey Moon's looking very, very comfortable,
right, and every once in a while,
confident.
Gen G have a prison break down the field in transition, and then BDS put them right back in their place. Wow!
Actually, a bit of a bad hit from Exotic there. Not a good shot, and also not a pass. Something in between. Saves Gen G right there. It's a very nice attempt, though, from Exotic.
About 40 right now. Can't break out of the midfield, but apparently Jack.
I mean, I have BDS winning, but
clear for Gen G. They're going to go hard and fast. Chronic
yeah, it's a tough one.
Fakes the high touch. Monkey Moon wants the hard clear as well. So both teams trying to catch each other out on the quick transition. It might work out for BDS here as Gen G hurry up in front of the box. Monkey Moon gets a free touch.
Tough one to predict.
Lazily rolls down from the corner. Air dribble. Wants the bump. Gen G get another.
But for me, I've said this many times. Like I think BDS has one of the highest. Like they're so good when they play good. It's just very hard to stop them if they're playing really good. Like, and they've been mostly good throughout the year.
Still having to play a lot of defense here. Chronic now trying to show off.
Like coming into this tourney, I sort of believed more in BDS winning if they played good than Gen G. Although I do also think Gen G are very, very good, obviously.
That seems to be when Gen G start to struggle. He has to find a way to break through for Gen G.
And he doesn't have to be the goal scorer. A lot of
and I do think Gen G's been at like minimum a top 4 team in this event. Like they definitely deserve to be in the semifinal easily.
Most times Chronic ends up being the third on Gen G just by nature of how First Killer and apparently Jack play the game. But maybe taking that advanced position will help him out a little bit, but he hasn't had that much.
But yeah, so far BDS has had majority pressure
holding BDS on the blue half. Those 50s
in this series.
Slow ball. First Killer gets some time to think about how to push forward.
If the series continues like it is going, BDS will win. But it's gonna come down to what's gonna happen. Like, can Gen G adapt? Will BDS stop? Like, will they get less pressure?
Space for First Killer. Gen G, now they slowly corralling this team BDS defense. BDS, everyone's on 0 boost right now. 1 pad for Drolly, 1 pad for Monkey Moon, as they do get the clear. For Gen G, for a moment, had BDS completely drained.
Yeah, BDS played yesterday, yeah.
The First Killer went up for the cover and option.
Every team played yesterday.
He was jumping from a
BDS looked good yesterday too, in my opinion.
Solid spot. Not really a threatening opportunity there from BDS. Jack's downfield, forces Jolly up early. He couldn't get the touch, but it bounces out for free. First killer had to respect it. Monkey Moon was in the way. There was no way for him to go in, so no shot.
Yo, Firmus. Hope you're doing good, man. Hope you had a good stream the other day.
Right in the middle of everything. No man's land now. Time
it was yesterday, yeah.
Gen G, who have gained some ground in game 2, find themselves tied up. And what's been a defensive series so far for them. Can they keep this one alive?
It's going to be overtime.
And surely Monkey Moon going to kill it.
Yeah, that was just safety, Jack.
You will have overtime here. We're in the semi-finals, by the way, Firmus. If you, I don't know if you have been paying any attention to this tournament.
Good solid chance of BDS win the kickoff.
Oh, this is scary. The pass might be there. Oh, what a save. Zero boost save, pre-jump. The pass was so threatening.
Not going to get there. Trolley breaks BDS out of a tough one.
And that's, again, another big chance for Gen G on those.
But yeah, it's scary for Gen G though. Like I said, if the series continues like this, BDS will win because they're getting more chances, a lot more chances, due to the pressure. Gen G need to figure something out if they want to win this series, I think. They need to try to get more possession somehow.
And they'll start to starve them out, but Jack got the midfield boost. Heavy touch back to Chronic. Chronic underneath to Jack.
I don't think they can rely only on counters.
And first killer was too far off the ball. He had no boost. There was no way.
This is good for Gen G though. Oh, Chronic's kind of side flipped.
But Gen G,
oh, first barely gets there.
Couldn't get back up into the play. Apparently Jack and Chronic
smart play from Jack, but first wasn't actually quite ready for that.
And we stay tied over a minute of overtime, but
this is scary. That's a bomb. That should probably have been a goal, let's be honest. I think 500,000. $500,000, I think. Spread amongst the top 16 teams. That's a goal. Yeah. BDS slightly off on the rotation. Yeah, Drolly a little greedy, maybe. Waiting, he wanted to wait for that boost, but I mean, he could have gone back to net. He could have also maybe tried to push the ball.
Well, first killer. Of course.
It's a tough position, but I think Drolly could have done something about that.
Well done as far as
it's tough though. It's a good play from Gen G.
Great job using each other, faking.
Vitality got swept by Gen G.
Did a great job mixing it up. They went for the hard
4-0 to Gen G
for the transition, but then they started mixing it. Right, Jack with the short touch, Chronic with the fake out to give it the first killer, and some of those plays didn't work out. Right, first killer in the midfield with no boost, but they kept finding those chances. And
Gen G barely survived there.
Right there again, Drolly just behind the play.
It's still scary for Gen G in my opinion because they need to figure something out. They're not getting enough chances.
Between the teams that I'm seeing right now, BDS very coordinated attack. I feel like everyone's contributing evenly.
They are getting a few like openings and they're capitalizing well, but
first killer moving downfield. I think Chronic got involved a little bit more as well, but in that transition. And I think where first killer really thrives because he can catch defenders off guard.
They need some more.
People are still rotating back. They're not set. That's where first killer really likes to live.
Looking like a good series though.
Boy, he has in this particular game, in a game that's been defensive for them in game 2, to drag his team here to a victory in that with that type of shot in that type of moment is big for them.
Well, BDS, I do think that Monkey Moon in particular has looked very solid. I mean, BDS had control of Gen G in their own half for a good while in game number 2, but 2 straight overtimes now, Corelli. And are we gonna get that the whole way? I mean,
hope so.
Back and forth on it. BDS have had better offensive pressure, sure, but Gen G on the counters.
Oh, smart play from Drolly there.
Made it work. Well, which one's gonna work, or will it start?
No one's there.
As Gen G get a
for BDS. Oh, this might be a goal.
Maybe they get the free backboard, taking it back to apparently Jack.
Oh, nice try from Gen G. BDS just caught on no boost there,
for BDS,
making that clear to the heavy hit to the backboard very dangerous.
They're not getting locked in as much. BDS, that
Exotic with a lucky respawn there.
Type of attack. They might need to speed up a little bit, then slow down.
Nice try from first, but it is a good save.
So funny, first killer gets that reset.
Can't get back to it.
And you think, okay, now BDS get the clear right now. First killer's like, how about I just pinch it away back to my team? And
Monkey Moon's fast to this.
Gets the free ball. The shot denied. A little awkward for Gen G. Drolly trying to buy time.
Yeah, he is trying to buy time.
Jack actually gets the
Oh,
ball.
what a
Exotic
beat.
went the whole way back. He gave it to him.
But now Drali has
Exotic
possession
had boost to contest
with a
that ball
good
in the
first
midfield, but
touch.
still got it back to Drali. Beats the first defender
Oh,
out,
that's a nice
but he's
try.
forced to go wide. There was
Oh,
no
Monkey
hole for
Moon.
him to punch through there.
Kind of
Good
messing up
coverage on the
there.
backboard.
Now no player on BDS had boost.
Genji staying disciplined defensively, despite playing a ton of defense down the demo.
Yeah, BDS getting a bit like disorganized
Coverage
actually
by BDS, especially
in this game.
anticipating that
This is the
demo
worst they've looked.
and ensuring that this one gets out.
They're getting
Genji,
starved,
low
they're getting a
boost
bit
here for
confused.
First killer and a Chronic, and apparently Jack now have to deal with Drali, who's found
Like
his
even
way
the,
all
the,
way to
the
backboard
pressure,
with no
like
boost.
Genji's doing a much better
Means
job
Genji
controlling the boost in
can
their
progress downfield.
half,
Monkey Moon bought a little time for Exotic, but
which is why BDS
aren't
can't really
getting to
keep
that
any pressure.
follow-up
When they get to
challenge after
pressure,
the
but
initial
then they
50.
don't have boost and they can't
First
continue.
killer. Wow. Nice idea to try to beat Exotic there on the play.
Oh, he's around
Unfortunately,
them.
Chronic, that was a tough ball
Oh.
to handle. And Monkey Moon, that shot just
And that's a
not
big
powerful
boost grab
enough.
actually for
He had
Drali.
to go vertical though. It was going to be tough to put power on it.
Yeah, a couple times he's not had enough power on the shot.
Exotic
He's been
now in a good
tough spot.
position.
That one's a tough one to get power
Oh,
on
but
if
he
you're
gets
not a
bumped by
little
Monkey
bit more
Moon.
behind it. You have to get over the ball. But for BDS, they're fine here. They've done well to keep the offense
boost for
going. They
Drali.
want to find that lockdown offense again. They're getting some shots
Oh.
off. This time he goes low and secures the
Did a
first
poor
goal.
defense
Now, on the
there
back
from
wall,
Genji.
That's a tough place to be as the final defender. Drali holds that ball, beats Jack, has the flip, and first killer comes across. All right.
Yeah,
I
it's
saw
it's
first
because
killer after he
Genji's
jumped. I thought it
placed
came from
two
the wall.
players
He was
in the
on
corner
ground. He knew that
in
shot
the
was
same
coming, but you're
position.
playing from a disadvantage after Drali beats Jack. First
That
killer
meant that the
playing
first
underneath
challenge
him.
from Jack
It's
wasn't
gonna be
that
tough to
good
make
because
save.
first
Great
was
shot.
really out of position
So BDS jump into the lead once again.
and couldn't really go for the ball like he should
And
have.
for first killer, eyes on him for the offense. He's
First
been-
killer's given him a couple of different looks on the 50s. That
Yeah.
last one that he tried, where he faked it forward, pushed it back. Really got to keep your camera
Drali
on
with
the
a
swivel
bit of a
and make
slow
sure you
recovery
know
now maybe. Wow,
exactly First Killer's doing
he
with
does
that
get back
ball,
to that.
how you're positioning against him.
Here
Here's
comes
a
the
good one
bump.
from Exotic. Fakes one. Come on, I mean, maybe he
Chronic
faked
teammate
himself.
too.
Jack's done well there.
He just took the
Very
run across the
awkward.
box. Now the passing plays come out. And
Chronic's read
Genji
that well,
very
but he's getting
strong
starved here.
defensively there. Nobody fooled on that pass.
Genji's done very well here
But time
to
slowly
survive
ticking
actually.
down, Jorby, and we're seeing a little bit more possession go over to BDS.
Oof.
It feels like
Such a
it's only
nice
matter
play
of
from
time till
Drali.
They get their second light shot.
It's smart for Monkey Moon there
Genji turned
actually.
it away
Just
once
wants to
again.
avoid getting
That
dunked
reset
there.
into the heel touch from Drali earlier. So deceptive.
Can tell
Chronic
the
almost
shot
gets
isn't
caught out.
really going to turn
Monkey
into a
Moon
goal
knows he's
there.
starved, chases him down.
So he tries to
BDS
not allow
almost
the
forced to go
counter.
the whole way back. But where were
for Genji.
on the midfield challenge? That seemed like the best time to go get it.
A little slow to move downfield for Genji. Just can't leave a bouncing ball like that for free.
This is scary for
But here comes
BDS.
Genji passing play. Chronic finds the
Oh,
backboard.
what a
Monkey Moon,
read.
great
And for
clear read.
Genji's overextended
And
too.
BDS right
And that's a
in the driver's
demo.
seat. Now it's just
Chronic, low boost all alone.
boost. Drali's going for the dunk. He does find it. Is it an
Basically
own
an own goal.
It is. Monkey
Unlucky.
Moon will punch it through.
But yeah,
And BDS
it was that
into
dive in
a lead.
I can't
offense.
see first killer POV here.
That read
I'm
from
not
Monkey
sure how
Moon,
exactly
which
he's seeing it, but
I
he's
think
going
first
underneath.
thought
He's
Monkey
thinking
Moon might
ball's
miss
going
that.
to the right side. He wants to cover
And he
right
overextended.
right in the center
That
so
was
he
the
can
big
pop it
mistake
out to
there.
the side. And honestly, that 50 probably went in the one spot that he was hoping it wasn't. That's
Yeah.
The big
unfortunate
mistake.
For first killer, but like you said, Chronic, he was uncomfortable. BDS, a quick transition created that discomfort. And Genji did not have an answer.
Oh, that's
for
a
it.
good
Now
play.
Drali trying to push it,
Oh,
and
man.
he's putting some pain into the Genji net.
And that's twice now. In the previous goal, Drali's just attacking the players. Not necessarily the net with the ball. He's just trying to remove
Yeah.
defenders because he knows
That's
he
so
doesn't have
tough
to
for Jack.
score. All he needs to do is break up the defense, especially when they're in transition. And he knows his team will follow up behind him. That time it just goes in.
I mean, the way he goes for that bump too is like he starts to pop, but he never points his nose up. He just starts boosting forward, and Jack has to for a split second be like, is he gonna play?
This
it
is the
up,
best
or do I
BDS
have
we've
to
seen on
avoid a
Lando
bump? And he does
all
a good
year.
job to try to adjust, but
Can they continue
Drali, when he
this?
gets a chance like that in front of the third, it shows you why that kid is special.
Oh, Versus
That
had
one just off the bar. Chronic
so many good resets
steals
like
the
that. I was
boost
gonna
down.
say
This game is feeling like it's under wraps.
in this game
Genji,
or in this
you're
series.
hoping for a pick-me-up goal heading into the next game, but this is good pressure. Chronic will
Nice
get a
shot.
goal here, but a lot of work to do with 29.
A lot of work, but a decent amount of time. And this is the pressure for Genji that they need to find throughout the entirety of the game.
Great
This is now
placement.
2 games in a row where they come alive late in the game when they're losing. It's fine, but you're not gonna. It's so much more stressful to be playing down for so long, especially in a game where you've played so defensive.
A couple of times, just
Oh,
willing to
that
give
might
up the
be-
midfield as well when BDS.
Yeah,
seemed
maybe a chance for
vulnerable.
Genji now.
And maybe a product of, going back and looking.
They're gonna
at it,
need
maybe
something
they didn't
immediately.
have the
Oh,
boost.
that
Maybe
Jax
they had to
bumped
pull
Chronic on
themselves out of
accident. That's
position
game.
for a second because
sure.
they were starved. But honestly, the boost battle hasn't been one-sided.
It's gonna be tough
It may
regardless.
just come down to timing, as it so often does in matchups like these. BDS's defense has been excellent.
Game 4 it
overall,
is.
and they will take game number 3, 2-1.
But yeah,
overall
BDS has really
Great
looked
game
stronger
from BDS,
in
and
every single game.
Who was the big playmaker in this game? Drawley on those last 2 goals.
Every single
Attacking
game
the
they
net
have
with
had
the ball,
control.
but also attacking the last man,
But it's been close though
ensuring that
still.
BDS will have a higher
But
quality
it's
chance
hard
of
for
the
Gen
shot.
G when
Those
they
are the types
have
of
way
plays
less
that I talked about in the
chances.
pregame. I think
And that
that's
is
the
what
presence
BDS
that
can
he brings
do
to a game
oftentimes. It's
that
just
not a lot of players
lots
can
of
bring, and that's
pressure
why he's
and
on his Team BDS squad.
they get way more
And you're
chances.
seeing what he can do when he's gotten the rhythm of
Due
the
to
game
that.
now. I think he's a lot more comfortable because we didn't see that a lot in game 1.
Yeah.
But in games 2 and 3, he's involved a lot more. And here in game 3, this was a game for Drawley that you can say, this is why he's on Team BDS.
You know, I'm thinking about the Chrome interview yesterday and asking, like, why did it go so well? You guys were smiling, having a great time with the energy, even when early on, or like even when things maybe weren't working initially. And he's like, we never left anything unsaid. But we had just shot over to the Gen G line, and you saw a lot of flat faces, not a lot of talking from Gen G, and that's exactly where
they're
BDS
looking damn
want
good.
them. So Gen G will call the tactical pause here.
You can just
and take
tell
an
with
extra
like their
60
car
seconds
language
to figure things out
how
and maybe
confident they are
start saying
today.
some of those things that have been left unsaid.
And
BDS, I mean,
it's tough for
both
Gen
teams
G
are playing
because
good.
A lot of their success has come in the transition, right? On the counterattack.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing so long as you're generating enough opportunities for that. And a lot of times in these counterattacks, they're coming from missed BDS shots, which is also not something that you want. You don't want to allow that many shots for BDS or for your team to then counter on, because then of course your defense isn't up to par. So for Gen G, I think the conversation right now is more about how do we transition cleanly with boost and possession and numbers downfield, rather than like, hey, we're having
Gen
an
G
issue
played
with
really
defense,
good
because
at the
I
start
don't
of
think
that
their
game.
defense is necessarily horrible right now. They're playing a lot of it.
Oh, Gen G
It's their
played very
offense,
good
right? They
early.
can't hold on to the midfield, and too willing to
Controlling
concede on
boost,
those
but
challenges.
it
But
didn't
Drawley
last.
has been the big difference maker there. He's
I thought Gen G
broken
played very
through
good at the start of
midfield
that game.
and beyond a lot in the first 3 games, but still, it's been tight despite that. It's like Gen G, that's a slight adjustment, right? If you can find a way to hold the midfield, if you can find a way to support your, because it feels like it's first killer versus Drawley right now, with the supporting complements behind them.
Right.
You can find a way to enable him on offense and actually put consistent pressure on BDS's defense, you might find a way to get success.
Here we
And
go.
that's been the big difference, right? Is BDS,
Oh,
as I
bad
mentioned
kickoff.
before,
That's a
it feels
huge
like
bump, though.
As a team, they're creating more chances for
Saves
each
that
other.
kickoff for BDS.
Multiple shots in singular attacks downfield. Gen G hasn't really been able to do that, you know, sans the last 30, 40 seconds of a game.
Yeah.
So let's see. I trust
See,
Coach
BDS
Chrome
doing
to
such a
figure
good
it
job
out
of
for Gen
this,
G.
just cutting off
And
the...
that's not a great sight for them.
Ah,
Drawley
that's
double
so
tap,
good.
drops it down, and the hammer on
It's so
top of their
quick here
heads.
from
Team
Exotic.
BDS
It's so well done
quickly
from
in the
him.
lead.
Now, first killer turning back around, confident he can get to that double tap, but Chronic
Like,
just
Chronic didn't even do
absolutely
that badly.
couldn't get to the ball
He
at
took a
all.
touch, and then Exotic's just
back,
up so
creating an
fast
opportunity
to
for
deny
Drawley,
any
and Drawley
control.
sees first killer underneath, knows the shot isn't available, come up and beat me to the
And a
ball.
perfect shot.
And first killer cannot. Apparently Jack on the kickoff, trying to get Gen G on the
Oof.
right foot. They can't even land on their feet right now. BDS
Great save.
sweeping them out from under the ruck.
Jack
What a
messed up
jump
there.
from Exotic, confidently attacking that one
In
with pace.
offense.
And you got to give some credit over to the defense of Gen
Look at
G.
the
That's a
speed.
tough
This is
read
what I mean.
with how fast that happened for BDS. But here comes Drawley
It's just
again.
classic
Is there
BDS.
follow-up? There is. but
Unreal
first
how
killer
fast they can be
able
to
clear it away.
This
certain
feels
balls
like classic
sometimes.
BDS. You know, defense. All right, pressure. We get every touch, and we just win the game.
It's just because they
That's the
have such
championship
aggressive
level,
positioning.
Monkey Moon style
When they're
BDS,
reading
though.
the game, it's,
Chronic
so quick.
Gets the touch here. Maybe he can get some pressure or a bump, and that just
And
has
Jack
not
now
worked.
just gonna have to
Gen G
stall.
tried the air dribble up, hold the ball high in the
Oh,
air,
good
go
play
for
from
the
Jack.
demo. None
He
of
might
that
have a
has
bump here.
Well, you know, there's a few keys to victory for any game of Rocket
Exotic's
League.
done
Derby. That's
well.
what you're trying to say there, and
Oof.
it's like control the
Drawley's
midfield
kinda
is step
pre-jumped
one,
that,
right,
but
for Team BDS.
it's too
Absolute
fast.
Control of the midfield through a few games here, controlling the opposition's boost. We're seeing a lot of that from BDS. They've done a great job
Ooh,
offensively.
Gen G almost got a bit lucky
And
there
for
because
Gen G,
that
they
touch
have
was
not
so
had a lot
soft.
of options.
That could have been bad.
Well, first killer, not a bad idea. Push forward on the challenge, then went back
Oh,
to get the 50,
bump him.
but it doesn't matter. Oh, there it is. It's an absolutely
What a goal.
disgusting
Oh
redirect.
my god.
Drawley, please. Gen G may have to take a shower after that one because that was dirty.
Somebody send help.
Gen G.
That was disgusting.
I mean, what can you do? It happens so quick. Blink and you miss it. Drawley's there. And it's a great pinch, but I don't know, maybe even
That was
better redirect
unreal.
with the pace
That
one
redirect
had.
was very, very, very impressive. How quickly he, like, read that.
Wow, what a start for BDS. And for Gen G, shocked in Game 4 after a timeout. They haven't really shown anything different, Jorby. We're not seeing that offense. In fact, right now,
Yeah,
we're
this
just
game
seeing
so far is
defenses
one
be
of
chopped
those
up.
for Gen G
Another one
where
on
it's
the
like,
far
what
post.
can you do?
Again. Hat trick for
Like, it's
him.
like
And it's only
BDS are
2
playing
minutes
at
into
such
the
a
game.
level in this first 2 minutes. It's like, what can we really do? That's the feeling they're gonna sit with. It's like, wow, okay, fair enough. They're peaking.
All right now, every 50 is away. They get the touch, and the last 3 touches Gen G
It's
had,
tough for
it
Gen
was
G.
touch and run. Touch and run, and that is never
BDS
going
just
to
playing
win you a
insane
game
here.
when you're constantly on the touch and run against BDS. And I mean, there's 3 minutes of gameplay left, but Gen G's offense has just been completely stuffed. Gen G 1 goal in the last 8 minutes.
And Gen G, I mean, I think they've been so used to the methodical attack from Team BDS, and
Oh
my
my
gosh, they're painting
God.
the outside of the net. Drawley trying to get a bump on
BDS are
someone.
playing
But BDS, they've been
unreal.
so methodical, slow to advance downfield and just kind of covering all
Barely
the
missing that.
options. In these last 3 goals,
It's a good
it's
block.
like a snake bite offense.
Yeah.
They're in and they're out,
That's a nice try.
and they're scoring. And for Gen G, I mean, they've generated maybe a couple shots. None on First Killer, none on apparently Jack. They need to find that offense. 1 on Chronic.
There we go. Good hold here from Chronic. Where's the support? Jack is playing outside
Good
the ball.
first touch.
Killer's playing the clear. He got the catch.
So
But still,
quick
nobody was
to
actually
cut off the
playing
play
win
there,
and that shows
BDS.
you Gen G, they don't have any
They have boost
confidence in their
advantage here,
rotation
Gen G,
or the
but
50 win right now.
oh,
But
and that
get
straight to
back
draw is a
the
bad
ball,
50
They just can't command
from first.
in the blue half. Going back, Chronic losing that
Oh.
touch, and it's stolen away by Monkey Moon.
It's almost a goal.
It's like they don't have eyes on every BDS player. Monkey Moon came from behind there. Exotic came from behind at the start of the game to open up the scoring with
Yeah, it's like
Trolley.
that aggressive positioning
So
from
somebody's
BDS, man.
dropping their eyes on a player on BDS, and that's why
So
they're not
fast.
getting there in time. They're letting the ball go. They think
This
they
is
have
what I
time,
mean.
but
It's
they
like
don't.
this
There's always a
BDS.
player right there.
It's like
Somewhere on
like
the
one of the
blind side,
best
Gen G have to get the
teams,
cameras on a
you
swivel.
know,
They
like,
have to know where all 3 of these
it's like
BDS
peak
players are.
Rocketleague.
If you don't
It's
have
so
awareness,
quick, so efficient.
awareness is the first step of the game, and there you go.
That's a nice
Great
goal though.
pass over to First
But I
Killer.
don't know if you
Gen G
guys
finally
know
breaks
this,
through.
but if you just think about how quick in the midfield BDS are to actually jump for stuff, it is absolutely disgusting. The problem is when they are not linking up and like in the zone, they end up missing a lot and not getting the reads, and then they just overextend. But so far this game, it's been unreal from them.
Catch for Monkey Moon. Beautiful catch.
They're just in the zone.
BDS weren't ready for it. BDS don't have to be ready for it. This is the stage of the game.
Good block
You
from
don't have
Jack.
to do anything too fancy. You don't have to take too many risks. You go through your sequence. You get the
This is
50,
quite bad for
make
BDS here
sure
though.
You've got the angles covered off ball, and you're good to go. Gen G though.
Getting on top of each
have
other.
found a way to
Don't
hold
know
the
who's
ball
gonna
a little
go,
bit
kind
more
of.
here in the blue half in the final minute.
They're out
Again,
now,
waking
though.
up late in the game.
That should
Nothing
honestly
clear
be
here for
game
BDS, waste more time on
when they
the
get
clock.
that good of a clear. Maybe
BDS
not
have
though,
done
because
such
there is a demo
great
there.
job in this series to dispossess and harass Gen G. Really a masterclass in it throughout these 4 games. And they are running out the clock perfectly right now. Gen G have no answers for the positioning of BDS.
All
And even a
BDS
clear
needs to
like
do is
this,
just
BDS really
control
shouldn't
this
have
ball
too
for a
much
little
of an
bit
issue
and
with.
it's
an
gonna
easy
be
cleanup
over.
for Drawley, and time is just melting off the clock.
This could be good for
Chronic.
Gen G, but that's a bad hit from
What was
Chronic.
that? Chronic has boost. He's not
He
being
has to
chased
do
down.
something more there.
He just gave up the ball.
Yeah, that's game.
You can't be giving up the ball with 20 seconds left. You need to do something to bring that
Yeah, he has to
down, make a
control
guy
it
miss.
or go for some
BDS,
aerial
they ain't
play or
missing.
something.
And time's running out unless they have a goal with time left. They ain't getting it.
Because that was the
One
last chance.
try for Chronic. BDS have this series
Match
in
point
hand
now.
on triple
No more
match
overtimes
point in the
for Gen G.
semifinals. This kid at the center of it, Drawley, getting the job done.
They look so
Exotic and
confident.
Monkey Moon following right behind.
What a great game from Drawley and from BDS, and the change of pace in the offense was enough to really throw off the game plan from Gen G. For BDS, this has been a fantastic series from them. Started methodical, breaking down Gen G, locking them into their side.
Yeah, this
Then
is the
game
BDS
4,
we've kind of
explosive
expected to
plays
see on
coming out
LAN,
from Drawley.
which we've never
He's the big
seen.
catalyst for BDS in changing
Like
their
that
pace.
online
And
BDS that
pinches like
just
that
so
just set 'em up for
confident,
success.
aggressive.
Pinch redirects have we
Just
seen like that? I
a
think the
play
last
style that
pinch-
is so hard
I
to
think that might
stop
be the first pinch redirect, at least that I've
That's the
personally
cleanest
cast.
one I've seen.
because it's like forcing
Remember,
it's forcing everything, like, you just can't do anything when they're playing like that.
Tony Hawk game now. It's crazy.
Yo, Stan, how you doing?
Near the end of the game, Gen.G, even though they stayed a lot in the blue half, Corelli, it feels a bit
this is the first semifinal.
I don't even remember which game it was yesterday, but the
BDS are looking unreal in this series.
But if the ball's
They're playing unbelievably strong.
You're not doing anything on offense. You're getting stuffed. You're getting outplayed. BDS
and they're confident.
Gen.G front to back right now.
Could say it better myself, Joey. Could say it better myself. I mean, for Gen.G, they already used their timeout, so
this is it.
Chrome's got to be yapping up there for sure if Gen.G's
I want to see BDS like Falcons grand final now.
And it's been lackluster.
And I honestly think that's what we're getting.
Where's the can opener?
And it's not over yet, but
First killer's been quiet, and just no one able to do anything productive with the ball. I mean, credit to BDS.
Oh my god, it's past everyone. I mean, that's just Gen.G trolling right there.
He's the EU first killer, or maybe first killer.
Like, honestly, like, these are just bad challenges from both Jack and First. That's like tilt challenges, kind of. You can see them scratching their heads now, like it's... Their mental is not in the right spot here, Gen.G, after those games. Like they honestly, like, it's just what happens sometimes when you play against BDS. Like, what do you do? You know?
I just don't understand what's happening to him right now.
What do you do against it?
Yeah, Gen.G certainly falling apart. And for BDS, I mean, they have been at the same level throughout every single game.
Well,
oh, that's a nice play.
Touch there from apparently Jack, and now okay. In the first minute, Gen.G get a goal.
Now, Rocket League's a very momentum game, so I mean, if Gen.G can take a game and maybe they can build some momentum, but it's looking very difficult. It's just like 80% of all the pressure in this series has been BDS. And Gen.G's had to like pop off with like these small plays just like that one we just saw, like small moments, but in terms of pressure, they're just in trouble all the time.
For Team BDS, but what a shot.
So hard to play the game when it's like that. It's just constant. Yo, weather. Hola.
I mean, this is just for Gen.G.
Hola, hola.
Right as they get one back, BDS right back on top of them.
I mean, they lost the kickoff, lost the touch. Drolly can do no wrong right now. And first killer, I mean, Monkey Moon with that initial touch.
Good first touch.
Well, good hold. Reset.
Double.
Forward, BDS sent two again. First killer.
Good bump, that's goal.
It's a slow roller.
It's a weird play, but it's a good play.
Getting back into the game.
And that's good from Gen.G. They got everyone to jump. That was technically a triple commit, even though Monkey Moon, I think, was just trying to get back down to the ground, but he got punted.
Yeah, Monkey Moon didn't really commit for that, but he was in a position to get bumped afterwards.
All tied up.
And that was the problem.
We're barely a minute in.
The double commit was a big mistake there, but it's because the first touch was so good from Chronic.
Well, let's see, Gen.G now. You've gotten a
made it hard to like know what to do for the defenders. It was like moving towards them slowly. Weird bounce here, yeah. No one read that. Chronic's alone now. That touch is actually very scary. That should have been a goal. I definitely should. Oh, this is a goal for Gen.G. Should have been a BDS goal, but it's a Gen.G goal. Overextended on that. Should have definitely been a BDS goal there. And this is where, like, will BDS start, like, will they start playing differently because of some of these moments? I doubt it, but you never know. That's a good hit from Chronic.
I have to say the same for BDS right now with the way Drawley's playing, because he's had a couple of great tries really on his own.
Good demo.
Some nice support, first killer underneath.
BDS should be good, fine here because of that demo. Oh, good read from Jack. He's up early for that. Oh, this could be trouble, Gen.G. That's a good bump. Yeah, they overextended.
And BDS, they're cutting you about 30 different ways right now.
Yeah, simple as you like.
Where's Chronic here, though?
Too low for popping that
oh, yeah, there.
Yeah,
he got bumped. Right.
But Drawley said no way. And Exotic, free goal.
Right.
And BDS now finding Gen.G in the transition and putting that one away for the equalizer.
That one I'm not going to blame Chronic for, because your first and second man completely lost. And if you sat there, guess what? Drawley's going to bump you anyway. And wow. First Killer got that on the back corner of his car. Doesn't matter though. Gen G have to find a way out.
Oh, kind of thinking about the pass there, but it's backfired.
Thought that was going right back to BDS, but he made it work, and now he set Gen G up here.
Oh, panic
on offense. Jack
from BDS. It should be fine here though. Monkey so fast to the ball. Oh, Lacy. Just got demoed like that. This could be good for Gen G potentially. See if they can do something here. Oh, it's a good wait from Exotic. Can you... Oh my. It's a goal. Oh, it's a bad shot though. Exotic doesn't have boost for it.
Well, it means that Drawley gets to go off the ceiling, I suppose. And this one dropping down in front of the net. Still, look how many opportunities
he can't really shoot this though.
Are able to generate dangerous ones that trickle down in front of the net or across it. And Gen G in a frenzy.
Oh, they're overextending maybe? They're fine actually. That's the confidence right now though.
Two players from Gen G going quick on the transition. He opts to take the challenge, jumping from behind the third. Surely would have been a Gen G goal.
I don't think Gen G wins, I'll be honest, because it's just like there's no indicators of that in the series. It's been a very one-sided series, to be honest. In terms of the pressure, especially. It's gonna be very hard for Gen G if every game continues like this. And this is one of the better games from Gen G.
They're not going to wait for First Killer to come by. They're going to go and meet him at the mouth.
There's a quality clear from Gen G, but right back the other way goes BDS.
But if it wasn't for that one counter where BDS overextended, where they really should have scored, this game would have been going in BDS's favor right now.
But the defense finally gets home for Gen G.
You really want to see Gen G outplay BDS, not goals like that, you know? If we're gonna hope in a Gen G comeback, want to see them outplaying them a lot more.
We have a premonition about where that's going. Monkey Moon, though, with a good touch downfield. Beats the first man. Gen G are happy for that, though. And I'm happy that
this could be good for Gen G. Oh, but Monkey Moon, that's a great cut.
Dives from across. That's what stealing the corner boost.
It's classic BDS. Closest man to the ball just goes for it, and Exotic might bump him. What a shot and what a save. Holy shit. How did he save that? He just knew. Jack just knew.
Got the dunk. Gen G are getting stuffed right now, and there seems to be no way out of the trash compactor. Drawley across, looking
what a fake.
Monkey Moon, it was all a fake, but no.
That's so scary for Gen G. Yo, Lauren. Candy Crush out? Oh, it's a goal. This might be a goal. Good job, Chronic.
This one pinches awkwardly across him, and Gen G right back into the blender.
Good job from Chronic. Doing well here. Yeah, Chronic's doing so well here. They're kind of overextend actually, Gen G. This is scary, scary stuff.
Gen G just get back in time. Trolley, couple last touches, starting to fall a little flat.
BDS playing very, very, very good.
Touch down the way. Awkward for Drawley, just gets the touch out. First Killer gets
it's been all BDS in this series.
Jack needs something. He's going to leave the play for a second as Chronic will take it.
It's a good pass. Oh, that's close.
A little bit of space. Chronic have to play quick though. BDS have told you, we aren't going to wait. We're going to go. Monkey Moon did so, but Exotic has to get back. BDS have been on the
this is some like flow state Rocket League.
For this whole minute of OT. And they get the low 50.
They're just going.
To change the speed, and they finally get Gen G back on the orange half.
Oh, a welcome pinch for Gen G. BDS were looking to set back up, and BDS and now throwing the ball downfield. Gen G would do well to find this one in possession and then carry it out, but BDS are able to get a couple dunks. Apparently Jack not out of it yet. Gen G, they've been finding more and more of that offense. And I think it's just because they've been able to get their own boosts on their own side.
This could be good for Gen G. BDS kind of using too much boost here.
And now BDS forced to play some defense.
Oh, and a miss. Some mistakes now.
He had Exotic there, but that's not what they needed. That gives
oftentimes when you miss the ball a few times, you're gonna start like second guessing what you're doing. You can see they're flopping past the ball. Okay, that's a huge clear. BDS should probably be fine there now. Space, this is scary. First should be fine here. He has full.
Great challenge from First Killer. There's a demo.
Oh, he's around him.
And he's still getting
Free shot.
Here comes the shot. Monkey Moon. Chronic able to turn it away, and Gen G on the transition.
very scary.
Here for BDS. Low boost for the defenders, and they make it clear.
They're feeling the panic. Another double commit.
Gen G's playing good though.
And Monkey Moon gets bumped off the play.
Oh, this is it.
Chronic, reset. Chronic 3.
Oh no.
No, it's too long. Monkey
Talked
Moon's
about
gonna
this the
get
other day, but
eventually.
sometimes those like multiple
Lots of time here for
doubles
first killer.
is not the best idea in high level 3v3.
He's starting to wake up.
Gen G showing their offense, flexing their
Because it's taking too long to actually fire the shot on target. You're just kind of letting the defenders actually get into position to make the save. If you shot, it's a lot more threatening because then there's follow-up shots, etc. The defenders can't get back. Oh, the heavy touch though.
Gets the challenge. Not really much that Chronic could do. He was coming with
Some weird moments here. Bounces.
Great first touch. Sizes it up, trying to shade what he's trying to do.
Oh, Monkey Moon actually gets back to that.
We're just trying to squeeze BDS, not necessarily trying to force that in front of the box, just trying to starve them out again. But
bad touch from Monkey Moon.
BDS
Definitely getting a bit like tense here in this overtime. The players are definitely feeling the pressure now.
But BDS full tight roping it here with the acrobatics.
I feel like BDS are feeling the pressure more here in the overtime.
That shot on target denied by first killer.
I mean, both teams
It's a
have
big
had each other
overtime.
on the ropes. I think BDS certainly have put Gen G's back against the wall more than Gen G has returned the favor, as that one goes well wide.
See, they're doubling. Did not see this much from BDS earlier in the series. They're a bit flustered here, BDS, in the overtime. I think.
They've shut down Drawley, that's for sure. Hasn't really been involved too much, but now again, throwing a couple fakes and buying himself some extra space.
But it's still good for Chronic to go
Oh,
there. You
Drawley.
have to force them to go in a lane. You can't
A lot of
keep
position,
all
though.
the lanes open for too long. So get that
Good
challenge.
beats.
Chronic
Exotic is
with
first
the
to this,
touch,
though.
but Gen G needed boost. They had to get back. Chronic
Should have probably controlled that Exotic.
Well, he actually got that
Bit of a
midfield boost.
nervous
First killer misses
overtime
the ball,
clear.
though.
Gets
That's
so
an
much
uncomfortable
space.
Situation for Chronic. He's able to make the challenge. Monkey Moon has Drawley bumping players underneath, but the Gen G layers hold
Monkey Moon's looking for
firm.
bumps, but
Jack
it's let Jack get that mid
trying to
boost.
stick with it. BDS slowing it
Oh,
down.
the
Jack,
speed from
quick
Jack.
attack.
Drawley's
Going to
alone.
beat. In the air.
What a play from Jack. What a play.
Apparently Jack down
Deserved
the
win.
field.
They played very good in that
And
overtime.
just yet after
Gen G.
4 minutes of OT.
What a
BDS
challenge
started
for first
panicking.
killer, and look how fast apparently
BDS
Jack
actually
gets
started
up and
panicking in that
reads this
overtime.
play,
That's the worst
and
they've
then has
looked.
the wherewithal to know the last man's there and bumps him
He
out
was
of
very
the way.
fast to that, yeah.
Apparently
That's why it
Jack,
worked.
a crucial goal to keep Gen G
But that is
alive.
the worst
Could
BDS has
this
looked. They definitely got a little
where it
nervous there, I think, BDS.
Back and forth
You
the
can kind of
whole
tell.
game. Gen G opened
They
up
were feeling the
scoring
pressure in that
this
overtime.
game.
And I feel like Gen G was actually very
Not
composed
that
in the
much worse
overtime.
than they've been playing this whole series, Corelli. Maybe a couple of sus moments on defense, but nothing they couldn't cover.
Gen G was
Nothing that
better,
they couldn't
or BDS
recover
I
from,
thought
and
was
even
better
when
in
Gen G had to
regulation in this
completely
game, but
starve
the
out,
overtime
they were
was,
still able to
yeah,
work their way through. Gen G
very well played by
had
Gen
to
G.
muscle their way through this. It's like old school wrestling with these two, and the grappling has been switching both ways. Who's going to get him in the rear naked choke?
And for Gen G, this was another game where, listen,
Can
a
they
lot
take
of
him to Game 7?
disciplined defense coming out from them. If you're having to play a lot of defense, a lot of times we'll say, well, listen, you're not doing well. And frankly, BDS definitely looked better in most of this game with their offense. But Gen G are able to squeak out some of these wins, and they're high-quality wins. With all the defense that they're playing on that transition, Gen G has been the most deadly, and that's why they've earned their second win in this series, and they're still alive.
I thought Chronic had a much better game 4, or game 5, excuse me, where he was struggling. He was coughing up the ball in those earlier games, and you just can't do that against this team. The ball security has been so much better from him, and he's not the one
Yeah,
scoring,
BDS, they
but
were
he's the
confident
one
in that
holding
game,
the
but
ball,
they
creating
felt the
more
pressure,
opportunities.
You're
I'm
looking
telling
for
you,
impact.
in that overtime.
That's what you want out of Chronic. Whatever way that
They were
comes,
feeling it.
Gen G are happy.
Gen G trying to increase the smile. Let's see if they can keep it going.
Oh. Gen G
Apparently
pressure
Jack
early.
with the demo, giving Chronic a bit of space, but that's a heavy touch. He'll work his way around the first killer. Low
That might
50
be a
back to
goal.
Jack. Right, left
Oh,
side,
so
cannot
close.
hit it. Exotic down the field. He wins
Big
the
boost
on
grab.
the up, but first killer doesn't care. He's got
What's
Jack
happening here?
going down,
Oof.
and Jack
Wow, what a
won
recovery.
that bump. Well, yeah, like you said.
From Monkey Moon there, he really went up with a wild aerial.
Gets a
and
bump on
somehow
first,
still came
though.
up with the touch. I think apparently Jack got the call out that Monkey Moon kind of flubbed, and then Monkey Moon still stayed with the play.
BDS should be in a good position if
But
they can
BDS
survive
backed up
this
here in the first 40
off that
seconds.
demo.
Not
See,
how
now
this
they kind
series
of
has
have
gone.
control, I think.
Chronic
Yeah.
couldn't go get that midfield boost, had to play the ball, and
Oh.
that's a hard redirect from
That's a
Drawley.
goal.
Rebound in, Exotic opens the score.
And with that much space, BDS are going to find the bumps. They're going to attack those last players physically. And for First Killer and apparently Jack, they're trying to make the play. Apparently Jack, even if he got the
BDS
read,
sending
I think
everyone.
would have crushed him on the in-and-out save there. So for BDS, a quality goal. And they're up 1-0.
That's a tough place to play defense when both you have to go in the net and First Killer can't get a clear out to the corner, and you just hope he can come out for the squishy save. That is
good fake, actually. That was smart.
Don't want to be playing.
Exotic kind of alone now. Low boost. This might be a goal. It is. What a play.
BDS, a rare whiff on the backboard.
It's not really a whiff.
Yeah,
It's more Exotic doesn't have the boost.
It's Exotic, and I think he ran out of boost.
Yeah.
Going up for that.
Like Exotic is fine there, I think, if he has boost.
He's good enough to put it away. A double tap like that feels routine.
It's a very good
and
double.
We're all tied up.
You know, as the Chiefs loves to say, sometimes just send it, baby, and see if they make the play.
That sounds like a Chiefs.
Wow, Exotic's just there.
He said that to me during our games. It's like, just
no boost for Exotic though. This is actually a very good demo chase from First.
Apparently Jack gonna pull out.
Stats cut off on the play that BDS are very good at.
Ooh, not the aerial they want. They see First Killer there. Like
his own goal.
First Killer.
Exotic's own goal.
Steals the ball away. BDS
Jolly had the save.
Downfield. First Killer reads it all day.
Look at that first touch from First Killer into the ceiling to himself with the flip reset, and he got a little help from the last man of BDS, I'll say that, but highly mechanical from First Killer.
Very nice play from First.
To use the bottom of his car to get a flip reset and pass to himself.
Oh, scary now for Genji. There's a bumping player as well. Nice cutoff from Genji. Very necessary.
Not going to let their player in net be too uncomfortable.
Genji's come alive here. They're playing like they're looking better. BDS may be looking slightly worse too.
Bam, and slam that ball into the net. Genji looking
but this is
so
what Genji needed, no doubt.
In the back half of this series, currently in the lead and able to hold on to that ball. BDS still have solid threats down the field, but Corelli, notably Drawley, is silent in the last two games.
Well, even with Genji finding some confidence and the offense, BDS still look great. I mean, offensively, they're getting less offensive output, but it was so high before that they can afford to do so. Certainly still getting quality attacks off against the Genji defense.
That's a big demo.
But Genji certainly
see, these reads weren't happening. These kind of bad reads from BDS were not happening
let Genji gain that confidence
earlier.
Going into the final game if they were to win.
BDS have
that's also not a good touch, actually, from Monkey Moon.
On the back line. Yeah, Monkey Moon, easy clear for him.
Oh, big demo.
Maybe start tripping
Jack
up this
alone.
Genji rotation. They get a demo. Genji will have to buy some time.
Wow, great first touch from Exotic.
First Killer on the corner. Chronic will take the first lead, though. A stuff on the 50. Monkey Moon. Whoa! And good recovery
huge touch from First.
Man, I wouldn't have seen that coming either.
2 minutes left on the clock, and BDS letting this one kind of get away from them with the long-range shots high and above the net. That's
good
a quality
save.
Shot from BDS there, but Genji ready for it.
Nice try from Chronic. Can't
and
quite.
Genji looking for some cushion with 1:45 on the clock. Looking to find that game 7.
Well, Chronic got forced up the wall by Drawley, but he had full boost, so sealing that corner isn't going to be valuable enough for Drawley on this push. He will get
great play from Drawley.
Chases him down, and First Killer, good job supporting apparently Jack there, seeing he was in trouble.
Yeah, First has done very, very well, actually.
Onto the ball, you force BDS to really work for the effort, and just like that, Genji get the clear.
And BDS certainly finding more confidence here in the last 30 seconds or so, pushing Genji back, long range.
This is scary.
Pass over to Exotic.
Good jump First.
Genji's
in trouble now, though. They're in trouble.
Unlocking Drawley once again. Off the
this is a goal.
One more will do. BDS find their equalizer.
Yep, there it is. BDS hold the ball here.
Cookie Space Buns. How you doing? Welcome in, welcome in.
Monkey Moon makes it too hard, and Chronic.
Damn.
Timing there, and just like Jack hitting it too hard for Exotic.
Yeah, you can just sense it there.
It's too hard for Chronic to get to.
Genji in a lot of trouble.
All tied up.
Oh, this is also bad for Genji.
1 minute on the clock. BDS trying to shut down Genji, and they might do it here.
That's a goal.
Monkey Moon just under the
That's
crossbar,
tough.
and they're into the lead.
They double up on the kickoff, and Drawley sets it up. He fakes the reset and just
you can tell Jack is actually scared about the other player too, because he sees both of the attackers. He doesn't quite know what's happening.
The net, and he hits an absolute heater to the top shelf. That's the type of Monkey Moon you want to see here in the semifinals.
Oh, he trips up Drawley. That's a good touch to Monkey Moon. First is quick to it though, but BDS still win out.
BDS get the clear out. Chronic sitting back. Jack going forward. No boost for first killer
Wow,
in midfield,
it's
but
a nice
he
try
can
from
go back
Jack.
and get that
I thought he
boost.
had him,
Monkey
honestly.
Moon keeps first killer locked down in the midfield. Genji struggling.
I'm not sure
to
what's
get
happening
control
here.
of it. Chronic got the boost, but he lost the ball. Jack
got
says,
them on.
try again. Chronic just sends it, and it's sent away by Drawley. Back over
To
to
be
Exotic.
clear, maybe
Monkey Moon has
one
to chase
last
this
chance
down.
for Genji
Couple last
now.
tries here, Corelli, for Genji.
BDS gonna try to pin him back.
Less than 20. And BDS looking to lock him down right here.
Genji's gonna have
Keep him
to
in their
hope
corner.
that BDS
Harass them as
overextends,
much
but
as
that's
you
such a
can.
good
Dispossess
cutoff
at
from
any moment
Exotic.
to deny Genji the carry downfield, and they're doing just so.
Such a good
Jack
cutoff.
again off the
And it's
ceiling.
bad
Too late of a
hits
touch.
from Genji,
Double
that's
commit
game.
from Genji. There's no time left.
Yeah, that
Jack
is not
has to
gonna
make
happen
some
here.
magic happen, and there it might be.
Oh,
First killer
Monkey Moon
goes.
actually missed
Chronic
it.
has to chase it. He got the pop up against the ceiling. Exotic was ready, but Jack gets a free touch. He's got the
All
sword
Monkey Moon
with.
has to do is
Wants
just
the
go
bump.
for the
First killer
ball.
on the
Yeah.
catch. Chronic coming through. It's down
It's a
the
nice try from Genji.
BDS to the ground.
Valiant effort.
BDS controlled this game.
Looked very good. Oh, you're silver? Gotcha, gotcha. Silvers?
They're able to close it out in
Oh, you mean
dominating
silver
fashion.
rank?
BDS
Is that what you're saying?
ramping up
I thought
into
you were
the
saying,
grand
I have a
finals.
chatter on Twitch that's called Silvers.
Performance from all
So I thought
three
that's
players.
what you meant, but
Trolley had an insane
I guess you mean your
series
silver
with
rank,
Sub
right?
And Monkey Moon, the back half of that was the MVP for me. When you have to take the shot, when you have to
that was
make
impressive. I mean, yeah,
We've
Genji
seen
can be
Monkey
so
Moon in
good
those
too.
situations. Crossbar, crossbar. No.
But yeah,
Top shelf. Top
Clow-
shelf this time. And
Clow-
what's the result in a tight game?
Tack? Is that how I say it? How you doing? How you doing? It's nice to see some boys showing up in YouTube chat.
The more things change,
You love to see it, love
the
to see
more
it.
they stay the same. Monkey Moon in the grand finals.
I started streaming to YouTube recently, so it's nice to see you guys showing up. Hope you're all doing good. We're doing a watch party right now of the Rocket League like World Cup, which is a pretty cool event. We're in the semifinals. One more semifinal and then grand final after. And I stream to Twitch as well. I've been streaming to Twitch for a long time, but fairly recently started streaming to YouTube. It's nice to see some people showing up in the YouTube chat. Hope you're all having a good day. It's gonna be a slight break now, but gonna be some interviews and stuff.
On the victory for you and the boys. I want to ask you first and foremost, you know, taking down Genji wasn't necessarily an easy feat. They beat Vitality 4-0 yesterday. Were you guys worried about that at all heading into today's game?
Who's gonna win? It's Falcons versus G2. I'm guessing G2 will beat Falcons, or Falcons will beat G2, I mean. That's my guess. In the semis.
You absolutely did. But heading into this tournament, BDS as a whole, the team, we're
What do you
looking a
guys
little bit
think,
shaky,
if you
to
follow
say
it?
the least. But this team synergy we've seen there, creating lots of opportunities for one another as well. Yourself as a coach, how have you helped the boys facilitate this?
Mainly, we had like really bad days because of a little bit of bad training. It was like really bad that there weren't like any specific stuff in the gameplay. Like everything was a bit to change. The main thing was like mainly to make the boys like feel confident, be happy with each other, and like have a mentality team game. So that was the focus we did, and then just with that, then we were able to play really great and trust each other.
Well, it definitely showed
they played
in
very
the
good.
gameplay that we've just seen there. You're going to be in the grand
Yeah, do any of you
finals
guys
now.
follow
Who do you think you're going to face?
Rocket
Is it
League
gonna be
esports?
G2 or is it going to be Falcons?
I'll probably say Falcons. I think they're really great. G2. G2 as well is a really good team, but they are playing with NAS, so I think it's gonna be a bit too much for them against Falcon.
Well, you know what, Jack?
Yeah, I think
props,
G2
Jack,
can
right
take it,
here.
but it's
Round
yeah.
of applause for Jack, please.
It's hard to pick
That key's gonna
the
be
team
crashed
coming
with
in with a
reservations,
sub,
Jack.
right?
I'm gonna let you go. Join your team, and we'll see you in the grand finals.
when they're
Back
going
over
up
to the
against such a good
studio.
team.
There it is.
So we're getting an
a
Appjack
win for
interview?
BDS EU, not washed.
No,
As they
that was
shut
just the key
down
handing over, right?
Genji. Hark.
But we usually do get,
weren't you guys
we might get an
wrong?
Appjack interview.
Hey, whoa, chill. I was a BDS
Maybe.
picker throughout this entire time. That's the one time I went against them.
Good
For
job.
good reasoning, I feel like I would have started the chain reaction of the death curse.
That play was so
wow,
nasty.
It was a great one.
It was
That
great
might be
one.
the best play of the
I should have
tourney.
known better as well. I should have known. It's Championship Sunday. Monkey Moon.
That was a goal for the ages.
Just needed to get the engine turned over and revved up. But yeah, BDS absolutely came to play.
Yeah, this is the BDS. Yeah, that has not showed up all year.
Soon to really give themselves enough wiggle room to get out of it.
Yeah, for BDS now.
Would you rather be an RLCS player or be yourself? What do you mean?
You know, it doesn't get easier.
I don't quite understand the question. Are you saying would I rather be a RLCS player or would I not? Or what?
But look at the shot.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
That is an insane number of shots. That's
yeah, kind of shows, right? Like that absurd pressure from BDS. 31 for Monkey Moon.
What, 70?
Or
60
not.
shots
yeah.
for Team BDS over what, 6 games?
It didn't feel like Gen G were gonna win, but they were doing something at the end there, for sure. They started sort of evening the playing field.
Yeah,
But it's hard to see them coming back, right? Like, look at the saves. You can just see the pressure difference. Like, 5 saves for Monkey Moon, 21 for Chronic. You know, it's like, oof. It's tough.
I'm not gonna lie. Especially...
It's like 3x or 4x the amount of saves they had to make.
He's about to talk.
Okay, listen, let's all be honest. Nobody wants to hear me talk.
In between.
No, you're good.
He's got a tablet. Let's see what he's got.
Okay, yeah. Anyway.
Take
So you want to know her?
Yeah.
How do we box in a team like Gen G, stop them from getting such a huge differential?
I wonder what it's gonna show here. I wonder, but the truth is that BDS positioned very aggressively and cut off plays in the midfield.
BDS did to set the tone early. We all know to attack
and that was happening especially from game 3 onwards.
It's about key blocks in the midfield. How do we set that up? Let's take a look. First things first. First killer comes around the corner, and the first thing to know, Exotics line up the sidewall. He's going high. He wants to stop first killer from taking anything up the side.
But it's actually the next player for BDS that is the important player, the second.
And creating leverage to stop first killer from getting out. So that's already great. Now the next second ingredient, Monkey Moon coming out
this
of the
aggressive
middle,
positioning where they're always first to the ball.
So Exotic has all of this, Monkey Moon has all of that. They want to make sure that first killer has to work through this cup of defense, and it's going to be so tough for him to find a pass lane because Monkey Moon will cut in. It's going to be tough to go over the top because Exotic's going to challenge him. If he goes around,
I saw many of these like floaty balls
cycle back from deep,
in the midfield where BDS are just up so quick.
But they don't. Exotic makes a great
due to their positioning.
Here comes Monkey Moon, and now the press is in full swing. Apparently, Jack gets forced backwards. Exotic
you can air dribble.
That momentum out of the side down into the middle. First killer tracing back, but he's late. Everybody's colliding here for Gen G. Drawley is just parked somewhere back here in the midfield, just waiting, saying, hey, if something comes my way, I'm going to take it. He's just surveying the advantage of position for the offense. A lot of people are going to say this shot should be in. That's okay. What's more important is that if it goes into the top, perfect. But you don't want to let apparently Jack fall. If it goes off the wall, that's all right.
It's actually very important. The main thing there is not letting the counter happen with the shot. More so than scoring. It's true. That was actually very well broken down.
BDS crushing the mental game early, and they got so passive. And yes, they started to battle back, but it took them way too long to figure it out. So great defense out of the middle for BDS.
Lovely. Well, now it's time for our Sony MVP player of the match. And Chiefs, I feel like it could have been anybody at this point.
It really could have
Exotic.
been. I mean, Monkey Moon was turning up at the end of this series. Drawley and Exotic both had great shows early on, but ultimately
everyone played good, but I thought Drawley had the biggest impact, actually.
I want Exotic. He had a great series.
I did pressure you.
Yeah, there was a bit of pressure and a little conversation going on. Yes, I know.
In that game.
Like, yeah, Drawley, it should have been you. Drawley's gotten 2 MVPs.
Play Erica for background music.
Needs to be shared around
what's that?
Honestly,
Erica.
It's a valid MVP.
Yeah, I think honestly it was a good point there.
Also welcome in.
Was mentioning it too. I mean, Drawley was hot.
I'm not sure what that is.
But later on, it was Monkey Moon and Exotic that picked it up. So between the two of them, could have been either one of them. But
do you know what it is, Ulu? Is it a meme or something?
It was a tough shot from first killer in the first place. But,
elaborate.
Exotic, honestly, it was nice to see him.
It's a song. What song?
Is a squad that needs to work together.
I'm skeptical now. Don't play it. What is it?
Looking good on this one, alongside Monkey Moon.
What is it?
Yeah, he looked
shattered. Sathu totally broke a key.
Honestly,
yesterday.
That's a valid G2 thing.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Of his opponent's places it in, and wow, key crush. It's key crush.
Yes.
Does it stay
what's your chant?
That's what I want.
Monkey crushing the key.
Yeah, the last one didn't stay intact.
Oh wait, did one completely?
Yeah, one completely shattered. Sathu totally broke a key
Honestly,
yesterday.
that's a valid G2 thing that happened. if somebody was gonna actually annihilate a key,
Just be
it would
careful.
be them. Look at them.
That's all I'm
Full
saying.
Well, he's in there. He's ready. He's like, okay, let's go.
Wait, can I do it now? Can I do it?
The power play.
Time.
Was it him the other day? Yeah, there it is. There it is. The arms on hips, dad
Arms on
pose.
the hip, yeah.
The dad crush.
Dad
And
crush.
there it is, gone out of the tournament. Gen G's key has been eliminated. No longer intact. Well, it is intact. It's just
I hope
not the right shape.
What keys do you think BDS?
Yeah,
would
for
put in
people
the
that
trophy if
haven't
they
been
win it all?
watching, like,
For
this is like the key of the
they just play
team they
all
just
in
beat
18
that
just
they are
because it'd be
crushing.
funny?
And then, yeah, it's gonna go into like a
for the meme.
Hall of Fame type thing.
Be like, yeah, I know y'all.
And
beat Gentlemen.
encased in like
Thank you
some
very much.
resin.
But, yeah. No, look at the head shake.
He's like, yeah,
Oh,
nice
wow.
shot, nice
Shocker.
crush. I let the whole team get
I feel like
involved
they
in
will
that.
put that win in their
That's wonderful,
trophy.
but of course, again, it is
That was a very
over.
good
BDS
series.
will be
That's a
moving
good
on to the
win.
Grand finals. We do have another match to get to before we know who else is facing off against them. And to send us to breaks.
If they win, I mean.
Exit interview.
Here we are with Abjack from Gen G, obviously after a tough loss there to BDS. Looks like he kind of found a bit in Game 5, but just couldn't quite keep going on after that.
Yeah, we just started off slow, you know, there's not much else to say, and they obviously played fantastic, you know, props to them. But yeah, just a slow start to the series, and it cost us, unfortunately.
Bit of an up and down tournament, great win against Vitality, and still got a top 4. You're proud of your performances here at the Esports World Cup?
Yeah, I think as a team, it's obviously like our probably best result on LAN. It's kind of what we expect from ourselves, though. It's just not quite happened this season yet. But so I'm glad we had it, the top 4, but obviously looking to go further than that. Obviously, we've got one more season, one more tournament of the season left, so hopefully we can perform there and yeah, fix some mistakes that we've had in that series.
Yeah, Texas to look forward to now. You guys.
I mean, Gen G is very good though. I do think they have a good shot
Yeah, boot
at
camp,
winning at Worlds.
yeah,
They're
boot
very
camp
good.
for a few days,
Very, very
and,
good.
Just getting ready that way.
No
Lots of
doubt.
scrims, lots of practice, lots of playing, and yeah, we'll be definitely ready.
And lastly, say anything for your friends, family, supporters back at home?
Of course, thank you guys all for the support, family, of course, all our
There's a bit of
friends
luck
and our,
involved too, you
fans
know,
of the
like
team. It's,
who's performing on the
genuinely,
day,
we can't say
who
thank you
are they
enough.
actually meeting in the bracket.
Always do, and you guys just, yeah.
And I
it's incredible the
fully
amount of support
believe
you
Gen
guys
G
give
can
us,
make a
especially
grand
here in,
final, and
in
if you can
Saudi,
make it
the
there,
support
you
from the crowd.
can obviously
Incredible, so thank you guys.
Awesome, mate. All the best.
you can obviously win too. It could totally happen, in my opinion. They got a good shot at it. I honestly think, yeah, would I put like Gen G in my top 6? I probably would, actually. I'd put them above Furia. Above Furia, above Vitality. I think my top 3 is G2, Falcons, and BDS if they play really good. And then like Gentlemates is like the team I never know. Like they've shown up each major, but yeah, they didn't show up here. Is it the afternoon for me? Yeah, pretty much. It's almost 2 o'clock here for me. Almost 5 o'clock. What time is it for you? Where are you from? A Cookie or anyone else in chat? I'll run a prediction on Twitch. Let's do it. We'll run a quick prediction. G2 versus Falcons. For the semi-final, the prediction is up. Someone slapped 20k on. Yeah, do it, do it. Stan wants to match it. What time is it for you, Cookie? It's very nice to see some people in YouTube chat, though. While we're here, I would really appreciate it if people threw a like on my YouTube stream. Commented, maybe. From Twitch chat. Or anyone that is in YouTube chat as well. It would be much appreciated. I'm probably not gonna say that again, but I try to at least call for it like once per stream. Once or twice. Because I do think it helps out the YouTube stream. It would be much appreciated. But yeah, this is the time, boys. You can vote in the prediction. 15 minutes on the prediction. And also, probably, if you need to go to the toilet, if you need to grab something to eat, this is the time, because we're on a break. Short break. Yo, Standers. I appreciate you, man, for doing it. I really do appreciate it. I do think it helps out the algorithm quite a bit, actually. It's much appreciated. Yeah, sub to the YouTube channel. Like, whatever. Would really appreciate it. I'm gonna grab some water. Should I make more coffee? I think I will. I'll make some more coffee. I'll be back in a minute. 1 minute. What are you at, Ola? What are you actually at? Damn, you're actually close though, you're actually close. Put 10k on. You should vote Falcons, Ola. Oh, you already voted G2? Okay. Damn it. Maybe don't use 10k. I don't know. I think Falcons are actually pretty heavy favorites. Like, G2's looked incredible this event, but they're playing with a sub. Like, they're not playing with their normal roster. That's the thing, that's the thing. I mean, you can put 500 on, right? It'll feel better if you win. Stan wants to match you. Regardless, so... You know it will be kind of worth it. And I think actually, if people come in and want to vote, they're actually more likely to vote Falcons regardless. So the odds should be in your favor, if you think about it. We need some predictors. Okay, we're actually back. That went fast. Goddamn. This will be a good series though. As well. I think it'll be... I think this will either be a sweep or it's gonna be close. I don't think G2 will ever dominate this. I don't know, like, I don't see it. Falcons have been so good.
On the other side, this is a doozy. I have Johnny and
Where do you live, Cookie? Are you from the US?
Oh,
or something like that?
Yeah. This is G2, you know, with a little of bit of an adjustment.
And then you look the same as Whammer?
Mode, still an incredible team. Lots of
That's
people
fine, right?
them as a major contender, even with that sub, and they've been living up to that. They
I'm
have
from
been
Norway, by the way.
very good.
Cookie.
Oh, that's very true. They just look unreal. I mean, they're the true dark horse of the competition. We've got 3 regions left: EU, NA, MENA, and a little bit of Morocco thrown in there as well. I mean, I'm excited. This is the match of the day.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and I love this because now we guaranteed have cross-region. That's the good thing about Gen G losing, is the grand final cannot be G2 Gen G. I think that would have been a boring final compared to what we're potentially getting now, right? I mean, Gen G versus Falcons would have been great, but now we're guaranteed a good, like, exciting final in terms of matchup. Something we don't see often. First grand final of the year for BDS though, on LAN.
And the next one is underway. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the long-awaited rematch of the London Major Grand Final. So let's not keep anyone waiting, and let's welcome our semi-finalists on stage, starting with our hometown heroes, Team Falcons. The boys in green have been flying high and proud ever since Meta was added to the pro circuit.
I mean, they have the crowd, Falcons too.
They look for revenge, surrounded by their
And they had this situation in the past, and then they lost to Furia in the grand final long time ago. Different roster, but
I do not envy their opposition though, Fancy, because it is G2 Esports. Taking down our grand finalist BDS.
they're getting booed.
2 days ago.
God damn.
Hurdle still waiting before them. Can they keep up their win streak and show us all their own spin of what it means to go beast mode, baby?
Players, please place your keys and take to your seats as we head on for our second semi-finals. The crowd is
Yeah, I mean, it's a full Middle Eastern crowd, pretty much, so since it's in Riyadh, so I guess it makes sense, but
so please, casters, take it away.
Falcons will be heavy crowd favorites. I mean, these are just straight up 6 of the best players in the world. Obviously, it's gonna be sick. Nas with a very big performance here. I think, yeah, next RLCS season, in my opinion, Nas will end up on a very, very good team. He'll end up on one of the best teams next season. I think. Gonna be, yeah, gonna be hard to predict what's gonna happen in the off-season. Nas, he's the sub now for G2. And he's really been an up-and-coming talent. He's one of the best in ranked, etc. in 1s, 2s. 1s, show matches, ranked. He's been one of the best for a while now. But he got picked up. He moved from, basically changed regions from EU to NA this season. In his breakout season, played with M80. Did not go very well. But I think next season he'll land on a top team.
They've been the best performing team that I've seen. They've looked the best.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even when you look back, not even just
he is very, very good.
Excelled at the London
one of the best.
Most recently, just a couple months ago, they actually beat G2 in a sweep.
Moist still in the RLCS. No, right? They are actually. I forgot. They dropped their European roster and they picked up an NA roster. They have a bad team now. I mean, bad, quote unquote. Not good enough to make LANs.
Yeah, they're probably gonna win.
Yeah, because Joyo, who was like their main player, you could say, he eventually, after years of playing for Moist, he needed to make a change to try to get to the top. And he couldn't get the team he needed on Moist, so he ended up moving orgs to try to, you know, get to Worlds, which was a very good move for him. Like, it almost paid off. They almost got to Worlds. They did make it to the last major. But yeah, because of that, Moist ended up moving to NA because, yeah, they didn't really have a good roster anymore in Europe. And it just made more sense financially for them at that point, when they couldn't keep Joyo. They got a decent team with some young players in NA, but maybe they'll pick up a stronger team at the start of next season. We'll see what happens.
Their toughest competition yet.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, G2, they were
it's hard mid-season to get a team with top players, and it's pricey too, at the end of the day.
and Lance as well, coming second the first time around and first the second time around. But they do have that sub. Beast mode is out. Nas is in, and he's been performing admirably, but ultimately, and I don't mean this as an insult, he's not yet as good a player as Beast mode. It is ultimately a downgrade.
The thing is,
so how do they compare against Falcons?
they are playing without Beast mode, and G2 won the last major, and Beast mode was their best player. And Beast mode's really, in most people's eyes, been G2's best player. This is why it's kind of hard to think that G2 can play to the same level, but I do think overall Nas is probably more talented than Beast mode. If you think about like overall, if you think about 1s, 2s, everything. I mean, it's hard to say. They're probably pretty equal. I mean, he's not outmatched by him in terms of talent, is all I'm saying. But in terms of experience and fitting in with the team, that's where you gotta give the edge to Beast mode, who's pretty much considered the best player in the world at the moment for 3v3.
And then finally, they beat Chiefs 4-0.
At least heavily in the conversation.
Neither of these teams have conceded a game up to this point.
You know, Falcons will come out with a lot of pressure, and G2 typically throughout the season been a lot more defensively positioned, deep positioning. Last time they faced off, G2 really had a good read on Falcons, and yeah, ended up beating them pretty easily, actually. So we'll see what happens. This is the grand final here from the last major.
Identical twins have been together
in the semi-final.
both as teammates and of course in real life.
Prediction is still up, by the way, for a few minutes. 3 minutes or something, 2-3.
Always solid on the goal. I'm one of the best defenders in the world, is Ruas. Maybe because he sits so close to his monitor, surely it helps. TRK takes the early shot, it's good to the backboard. Nas is up, and Nas has to be solid here. I mean, he hasn't tasted any adversity for G2 Esports.
I mean, so far, I mean, the caliber of teams that have come up against, ultimately, they've earned their spot here, but Limitless, yeah. BDS is now in the grand final. That is the biggest statement at 3-0. They only let in a single goal. They nearly perfect swept BDS, in fact. So
big win.
Is a phenomenal standing for them. And then in the quarterfinals, it was Chiefs who somehow, we still don't really know, smashed their way through Gentlemates twice to make it there. I think Falcons have had a harder journey a little bit, but pretty even, especially when you consider the number that BDS have put up.
There's a save there from Nas in the corner. He carries on going forwards as well. He gets the bump, and that's first blood for G2.
First goal.
Yeah, 2 minutes through is Daniel taking
couldn't quite see what happened there, actually.
An assist from Nas as well, who goes away from the ball.
Okay, bumps clears, and yeah, Ruas didn't see that player maybe.
And gets that low shot down. Falcons chasing, just 2 minutes in.
TRK looking pretty frustrated, despite only one goal going in. They have both, of course, conceded. Neither of them have been that perfect throughout this event. That would be impossible.
It does kind of feel like last time they played, like almost G2's a bit of a bad matchup for Falcons, almost, but could have also just been Falcons
smashed about by Team Falcons. I don't think anybody
feeling the pressure of the grand final. It's hard to say exactly what happened in that grand final.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no doubt G2 played incredibly well.
He's feeling comfortable in that team. It's not just a case of individual skill. And
it's a demo.
Tweet about this as well. Like, it's not just about individual skill. We've seen how teams can have all that, but then they just don't work together. That's clearly the case with M80. They have supported him through this.
Yeah, M80 is like the #1 example of that, where talent doesn't always mean good results, but it does oftentimes lead to good results.
Being shown here by Falcons despite losing. Still a couple of minutes left, so no panic just yet, even if G2 get the next goal. Let's put in that corner, and it is G2 looking a little bit more likely at the moment until TRK takes a touch. Killers underneath him. Ruas surging forward.
It can't be a bad thing.
Boost on the side means he can come in here, try and tee up his twin, but Nas and Daniel, the two of them, squeeze that ball away. Now here is Nas. What does he bring to the table instead of beast mode in these late
G2 really
situations in the semi-finals,
neutralizing the Falcons.
Beast mode was the player they'd looked to before. That target is TRK for Falcons.
Even I was kind of surprised that was a shot on target. It was really sort of threatening a pass here. If you think about it, like this, a pass out here. You can see Nas is actually facing out, expecting a pass.
That near post barely left open. A bull's width.
Jinxed it.
Sneak through. and drawn up level with 100 seconds.
It's just that almost every team Falcons play against, they just crush them with their pressure. And G2's still getting pressured, but they're not really getting in positions where they can't get out.
Just shocking G2 esports there. Atomic, he goes to the back.
You know,
Nass is coming in. This is the real chance. He's got it over though.
Atomic should have tried to touch that ball, I think.
That was an opportunity.
Yeah, Roas just grounded as well. Made sure that he just needed to stay away.
G2's finding a lot of chances here, actually.
Rather on the backboard that was trying to block him away, trying to send him out the sky. We now hit 1 minute remaining.
Oh, that might be a goal. It's not on target, regardless.
It's going to threaten Roas somewhat. He now has to work his way back. A little bit of patience, a little bit of time for Falcons in their own half.
This is good for Falcons. Good job from Atomic. Kalir sitting too deep there to do anything.
He does head back, letting killers in. It's Team Falcons beginning to up the impetus. Ruas up against Daniel. Daniel gets into the back wall. Ruas can clear. Falcons looking the likelier.
A full court dribble though for Roas, not onto the reset.
Free shot maybe. Can't. It's threatening though, but Falcon's not quite executing for the final shot here. Oh, what a shot. That was nasty.
That is the lowest double tap I've ever seen.
Two very good goals from TRK.
Takes it low, and then the second, Daniel doesn't leave the wall. The needle
just going solo.
and Falcons on to continue their unbeaten streak.
The crowd is happy. Happy crowd.
They may well win this one. Ruas, his kickoff is okay, but it does fall to Atomic. He has boost to play with, and he has a pinch potentially, but Ruas clears it. 13 seconds left. G2 first have to get this ball, then they have to score.
Ooh.
Job one done. What can they do
That's
now?
it in.
Chance, though,
Great save. But this should lead to the ball dropping for Falcons. Yeah, there it is.
Near target floor,
they take game one,
but still up in the air.
But it was very close.
Atomic just lets it drop, and Team Falcons do take game one. They remain undefeated in games in this tournament. G2 concede their first. It was close though, Stumpy, but Falcons, they just had that star power from TRK.
And we look at also the history between these two teams. If Falcons can take this, they will then be level 2-all in series wins. They've only played each other in one best-of-7 previously, and that was the most recent one in the grand finals, 4-1 in favor of G2 there. So Falcons wanting to level it up a little bit.
That was a very, very nice shot.
That shot,
unbelievable.
The speed.
It was just the threat of the pass that made that possible.
Both of his shots had two defenders to weave their way through, and both times he managed to get that ball on the one specific trajectory and pace that would find its way between both of them. Just pure instinct there from TRK as well, of course, as the muscle memory that
but I like this is not like BDS versus Gen G so far. This is close.
Been at this stage twice of these tournaments.
Both teams getting chances, pressure, possession.
Second time around,
it's hard to really say who has the edge so far, except Falcons won game one, right? But
it'll be such a statement to do at EWC as well. We saw previously in year one of Gamers 8, we keep mentioning it, Furia reverse swept them. They didn't have the ice, of course, completely different roster to what they are now. They did not have the ice then. Certainly looking like they've got the chance to make it this time around.
And one of the duos that defeated Falcons last time around was Daniel playing today, and Beast Mode, of course, not playing today. So the team on the other side have history in this event as well, or the previous branding of
Falcons panicking a little bit there.
Early. Ruas gets the save. I was going to go as far as Daniel and Nass, so some early pressure here for G2. They have control of the midfield. Can Team Falcons escape? TRK's low on boost. So
great play from Nass. Daniel's missed the shot slightly.
The finish isn't quite there from
that was a free shot. Like, if Daniel plays that perfect, it was a goal. Falcons could not defend that.
Saved away. Smoke screen now, all of us. Standing now in the back corner, wanting to try and make sure the Falcons
they're in a rule
of getting together, and a rule 2 or a rule 1, whatever you want to call it, in the corner between Killers and Daniel.
Stick with it. Let the people hate. It's rule 2. We know it. So we now have a 2v2. Ruas, and I'm not actually sure who is there with him. It's Ruas and TRK.
That's a scary 2v2.
So far, the best performing, or so far TRK, in my opinion, is the best performing player. Let's see how he fares in this 2v2. This is like a return to the old format.
This is wonderful.
TRK gets it into the corner, has a chance to shoot. Yes, again, gets the flip reset and almost gets the bump.
I think the best 2v2 duo here for G2 would have been Daniel Nass. So it might not be ideal for them in that sense.
And you know what? We just see Atomic skirting around Daniel, making sure that he doesn't hit him. Doesn't want to break that. That is valid though.
Whilst
but both teams very clearly locked in for the 2v2.
Falcons has the best 2v2 combination here, in my opinion. I mean, you could argue the Twins are, but I just think TRK is such a good twos player.
Grab it, so had to swing by again and get hold of it. Eventually, he does get the boost and the ball, but he's used a lot of it to do not very much. Maybe just to escape Ruas, who isn't letting him get a split second on the ball. TRK goes for a flip reset, but won't be able to do too much with it. Nas up against TRK. Nas to the side, Ruas here, around the corner. So far for me, it's Falcons looking more likely. And what an angle that is.
Kaliers is the MVP so far of this game.
2v2, such a different
putting in the work.
TRK now, air dribbling it, trying to go for the dunk, calling two defenders into question just how well they can do. But Daniel and Nas, or rather Atomic and Nas, two of the best players in the world right now. But of course, it's their sub. Not necessarily knowing how each other plays 2v2.
Oh, the ball hits the 2v, the rule 2ers. Nasir up against Ruas. If this one goes to overtime 0-0, I feel like they should just play it 2v2. That would be the decent thing to do, but...
Now 1v1's next, mate.
That's a good idea, yeah. Overtime is 1v1. Who would that be? Ruas certainly on one side. And who's left in the 2v2 for...
Just for the record, Atomic and Nas are very familiar with how each other play, I believe.
Fair against each other. We may well find out in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Nas.
Because Nas has been playing in NA for a long time now.
He could have got the doink. So hits it with the nose of his car.
And he was attempting to get the bump there on the defender, try and get it through for TRK, just have a nice open neck. So far, the defense for G2.
It's just
being
2v2.
under pressure the entire time. TRK whips him. 1-2, a hook shot over the top.
This is bad for G2.
That's going to be Ruas to take a shot.
That's a great fake. Oh, it's still a goal.
It is in, and the 2v2 going the way of the Falcons.
And look at this fake right here from Ruas. Completely takes Atomic.
It's a bit unfortunate for Nas.
Somewhat unfortunate. The save he made bounced back
no doubt.
TRK. And Ruas, who was still underneath there, was able to turn it around. And now we have reinforcements. Killers and Daniel are back to get involved in the fight.
It's going to feel weird now, having three players.
Too many people, too many players in my opinion.
Yeah, get rid of them, go back to ones.
Atomic goes long. TRK just gets it back towards Atomic.
Good
Daniel's
pass.
coming in. Any
great demo.
Shenanigans this time? No, just a double tap.
Nice job.
Gets the dunk, and
what a play.
is the response.
Didn't take too long. That 2v2 taking a lot longer to score than I think a lot of people would have anticipated.
Great demo from Atomic.
Playing clean-up crew on anybody that dares challenge his new.
I think Kaliers could have done a bit better there, though. He was very slow.
G2 and Falcons playing
very slow to react.
So incredibly close.
It's hard though,
they're
of course.
Both at the peak of their game. This is the series that we wanted to see. All the goals that we're seeing, utter quality, involving so many bumps and demos just to clear your path through, or dunks at the very least. TRK versus Atomic now. G2 will be happy with the way things have gone for the last 30 seconds or so.
I think Falcons could lose, though. After watching the first two games, this is not clear at all.
Counter-attack in a heartbeat, not if they're getting faked out.
G2's looking super good
not quite the other.
with Nas.
G2 do eventually have to head back.
I could totally see them winning this series with how they're playing.
Starved right now. Daniel gets the second touch, but it won't be enough to put any danger in Team Falcons.
We're seeing G2 with a lot more control than we've seen throughout the entire last couple of minutes, to be completely honest. Daniel now on again. That's the third one in top corner. Atomic there. That was a full
good job, Kaliers.
setup for the Americans.
Yeah, this is this period of play where I'd say that Team Falcons' unbeaten record is in danger, but they have managed to get their way through. Atomic saves his boost after getting that, but then uses it just to get towards the
boost.
Bit of a waste there, in my opinion. Could have saved the 20, but no harm done. Killers up against Nas. That one goes to the side. This is awkward for Daniel up against Ruas. He'll know the pace of Falcons now. The pinch works out well
Space
for
and
G2,
boost.
20 left.
Good pass.
17 seconds. Completely level. Killers having to track back, make sure he keeps it away from Daniel, who is lurking.
What's happening here? It's open. That should have been a goal.
Not the first chance.
That was such a free chance for G2, actually. They messed up there.
TRK wanted to get it to Killers, but couldn't. Nas was in there. Chance for G2 maybe all the way at 0. Killers keeps it up.
Yeah, Falcons making mistakes, man. They really are.
This is going to be Falcons' first overtime that they've played this entire tournament as well. They've managed to win everything in regulation. A little bit of unproven ground for them. G2 have had to, they've played to, and they have won to.
Ruas wants to get this flip reset. Does he go straight for the shot?
Oh, he is around them.
Almost sneaking in. Atomic watched it all the way and got it to the side. G2 survived the first Falcons wave of attack, get one of their own there from Nas, and TRK prods it sideways.
Ruas now up for the double. No touch though, so instead he just has to try and eke his way away from it. Gets called off from TRK, the man who has scored the goals so far for
big
the Falcons.
bump.
But Killers, he has bumped away. Roas has to make
Big
sure
pass.
that backline stays strong. TRK from the ceiling, on target. Atomic stretches for the save.
Lovely idea there from TRK from that early jump going to the ceiling. Not quite to be.
Gets a bomb.
Goalscorer Roas is
All alone now,
bypassed all the way to
TRK.
the top. TRK up against Atomic. TRK had to do well with it and did.
Bounce.
Now Killers can help him out. They're still here. So much pressure from G2. Another save comes in from Team Falcons.
Daniel harassing
Atomic now,
Roas.
Daniel's wheeling about, and Roas just sends it long.
Huge defense.
TRK has been doing and has been just scaring the G2 defense, I think.
From
so
Roas there.
Give him a little spook back. Atomic up high towards the ceiling. Roas going to be able to cut him out before it reaches past the midfield.
Daniel's very good from these spots.
Continue on this play. Fakes out no boost. Only has 10 left.
Threatening.
So can't get too close to the ball. Nas dropping, actually missing the ball entirely.
Atomic's still on that.
But with a bit of boost, he can then challenge TRK in the back.
Some scary 50s right now for Team Falcons. No defender back.
Great
They just
double.
had to try
Oh,
and
Clears
they were
misses.
able to, and eventually G2 make that
This shouldn't
pressure
really be a
count.
goal.
The
Clears has full
lead
boost.
as Falcons
He should
reach
have
their
that.
First game
He
this
really should.
entire tournament, both now
Just a little
level
late.
with the number
It's
of
kind of the
losses,
same
only
as the
sustaining
earlier
to
goal.
each other. And Nas, our super sub,
Good job though from
taking the
G2.
Falcons down. What a pass and play, and
It's really
entirety
Daniel.
from G2.
There, I mean Nas, I feel like Nas shouldn't have been able to get that goal. Like it's a nice block from him and everything, but
dreams remain very much alive. That was despite one respecting and two losing.
I thought it was very
the
slow
rule
from
two.
Clears
So this goal
in
here
defense
from
there.
Ruas. Despite Nas's attempt at the bump, he couldn't quite get him. And there was all smiles there. From
It's because of his
Falcons, but
positioning in
G2
defense, I think.
Yeah, that demo
Here as well, I think Clears should have that.
That's how they scored their first goal.
It's the way he's
That was number
flipping.
one.
If
The
he
second
got
one
underneath
coming
and jumped into it, he
squeezing
can hit it
the crossbar.
high.
Killers actually taking
I mean, it's small stuff, but
not the best touch towards it, and Sath, you
ended up
see Sath
mattering.
behind them. Just fist pump, screaming, making sure that his
I
players know that he
honestly
is
think
ignited
G2's look better
and ready for
in
them to
this
head into game number
series,
3.
slightly.
He is ignited. G2 are reunited. The belief surging
I
through
don't
them
think
now to
Falcons
take
are
down
getting
Falcons in
threatening,
this
super
game.
threatening chances
And remember,
actually.
in London,
How you doing,
Falcons got
Shard?
Game 1. G2 won
Like both of those
next
goals
4.
from TRK in game 1 were like big pop-off moments, but it's not really like breaking down the defense as a full team, and that's a bit worrying that they're not able to do that right now against G2, I think.
You've got realistically a better chance of winning the series after that. But the fact that then you lose the next 4, you're gonna make
G2
sure
looking good
that
with
does
Nas
not
here.
stay in your head, because G2, they're also going to know, boys, realistically, and we see this time and time again, what do they have to lose? They're playing with a sub. It's a completely different ball game, especially when you're playing up against one of the best teams in the world in Falcons.
If G2 had come forward and underperformed, they probably would have just laughed it off ahead of the World Championships.
Whatever, like, yeah.
Now they're in the semi-finals, though, I was going to say. Suddenly,
Bad
this
hit.
is the team. They are the trio. As Nas takes another shot, it's saved by Killers. Atomic coming in onto the back wall. Wants to get the second touch. Can't quite do the Devo.
I really
Killers
like
can
how
send it along.
G2's playing those
First 30 has been
like
fresh for G2. Finally, it turns around.
moments in attack.
Nas intercepting TRK,
Just
and
really
good
making
shooting
sure they're not
dreams.
getting countered on.
Roas now, up high in the center. Killers hold onto it.
It's like this,
And we're
Pink
seeing
Dog.
Nas be everywhere on the pitch. His aggression has made sure the Falcons do not feel comfortable. When Daniel down for that double tap, pixels in it.
I'm still not convinced by the G2 shooting, though, despite taking that last game.
How are you
that, to
doing,
me,
though?
is the third or fourth chance. They'd normally score, but it's been just hit wide or just hit over. Daniel, you expect him to hit those double taps every time. He did down the other end, though.
I'm good, I'm
Big
good.
save. One of the greatest defenders in the game that we have is Daniel.
Very
So
impressed by
surprising to see him
G2
do good
with
work
Nas
on his
here.
own goal line. Ruas comes in. It's saved again by Daniel.
Just like Daniel is
can send
playing
it long. So
incredible,
questions for
honestly.
G2, but they're
Very
doing all right
impressed with
overall.
Daniel.
The attempted toe
It's
point,
just
unfortunately,
unbelievable
Falcons was
from
not gonna
Daniel,
be,
the control,
sufficient.
Uh-oh, where's that going?
Shot.
his ability to control the ball.
Killers, he makes sure that
He's doing so much for
at the back in blue.
Yeah, he was hiding from me there.
G2.
In that far corner, at least on my screen. Atomic sends it long. TRK uses all of his boost just to get something on it. It's a great pass, though, almost. Daniel intercepts. Killers with Ruas behind it. It's a dangerous combo as far as G2 are concerned.
There's a big
especially with
chance,
Nas
maybe.
reading the ball.
Atomic's
Nas
done so
following in.
well.
There's gonna be a turnaround on the
Yeah, Atomic's done
center
so
line
well
for
here.
Killers.
Nas is around, Ruas no boost. Good hit.
Surviving these midfield battles
Is Daniel
for
better
me
than
so far. They
Sun?
look better with that game. They're taking more of the midfield boost as well.
It's a great
hard to
play
say.
too from Daniel. Actually gets the dunk on that final Falcons player.
I mean, he's been better this year for sure. Just, I mean, it's such a hard comparison. It's hard to say with threes in general who's like the best player at any given moment.
Teams have been trying to do all season, perhaps Falcons.
But in terms of results this year, clearly, I mean, I'd say Daniel for sure.
Daniel misses, as you know, he doesn't miss. He gets a touch towards Atomic again, so Atomic.
But you never know. Like it's also hard to say. It's a team game.
Killers. It's all just a bit 50-50 in the center. No one really breaking through right now.
I mean, the defense is being called into action in the midfield pretty much every single time. Very few shots registering as proper shots on target. As G2 and Falcons have reached a stalemate in the mid. But Nas wants to break it, finds one. Unfortunately for him,
yeah, Nas is fitting so well on this roster, though.
Deep right now. They're happy to let G2 do their flip resets and have their mechanics. They can just wait. They will have their opportunity to come forward, but this is.
And he's doing such a good job, honestly, playing that G2 style as well. Controlling everything,
follow it up as well.
Not leaving any openings.
That move all in one beautiful combo. Ruas via some boost, manages to send it long. This could be Falcon's chance to break out. TRK to the ceiling, doesn't get the
That's a
second
goal.
Touch, doesn't need it.
It's all about the pace there on the touches. Kind of catching them on the counter in a sense. Like Nas is just in trouble here. Ball is moving so fast.
Nas has to wait. Doesn't see Killers in the center. Killers has no.
Could argue there Nas should have been on the other side of the net, sort of. And then he can attack the ball. It's tough. Tough position.
100 seconds. Game 3.
Oh, that's a nice touch.
Yeah, but we thought that last time. G2 equalized.
Actually, Daniel messing up his control there for once.
Ruas sends it tall.
Does not do it the second time though. Big demo. It's the best Falcons have looked. They're getting pressure where G2 are looking very uncomfortable. Daniel making some mistakes here.
G2 needs to work out of their own defense though, because right now
was so far away there. Actually don't understand that because Falcons were in the corner there for so long. I don't understand why Ruas was so far away from the play.
Right above the crossbar. We enter the final minute and G2.
It's gonna lose Falcons the pressure there. Will that come back to bite them here?
Yeah, it's all a bit even right now. There is a demo, but
it very well might.
TRK can just follow this touch and allow Atomic to send it back to him. Just batting the ball away right now, Team Falcons, content to do that. Will it backfire? Not with solid defending on the backboard like that, as we saw from Ruas. TRK
great block from Atomic.
That was a brave dunk there from Atomic. And G2 on their first major, Atomic was known to just be
That's good composure from Ruas. 50s it to his teammate. Very well played.
TRK with no boost attempts to the low boost.
I like that play from TRK. It's just G2 are so good at defending.
In his own half, this has to cross into the blue.
Daniel leaves it for his teammate Nas. Now
oh, big whiff. Wow. I really thought I thought that was the crucial mistake.
And then Killers almost finishes the job. I thought that was it. I thought that was G2 back in again. The final
this feels like a game 7. But I still feel like, yeah, G2 are looking really good. They are.
With enough boost, can get in the 50. It's dropped low. TRK actually flicks. That's an error.
Oh, that's awkward. Ruas wants to kill this one desperately. Gets it forward. Daniel doesn't have the boost spawn for him. Has to just dodge into the ball. It's going too long unless this hits the
there
angle,
it is.
which it won't. Falcons return.
That's so close, though. That is so close.
That save again, please. Like that was, I think. I'd probably say that was one of maybe 2 or 3 errors that
yeah, G2 are not out of this at all. Like,
near the death.
It's been such a close series. It could totally go either way.
Scratch free.
It shows the level of concentration.
But that was the best game, I think, from Falcons, and it's still close.
And there was no feeling sorry for themselves. There was no slowing down and giving up. As soon as the whiff came in, I've missed, go. And there was the save. I think it was from TRK, an unbelievable block on the goal. I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, I mean,
I
don't believe people lose their skill, Pink Dog.
Pot shots that were saved well by Team Falcons on the goal line. And here we go. Look at that touch. The pace that TRK put on the ball there made it almost impossible for Nas to read. And then later on, we had that save. It was just a gigantic moment. Here it is. It was TRK. Avoided the back of Atomic as well. Full pace, pixel precision to keep G2 out.
G2 must have been raising their chairs already.
Right.
Yeah,
oh, no,
the only thing is if you come back, if you had come back at the start of the next season, then you might have struggled, you know, but that's different. That's just because of season reset.
The series you saw at the London Major was in fact the semi-finals with Falcons versus Gentlemates. It was where both teams were at their top level, and TRK scored the goal in the overtime to give them the chance at the trophy. They couldn't take it away.
Here we go.
Another semi-finals for them to peak in is upon them.
It's lovely to see TRK here. He has been to these events with Falcons 3 times now. He has been spearheading this team. It's G2 the start.
That's a goal.
In game 4, it's an early
Falcons
goal
panicking.
He's back on the board.
Very early goal, and that is going to be.
I think this will be. G2 is so hard to score on, man. This is going to be tough for Falcons.
Nas bravely moving in.
Early lead for G2 is like so perfect for G2.
When it appears.
They're so good at just taking no risk.
Quite go to plan, and a couple of them at the same time tried to recover the situation. So a rare instance of their comms falling behind.
If you want the sentence to be correct, Pink Dog, then it should be this.
Right there from Killers, almost squeezed its way to a Falcons
I'll type it out.
As it stands, though, Atomic can come forward and try and steal.
I'd say more like that.
Roll for Ruas. And now Ruas, he can go solo. He wants to flip reset. He gets it. He bypasses. Nas wants the second one. Can't quite get it. And Nas sends it to the side.
You know what? If Ruas is starting to come online, I am here for it. We will
I'm guessing it's more what you tried to say.
Still that G2 lead above the crossbar. TRK the first man to it, but Atomic demoed actually. And the midfield, both Nas and Killer is going to be smoke screened by that one.
TRK wants this ball, but Atomic won't let him have it. Tried to bounce off the wall to recover. Wasn't able to. Ruas had to read the entire
good block.
time. As the Killer's there.
So such good speed there from Daniel.
If he's missed that, that's going to be 1-1.
Yeah, that was very important.
Good push down pitch from Atomic, and you know what? The demos and the physicality from G2.
I think Atomic is a very underrated player, isn't he? People just can't. He's just getting overshadowed by Daniel in beast mode oftentimes, but he is such a good player. Atomic is such a good player.
The challenge game being won by G2 just about at the moment. There was the chance for Falcons to squeeze a shot through, and G2 survived it. And since then, a lot of these challenges are bouncing to a G2 player. Atomic gets a last little touch that makes that one tricky for TRK. I think he got a flip reset on the ball and then backflipped into it. So good improv from him in the center. Just to stop Team Falcons charging forward with too much juice in the tank. Daniel up against Killers. Daniel breaks through yet again. G2 certainly winning this game.
Is that just a goal? Oh my god.
No.
Too soft.
It was great push down the field, but finally, again at the death.
Threatening. Not the best shot, and you can see it's what we talked about earlier. Is like what BDS was doing so well, for instance, right in those moments was, oh nice. It's like you don't want to shoot to where the defenders can control the play, because then you're setting up counterattacks.
I'm sure he detected that his opponents had no
good speed there.
He can win this race. That's exactly what
it's important you shoot high or like somewhere they can't really get to the ball in those moments.
G2's game management, though, up to that point,
and Falcons need to be careful with that.
World-class ability to make sure that they take it at their pace. Falcons wrestled them out of it, but I fully expect G2 to wrangle control of this game back into their own hands.
We shall see. Falcons will sense that if they can win this one, it may be a fight too big for G2 to take on enemy soil with the sub. They haven't had experiences of losing games, of being down in series, of even coming into this one having overtimes. How will they fare if they lose this game, which of course is still a long way, especially if Atomic can get hold of this ball. Killer
it's $200,000 for winning, $500,000 in total in the prize pool. 200,000 for winning, 500,000 for the whole thing.
But then gets sent to the scrapyard. Daniel attempting a reset. Central Romas to shut him down.
What's this going to land for Nas? G2 happy to slow this one down to gradually move their way into the
Wizard.
Falcons half. The Falcons they can counter in an instant. G2 has to be wary of that. Daniel.
This is like that classic, like, if you compare like G2, I think that, yeah, if you compare like G2 to BDS, for instance, they have like the opposite style at like the top level. G2, if you pay attention, like they control the ball every time. Control the ball, keep it close, catch it. BDS tend to go fast, hit the ball to teammates forward. It's very different.
A single shared brain, it feels like, between those two.
Yeah, Roas just leaned back his car a split a tiny bit more just before.
Well, it's important that's not the case, Pink Dog, because if that was the case, like, I don't know how to, like, it's important, at least, I don't know exactly how it works. I guess the...
Up against Daniel. I was going to go into the center. Atomic here.
Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud here, but it is important that all the teams get some money, is all I'm saying.
Now trying to find each other in that center and in the air. Resets it long. Atomic is here. G2, they have time, but they're struggling to get any meaningful attacks going.
It's the final minute now.
That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Holding on to this strong lead. These have been very low-scoring games so far. 1, 2, 3 goals in each of them. Killers removing one from the pitch.
Oh.
Reset. TRK. Central
Scary. Poor G2.
So was the defender.
Yeah, but Atomic's clearance is only as far as Killers. He uses the ceiling. Daniel anticipated it. Ruas once more into the
Gotta be
middle.
careful
Nas
here,
wins it. How is G2's
Falcons, that they don't overextend.
Final 40.
They've done well.
Needing to push a little bit further, a little bit harder every single time he gets.
You might see G2 getting more aggressive now.
Goes actually low for the fake.
That's a good play.
A stunning play.
But this is a result of the time limit, where Daniel doesn't want to defend. He does not want to defend there.
The disrespect.
He wants to attack as fast as possible, and that's why that ends up happening. Due to the time limit, you can tell the difference.
And the second of this game for him.
Oh, nice try. Yeah, and this is not good. G2 actually, no boost here. Just makes it tough.
If they can't get these 2 goals, it's a long way back in this series. They have to score.
Great touch from Falcons.
And that clear Stumpy should just about do it for game 4.
The Falcons put themselves on semi-final point.
I mean, $200,000 is still very good for a prize pool, I think.
In the grand finals against BDS, we see fans in the audience, hands to ears. Where
for the winner.
G2 fans?
Well, if they're there,
they're going to be a bit outnumbered, I think.
One, a little bit outnumbered. 2, their team will need them just to get something going, some inspiration. But in truth, G2 have to rely on themselves. They have to rely on Safyu. Perhaps they have to rely on a tactical timeout as well. I can see one of those incoming fairly shortly. But it's Falcons that are just winning all of these tense battles. And indeed, we do have the tactical timeout.
It's perfect time to do it too. They had great. They didn't need to use it.
Yeah, very impressed with G2 though.
That's completely fine. They traded them. It's okay.
This is a series that felt like to me like it could have definitely gone both ways, but now it's gonna be hard.
TRK outspeeding the G2 defense.
It's been very even.
Cheers abound. That snipe, the pre-flip
it's a beautiful
into
shot
it as well. And then this fake, as we
beautiful
see,
shot.
Goes low, attempts the hook shot. Nah, you know what? It's only you left, mate, and I'm just built diff.
The slow-mo did Daniel dirty there. Fakes always look so much worse in slow motion.
It's a nice fake, but for me, it's a little like not that good of a goal in like if I compare it to some of the others, because it's so much to do with the time limit.
To talk things through.
It's fakes like that just tend to come
I don't feel I can change the game plan here. I think for them it's just
at the end of like when you need to make a comeback and stuff like that, when you're desperate, right? Who do I think is the best Falcon player is? I think it's TRK.
As far as I'm concerned, the best team in the world right now.
I think it's probably TRK.
Whatever, we have Nas. One of the best super subs that we have seen at this level,
but they're all good.
In the open era. There's not been that many
at the end of the day.
Come through.
What do you think?
And G2 and Safyu,
what do you think, Ash?
That the players get back to their basics, that they stick with the exact same plan that they have won majors with, that they have dominated North America with. But match at number 5 is going
TRK
to be
definitely
a
my
big
pick.
proving ground for them. Team Falcons find themselves on the point to make their way through to the grand
I'd say TRK, then Ruas, then Clears.
To the surface. G2, they need 3 in a row. They'll have to remind themselves.
And I know a lot of people always say like Clears is underrated. Clears is like their main offensive, like this and that, but I just don't agree. Like I just think if Clears was on any other, I just think if you put TRK and Ruas on any team, they'll be really good, and I don't think Clears is as well-rounded, if that makes sense. I just don't think he's as complete a player as TRK and Ruas.
And if G2 aren't careful, Falcons will turn this into a victory lap. And the way G2
if that makes sense.
have performed
but he's obviously very good, don't get me wrong.
That would be a real shame. Keep this one close. We don't want to see a 5 or 6-0 procession.
And he's a great playmaker.
Rocketleague all the way to the end, but you know, I say that as a neutral. I'm sure the Falcons fans in the arena are
all players on these top teams are very good.
I'm saying right now. Nas wins that one, sends it to Atomic, but there's no boost again for G2. Falcons are just greedily gobbling all of it. Killers has 100.
Oh.
It's a fake towards him. Atomic
Good
read
job,
that
Atomic, but he's getting
Okay,
faked there, actually.
Up against Nas, but Daniel pops
Faked
up from
himself.
nowhere and gets the block ahead of time.
And you know what? It's clever for Falcons to keep going for fakes.
This is
because
scary
Daniel's
for
gonna be
Clears
thinking,
if
I've
there's a
got to fake
G2
that
player
last
there,
game.
but a
And if
demo
it
comes
keeps
through.
happening, and if they keep diving at the ball, which I still think is the best play for G2 here, Falcons can
Clears
read
gets
them.
faked.
That's a fake low for Nas. It is tit for tat.
Daniel maybe has a chance to get a flip reset, but Killers was in too early from his own goal line. No camping back there and waiting for the ball to come to him.
Oh, Atomic is there. That's a goal.
Atomic!
Yeah.
Oh, that's an old school redirect.
He scores that all day.
No! He came out of nowhere. Daniel finds his
That's a nice goal.
teammate and tears the Falcons.
It's a twin
defense
magic.
in
I mean,
half.
obviously,
The
but
angle of the century, mate. That's what
that
was.
twin
That
magic
was
hasn't led to any wins,
perfect
though.
Recreation of that wonderful goal all those years ago from a lot. You love to see it.
They still need to do that.
G2. Falcons, what you got left? TRK into the far corner. I thought for a second Nas was on the ceiling, but he'd run out of boost.
Great positioning for Atomic 2, realizing let's do something different. We can do that. We can be a team that ends up facing off in different areas that they wouldn't expect. And Falcons, they sat in the blind spot. Killers now up central. 20 boost, can't really do a huge round. Instead resets, it goes low, but Daniel,
Ooh.
clever, patient on the goal line, but the continued pressure from Falcons is there. Until a counter-attack and G2 the other end.
Falcons overcommitted.
Big counter.
They got two attached to the play. The slow play wasn't working out. Not even
That's
they could
Kalir's
recover
fault
in
right there.
time. Daniel sensed their
Definitely
weakness
Kalir's
and
fault. He could have
struck.
easily recovered. He just sat there
And you know what, that tactical
in the
timeout
box,
for G2
hoping to score. He needed to recover.
slow them down, chill them out, get them back into the headspace they need.
TRK was like faster to recover than he was.
Falcons, TRK and Killers, they are going to want to make sure that they rattle the heads of G2.
Block.
If you thought that G2 were going to wilt away
I can't
in
tell if
you
this
will
is good or
have to
bad.
think
Yeah, it's not
again.
good.
They are stepping right back up again. They're shooting once more. Killers, another big save towards Ruas. TRK's following it, but will
This
be able to
series
get
is
the
far
next
from
touch
over.
unless there's a
Like,
miss from
G2's been
G2,
so good.
instead, he waits for them. There was a miss from Atomic. Ruas
Oh,
is
big
in.
mistakes.
Ruas equalizes.
Big mistakes.
Disastrous miss
It's
from
the
Atomic
biggest
there.
mistake from G2
On
all
the side,
series.
a relatively
Big miss from
routine
Atomic,
hit.
Daniel's
moves forward, thinking
panicking.
He's got it, and a bump on that final defender in Dan.
Can't really blame Daniel there, though.
Straight back in it.
The first time in
He
this
trusted
series
his
we've had
teammate.
4 goals, 2 from each team. So things beginning to open up late here in the Esports World Cup Rocket League event. TRK
Daniel
takes
up
a couple
early.
of touches. Daniel tries to close him down. It's almost read again by TRK. Daniel has still got the boost to play with this. Gets it onto the back wall. Ruas sends it long. Killers.
Good job from
continues
Clears.
what he started.
Knew exactly where that ball was
Atomic can clear
going.
That one high. That's risky though. TRK, he shoots, but
Ooh.
Nas was always in control of the situation.
Nas was not in control. If that shot was slightly better, and it could have been, he was never saving that. The shot just was not quite good enough. Close for Nas.
And Daniel was seeking, or rather Nas was seeking it again.
TRK has no boost left. Killers does have some.
Oh.
Use this dodge to get himself as close as possible to Nas to force him to go high.
Atomic now.
Now as Killers and TRK in front of him. Killers thought about going for the boost.
Great play.
Instead realizes he has to do
Messed
some
up in the end, though.
serious defending right now. That's what he heads back to do.
Daniel tries to get the
This is
possession.
Sandy
That's a great
peering
play
on,
from Daniel. I really like that.
curiously wondering how G2 can break through
Oh,
Team
Ruas has
Falcons
pre-jumped.
again. How they
That's a
can take
goal.
lead and
There's a
keep
goal.
TRK might be about to take the lead.
Yup.
Oh, Falcons, you just knew.
You cannot leave him
That was
open.
sick from Ruas, by the way.
TRK knows that backboard like the back of his hand, and he knows what he can drag from it. Falcons, a 3-2 lead, 90 seconds, and questions towards G2. Can you defeat us?
Damn, G2's gonna
TRK,
be
who has
kicking
experienced
themselves for
grand
giving up that
finals agony
second goal.
on so many occasions with Falcons. Will it change today?
That was a
Will they
big
make yet
moment
another grand
in the game
finals?
here.
And TRK cheering towards the crowd, knowing that the
Yeah, it's
big
really
audience
nice
is
from
there for
TRK.
them and
But
only
honestly,
them.
I'd be shocked if he
And now
didn't
the
score
owners
it.
turn back to G2.
Because
It
he's
seemed
that
they
good.
found a way.
When he
It
got that
seemed
set
they
up,
could force their
it just
way
had to
at
be a
least
goal,
game
right?
6. Suddenly, even
I actually
that
think the
looks
more,
beyond
like
them.
almost the more
Ruas, he
important
goes
play
high,
was
over
from
to
Ruas
Daniel.
on
This
that
could
play.
kill it. Ruas doesn't quite
That pre-jump
connect.
where he
Now
got that
TRK
pass off to
in the corner,
TRK,
keeping
it was
G2.
almost a goal already.
TRK again.
Because TRK is that good when he gets space like that, you know, like
You beat out Ruas, and TRK
that
just
cutoff from
waits as
Ruas
he
put
springs from the
G2 on the back
walls.
foot, and
It's
they
like
couldn't
as
really
soon as he
do
gets the ball,
anything
he
when
bounces off all
TRK
of them. He's got flow
got
on
the
his
execution there.
wheels.
Pinball wizard TRK and the Falcons. very much set towards that grand final date with Team BDS.
Yeah, this is over.
Central from around, but it won't matter.
It's gonna be BDS Falcons in the grand final.
What do you have in the tank?
Killers into the center.
That'll be a very interesting grand final.
TRK charging him down. It's just desperation from G2. They can't even get out of
Because BDS are looking very good as well in this tournament.
That one goes back down towards Daniel with 100
Both teams are looking in form.
They don't have it.
This is just seeming like GG's all over. Team Falcons.
Thank you so much for the follow, man. I appreciate it.
Their opponents just seem to have given up, it seems, but not on the crossbar there. Here comes Nas. He's got to score, but doesn't again.
GG.
They don't know the meaning of the word giving up. They continue to push. G2 towards Nas, Central. Falcons keeping them at bay for now. Nas again towards Atomic, but shut down.
Daniel has to get this one to the side. If this doesn't go in, it's curtains. Atomic Nas in front of him, but it's not on target. Ruas was there anyway.
Back-to-back grand finals for Falcons.
No matter what happens from here, will find themselves in yet another grand final led by the MVP TRK.
What's my opinion about the final? It's very hard to say.
It is now a 4-1
I think
in Riyadh at the Esports
if
World Cup.
it's really hard to say. I think BDS can beat them, but will they? I think I choose Falcons with like a small margin. Falcons just shown more consistency.
But really it seemed the true trio here in Saudi
But
Arabia
I think BDS can take them if they like, you know, if BDS can keep up that form. I do think they have a good shot as well. I think it's like 55 in like 55-45 in favor of Falcons for me. With how both teams have been playing today.
With Nas, a player that struggled to make it through.
I just don't know if BDS can out-pressure Falcons the way they did against Gen G. I don't know if it's possible against Falcons. It's going to be very interesting.
TRK and Falcons have got to 3 international grand finals in their time and lost them all.
But we're going to make a prediction.
I really do. Look, they have the homegrown
I think when BDS peak, they are one of the best. Like, I honestly think they're probably the best team in the world. When they play their absolute peak, it's so hard to stop, but can they do that in the grand final? I don't have that much faith because, yeah, they've not really done it often on LAN throughout the season, but I mean they were very impressive in the last series. So we'll see. Prediction is up.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Falcons have done it. 4-1 against G2. I have the
What do you think, Ash? I'm guessing you are picking Falcons.
So let's start off with our first one. What changed from what you did here
as well
to what you did in the major? Because you guys destroyed G2 Esports in the best fashionable way possible. So can you tell me more about what did you go to?
I think that was a very close series though. I mean, the other thing in Falcons' favor is the crowd. Gotta remember that. Like, the entire crowd is favoring the Falcons. That's gonna be a big factor. We've seen actually BDS crumble because of that in the past before. Remember back to BDS versus Vitality last year. BDS were destroying Vitality. And Farah got the crowd to cheer for Vitality, and I think it was the big difference.
So we can prepare for this match specifically, but now they are in the grand finals finally. So my next question to you, you are one step away from claiming that trophy. So how do you feel to finally win, possibly?
I think Falcons have some demons though, like they've been so close so many times and they can never do it. So mentally, I think it is gonna be tough for Falcons. I do actually think so. Maybe this is the time though.
Is to get that trophy, and we're coming in with confidence and preparation for this match. Before we end this interview, we have the coach of
Same demons for BDS? Yeah, maybe, but BDS have won before though. Like, there are world champion on that stage, you know?
In the tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, let's head back to the studio and let's get that key crushing ceremony going, and we'll prepare for the grand final.
Like Exotics won events, Monkey Moon has.
That's right, the Falcons, as everyone probably anticipated.
Falcons has never been able to.
The grand final. James, what a showing.
Oh my. I thought G2 might be able to do it with a sub, but, you know, I guess I forgot a little bit about TRK. He was lights out.
I honestly don't think, like, this is just my opinion, but I don't think that was, like, dominating. I think that was very impressive from G2.
TRK was driving circles around him. TRK was
very impressive.
Phenomenal. That was
super close series, although the series score didn't show that.
For them to come in with a sub and play this well, I think they can go home with their heads held high. And they're going to feel confident coming into Worlds with their full roster as well. So this is still a great result for G2.
Like G2 played super good in my opinion. Yeah, every game was super close. It could have easily swung the other way in some of those games very easily. The only blowout was the final game.
They do not have to be sad about this placement.
But that's just what happens in that moment, you know.
All-time high, but I think another player whose stock is
starts crumbling a bit.
And we want to take a look at one of his plays.
Wait, I want to see the stats. 1 second.
Whose stock is at all-time high is TRK, and we want to take a look at one.
Bro, why can't I not pause?
High, but I think another player.
There we go. Yeah, I just want to see real quick. Yeah, a lot more saves for G2, which does make sense, but not as big of a difference in pressure. Slightly more pressure for Falcons. Yeah, I mean, it was very close. I wonder how it looked if you removed
just a little bit more closely.
The last game.
I mean, we've got a bunch of them.
If you remove the last game.
Let's just roll a close. Outside edge of the ball, completely full.
Okay, we'll watch this play as well.
Atomic up 1-1. And we want to take a look at one of his plays just a little bit more closely because I mean, we've got a bunch of them we could have chosen, but let's just roll a clip and see. Game 1, I mean, he really set the tone for how Falcons were going to play this one. G2 up 1-0. They're fighting for the midfield, as Falcons love to do. And now here's the key moment. Atomic's obviously out of the game here, but you can see Daniel grabs a boost, and he's going to turn. He doesn't want to stick around because he knows that TRK is beating him to the ball. But TRK can also see that Daniel's likely to turn. So instead of hitting
it's the threat of the pass.
He just softly touches it into the edge of the box, that little area there. I mean, this touch doesn't look like TRK can really get back to it and shoot the ball.
I think Nas is in net here too.
But that's exactly what he's going to do. He is about to...
Nas was facing in out here, I remember.
Completely full Daniel and Nas, who's now just completely stuck.
That's the thing, is the threat of the pass made Nas turn this way. Out like that. And now he's trying to turn back in. If Nas expected a shot, he would have just been facing this way and it would have been a super easy save.
The screen here, Nas is absolutely just stationary. Doesn't expect the shot to be coming to
TRK was definitely the standout player.
And it's those fast recoveries that really, I think,
easily
give Falcons so many of
he had those big moments that barely squeezed Falcons ahead in the games, for sure.
TRK is able to create one here with a smooth recovery, all in one motion. Air rolls around to the wall, snipes the bottom.
I also think that Roaz at the end,
gives us a good reason to call him
beat he had was massive. He had like a pre-jump where he got the pass off to TRK. That was a massive moment.
That was just one. I mean, pick your play. I mean, we picked the first one we saw. That was good, but then there were like 5 other ones. TRK, he deserves this MVP. He was the standout player on the pitch.
We're a bit behind, but I just want to see some of this. I think it's fine that we're behind. I'll skip forward once we get to the break anyways.
The thing is just like this shot, he was surprising G2. He had the element of surprise on his shots, which is really tough to do at this level against players like G2. Normally, you might just outpace them, but to surprise them and beat them in that way, that shows that TRK was a cut above the rest.
I mean, he just really was too fast.
The prediction is up, guys. BDS Falcons. Who takes it?
A fast team, and I think they were able to really fight well in the
BDS Falcons
of this series than anyone else who's played Falcons this weekend. But the burst of speed from TRK, we're catching them by surprise. That world-class save in Game 3 as well. That's a big moment.
There it is. The man of the hour right now. Got the keys, happy. There might be another one later. He gets the crush, but just in case it isn't, savor this moment. That is G2 being eliminated. That's their key.
And if you are G2, you know that if Team Falcons win this whole thing, your key is going to be in the
Hasn't TRK been crushing every single key? I guess the twins don't care.
Put in there. Who do you think if G2 is one of them? what would the other two be? Surely the grand final, if they can win this. I'm sure the grand final key has to go in there as a piece of memorabilia.
They corrected it.
Man, it is gone.
TRK placed it like off, and they put it back in place.
Oh, he's not letting go.
I think I saw pieces flying off.
Did he break it?
We'll see.
He probably wanted to after their recent major defeat against G2.
Oh my
yeah,
God,
that is fresh.
Think of a smile TRK had on his face.
I will say now the gloves actually really work with that.
Yo,
extra bit
FOD.
on her outfit there.
It's true. I mean,
Yeah.
Jasmine really has put that together quite nicely.
Oh, man.
My goodness. Yeah, TRK's crushed G2 today.
That is gone.
Both on the pitch and now off the pitch.
As quite the performance from the Falcons, and it's exactly what they need if they're going to continue on into the grand finals to win.
Yeah, there's a prediction up if anyone wants to put some channel points on there. If you believe in Falcons,
we got CJ with the exit
you can predict.
Here we are with Dan, the man from G2. Obviously a tough loss in the semi-final just then to Falcons. What were your thoughts, I guess, with that series, the crazy crowd, I guess, against you as well?
They honestly came out really good. They just played really good. They were just catching every ball and just air dribbling, and they're banging it, and they were playing perfect, so yeah.
And playing with Nas as well, a super sub. You guys didn't have your main lineup. What was it like playing with Nas?
It was honestly great playing with Nas. He's honestly a great player, and he's going to have a great future in this game. He always grinds the game, and he has a good mental, so yeah, it was fun to play.
You must be pretty happy with this tournament. Obviously, you don't have your core lineup, but still, to get top 4 is a pretty good result.
Yeah, for sure. Getting top 4 is definitely a good result.
And you're looking forward to getting your boy back, Beast Mode. Obviously, you got Texas coming up in a couple of weeks. You're looking forward to getting back with the core lineup?
Yeah, I'm very excited. We're going to try and win it for NA.
You going to get revenge on Falcons over there?
Hopefully.
Awesome. Best of luck, mate. Cheers.
Okay. We'll skip forward a bit now. Okay, I need to go to the toilet. I also want to fix my camera a bit. It's tilting a bit down. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. I need to go to the toilet. But yeah. Shame Gen G didn't make grand final. Yeah, I mean, Gen G's played great this tournament. I think they're also, like, they're looking great going into Worlds, I think. Like, even though it's disappointing result for them, like, overall, I think they showed a lot of, yeah, they play good. I mean, BDS absolutely dominated that series in terms of pressure, but Gen G still kept it close. I think BDS had like almost 3 to 4 amount of shots compared to Gen G. 3 or 4x the amount of shots, and BDS played insane. BDS kind of started crumbling almost at the end, but they clutched up, you know? But it was a very good series, interesting series. But yeah, BDS played very, very good. So this will be a good grand final, hopefully, as well. Hopefully. Yeah, I'll be back. I'm going to the toilet. Be right back. Yo. Forgot to make the coffee earlier. Gonna finish that now. I got too locked into the series. It's been a great day of Rocket League though. Like, all the teams are playing great. It's been great. And I think, honestly, this is a big indicator, I think, of who are the best teams coming into Worlds as well. Honestly, I do think so. Like, I'm gonna put a lot of stock into this, I think, going into Worlds. I think for me, when I, like, thinking about it, like, it's not just this tourney, it's the last as well. It's everything, the whole year. I think it's Falcons, it's G2, it's BDS if they show up on form, it's KC, who are not here. And then, like, those I think are the top contenders. Now, you might throw Gentlemates in there, but I am a bit of a Gentlemates doubter. Even though they tend to show up, it's just... like, online they haven't all year to that level of these teams. That is the problem. It's only been twice. I know, Tooth, but to me they haven't shown it often enough. That's the problem. I know they've shown it both the other times on LAN, but I still gonna put them like a tier below. That's just me. For me, that's how I feel. The teams that have been the best most consistently is Falcons, G2, BDS, and I think KC. I think KC have a higher peak as well. And then below them, I think Gentlemates, Gen G. Honestly, it's those two teams, probably, for me. Unless I'm forgetting someone. Yeah, I'd say Gentlemates, Gen G. And then after that, I'd put Furia, Vitality, and the rest, you know, like Space Station and stuff like that. That's how I feel. But all of those teams I've listed, I actually think got a shot at making it really far and potentially winning. Like, honestly. Okay, let's listen in. And I'll go make the coffee. I'll be back in a sec.
Perfect, isn't it? Yeah, no, it's really cool to see all these events finishing. We had Tekken finishing on Friday in the middle of all of this. All that's going on left here is PUBG and Rocket League, but you can see Redline throwing in their key.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And that's the frame leaf. They get
the frame of the key. You're right. Yeah.
They get to put their three biggest rivals in the base of their trophy that has their keys. So that's a really cool moment, though.
Yeah.
I love the trophy system. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, and it's cool because it's not just what's happening here. We have people all around the world watching. There's watch parties, I've been told, I think in Paris. We have Amsterdam and Sao Paulo as well. Yeah, you can see the Beehive. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
The Vitality place. Yeah.
Of course. Look at this. It's buzzing.
Yeah, that's totally fair, too.
I mean, Vitality had a heck of a run.
Like, listen, there's no doubt all the European teams can show up and play really good on their day. Like, I think the same thing applies to Vitality. But if I look at the whole year now and, like, all the different things that have happened, I feel that overall I still feel like sort of Gentlemates and Vitality, to me, have been the slightly weaker teams throughout the year compared to BDS and KC in Europe. That's why I'm putting those teams above them. I just think they have higher sort of peak. I think if they show up, it's more likely in my mind that KC and BDS win Worlds. In my opinion. And then from NA, it's mainly G2, but I also think Gen G got a shot. And then Falcons, of course. Furia's below in that sort of Vitality Gentlemates range for me. But all of these teams got a shot, which is the crazy thing. I even think Space Station got a shot at making it far, but they are the bottom of all of the teams for me. They're the bottom. And Sam basically got no shot outside of Furia. Furia is a great team, but are they good enough? I don't know. I don't think so. That's just my power ranking, though. My top 4 teams are Falcons, G2, BDS, KC. Those are the teams I'm thinking might make it.
best to win.
Okay, one thing.
طبعا شعور حلو خرافي انك تلعب بين ارضك وبين جمهورك ويوتر الخصم شوي ويعطيك دافع انك تفوز مبارياتك. I don't really try to do anything. I just try to keep playing my game to do my best, maybe score some nice goals, and I don't pay much attention to it. أنا أقول للجمهور احضروا إن شاء الله ونجيب لكم الكاس بإذن الله. بإذن الله الكاس ما يطلع من الرياض. We're coming to this very prepared. We've been almost every team that we played in this tournament apart from other than G2. We're in this for the win, and if you're going against us, you better watch out.
I don't know. It's a good point on the other side there about the nervousness.
I do think Falcons are the favorites here, though, as well.
I don't pay attention to it, but
I think the difference between Falcons and BDS is that Falcons have shown more solid defense.
Piece of energy that you take in and a crowded event.
Like, just in general. But I think in terms of the offense, it's equal or in BDS's favor. The only thing is, like, can I really see Falcons getting pinned back by BDS? Because that's really, I think, BDS's way to beat Falcons. I don't really know if that happens. I don't see it. That's why I'm thinking it's Falcons who will take this. But we'll see. I think BDS can do it though, but they gotta like show up at their absolute peak.
Well, they needed it because I mean, again, the last
it's the only way.
Team, albeit there was an asterisk or an asterisk, I guess.
And they kind of did that today, so we'll see if they can do it again.
But yeah, no, really,
they played at an unreal level against Gen G. They really did. So we'll see.
The crowd was not really in there. Well, I guess they were in their favor too, but you do feel that energy. So hopefully that doesn't hit them again. TRK looks like he's on fire right now, and they should be locked in. Flow state is there, James.
Oh yeah, I think they're the favorite. They have been demolishing people. They have been dominant. And then, but you know, before we came back from the break, Leaf, me and Chiefs were talking over here.
You guys always talk without me involved.
Our producer Jimmy over there ignoring us. But we were talking about where we placed Team BDS on our tier list coming into this event. I had put them near the top of A tier, and Chief said he actually put them in S tier.
It was a risk, to be fair, to put BDS in the S tier.
Oh,
I'm glad
BDS,
they did. Yeah, I know.
They are one of those teams where they're on the edge because you look at their performances online and you think, you know, this is a solid team. Like it should be an S tier team. It has a world champion, has a major champion. It has a newcomer from Morocco who's insanely talented.
I think they're an S-tier team.
In Europe online before.
They just have had horrendous performances on LAN. That's the thing.
They've managed to squeak into the. Is saying squeak in fair? They didn't go to a game 7, but the games were.
It's really hard to say why that is. Is it a LAN thing? Is it just they weren't on those days for some reason? Like, it's really hard to say exactly why.
Sunday, and I said yesterday, hey, I hope you leveled up.
But I think they are. It's just the consistent performances against top, like other top teams, you know.
They've arrived at least at the grand finals, give themselves a good shot at it, and they're going to need all that defense if they want to stop.
But Falcons are also clearly an S-tier team.
Your head's got to be on a swivel, man. You cannot get caught.
Back-to-back grand finals.
Series like this, you have to look around.
We saw what happens. Johnny Boy broke one down.
Yes.
Where did Falcons place Major 1? Was it top 4? They lost. No, it was top 8, wasn't it? No. They lost to KC in top 8, I think. Yeah. That's what happened.
Well, I want to get the audience's thoughts too.
I remember the series now. Top 8, losing to KC. But yeah, KC played. That was when KC played the way we thought they'd play the whole year. Which I kinda, I don't know, like, I still think KC are that sort of level. I really do, but
One game.
It's gonna be a bit tough for KC though, like, they haven't had these, like, they've been in ways for so long. That's the worry for KC, I'd say. It's like, what practice have they been getting? How are they feeling after not attending 2 LANs, essentially? Whilst all these other teams are getting practice. I think they'll get a lot of practice though in the boot camp leading up to it. So I don't know if it'll matter that much, but that's sort of what I would say is
this is a big
it's the worry for KC.
Third time is supposed to be a charm, and if they cannot make it happen,
Well, then it never will.
Well, that's the way it feels.
That's a bit
right?
strong to
I
say
mean,
for sure.
Who would you say in that journey had the hardest journey, I suppose? Not that it takes away from their accomplishments
But
here.
I want to see the bracket once more.
Well, then it never
Just
will.
because of that question. I wish they kept it up, but who had the hardest journey? Probably is Falcons, I think. Furia than G2. I mean, I'd say Fury has a stronger team than Space Station throughout the year. So yeah, I'd say Falcons had the hardest journey. G2's looked super good this event as well, in my opinion. So
That's the way it feels.
That's a bit.
even though they're playing with the sub, I'd say Falcons had the hardest run.
For this win on this tournament, for whatever silly reason you come up with, I think you're dead wrong. I think they've played just about every really solid team that this tournament could have thrown at them, and they have, to be fair, demolished pretty much every single one without a doubt.
Right.
And your point about one game, it was one goal as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, hey, man,
I'd say 4-2 Falcons.
So really the question I guess I want to present to you guys before this
4-2
match starts
Falcons.
is what is BDS doing in this series? I mean, they have a lot of answers. They have to figure out really fast.
Oh, certainly. And I think from what we saw,
It's either going to be a lot
in
of
that last
back and
series,
forth,
you
or it's going to
cannot,
be
you
BDS
cannot
crumbling,
assume
I
what
honestly
TRK
think.
is going to do. Don't try to, like, that's what we
Does,
saw
like, I think
multiple
that's what it
plays
comes
in G2.
down to.
They gave him the space.
BDS, sometimes they just leave the net open.
And he
Will they
burned
do
him for
that?
it. So whether you got
I
bump
think
him
that's
out
the
of
big
air or
question.
just start playing the
Because I
card
don't think
instead of the
Falcons will
ball,
do that.
You're going to have to have your eyes locked on him, but even saying
Like,
that,
Falcons might...
you leave
That goal was
Ross
so
out there
nasty.
too.
Did you see that goal too earlier?
Whether you got to bump him out of the air
Like,
or
you
just
said you
start
missed the
playing card
series.
instead of the ball,
Did you see
you're
that?
gonna have to
That
have your
redirect
eyes
from
locked on
Jolly
him.
off the Cookser pinch?
But even saying that, you leave Roas out there too.
There's 2 minutes.
So whether you got to bump him out of the air or just start playing the car instead of the ball, you're going to have your eyes locked on him. But even saying
Like,
that,
the
you
reaction
leave
there from
Roas
Jolly is
car instead of the
so
ball,
crisp.
You're going to have your eyes
Like,
locked
look at
on
that
him, but
reaction.
Even saying that, you leave Roas out there too.
It's such a
There's
quick
too many
reaction.
Killers, I mean,
That's so
they've all
smooth.
had MVPs this event. They're just so amazing.
It is definitely the three.
Yeah, BDS were playing so good earlier.
Right
And that Exotic own goal there. Like, Jolly had the save here, and Exotic ended up on goaling.
Right now. And if you're BDS, like I said,
Which is tough, of
cannot
course,
afford to get
in that position, but...
They've been here before and lost. Try to cut that out of your
But yeah,
mind.
Gen
Don't
G
think
were
about
catching
that.
BDS
Live
mainly on the
present,
counter
game by game,
in that
say,
series.
we, you know,
And like I said,
played
the stats
last,
said like
try to
3
just
to
stay
4
in the
times
present.
the amount of
Don't keep
saves
thinking
for
about the past at
Gen
all.
G, or
Focus
shot
on the
and
present.
shots for
uh,
BDS. It was
keep
just constant
confident
pressure.
and keep playing your game like we saw TRK do. I am all eyes for me are on TRK because he was getting hyped. He was getting into the crowd. If there's a difference.
Prediction. What is it?
Falcons. I said it.
Falcons.
Yeah, Falcons for me.
You got Falcons for you, and I guarantee you everyone at home was saying Falcons as well, because there's no way at all, in my opinion, that you lose this at all if you're the Falcons, right?
How?
30 seconds.
Honestly, I feel silly too because in the space station
what?
versus BDS here.
Okay, that's in the crowd. That's in the room.
Last time they played G2, who won it all.
But I think...
BDS, fortunately for them, they don't have
I think
to
people underestimate
like that
BDS
again.
for some
Here
reason.
BDS is.
Because if you think about the... like the year as a whole, they've been extremely good.
Well, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. One more best of 7, one more key to crush. It's
Especially
Falcons
second half.
versus BDS.
They gave KC the most trouble when KC were on top in Europe, and they've been the strongest European team since, right? Overall.
He's saying he's ready as long as the audience is ready. Ferocity, what about you?
You gotta give that some credit, you know?
At the start of the previous series that it's really important that you guys remain positive. The vibe is good in the team. How on earth are you going to do that with this crowd back in the Falcons?
There's a big crowd against us, obviously. We will try our best and just
The crowd, man.
do whatever it takes so we can win and yeah.
Give it your best go. That's all I can say. It is finally grand finals time, baby. Let's do this.
Yeah, I expect Falcons to win. But it'll be a good series, hopefully. It just kind of feels like this is Falcons' year too, I feel. With how everything's went down. I feel like they will win. I feel like they will win Worlds. Yeah, I mean, they've been doing that. I mean, I wouldn't say they threw the grand final last time, but they did drop in level. Like, they played good, but it just wasn't as good as they had been, right? They weren't gonna take down G2 with how they played. Although they played good, it wasn't, like, great. It wasn't how they've been playing throughout the tourney. Just slightly worse, and G2 played really good, in my opinion. They didn't have that, like, composure to, like, really lock in and take the win at the last major. But it wasn't like a full meltdown or anything. They played solid. This is the grand finals. This is the grand finals. Yeah, this is that trophy I don't understand. What's up with this trophy? This is kind of career defining, I'd say, for like the Falcons players too, because if they lose, if they can win here and win Worlds, then it's like clearly they were the best team of the whole year, I think, because of their, like, they had good performances throughout the whole year. But if they lose here and lose Worlds, then it's like, yes, they were very consistent and they, like, looked like they might be the best team, but they just couldn't, you know, close it out when it mattered. So it's kind of important for them in many ways. You know?
Are we ready for some Rocket League? Yeah, me too. There is $200,000 on the line here for our grand final winners, Fancy.
Congrats on SSL, by the way, Whammer.
What a journey.
You love to see it.
We've got 16 teams. The best of the best in the world have stepped off a plane to Real to Championship Sunday, and only two remains. And they only have one thing on their mind, is to have the lifetime achievement of being the first
No worries.
eSport World Cup featuring
Did you finish the rewards or?
It in gold at the totem. So let's not waste any more time.
Did you guys keep playing?
With me, please welcome to the stage the top-rated team in the world, the pride of Saudi Arabia, Team Falcons.
Yeah, I don't know if I feel like playing this weekend, to be honest. I think I might play next weekend. I think I might not touch ranked until next weekend. That's sick though, that's sick. I mean, I think, yeah. I think you and Tooth should be a combination that can definitely get SSL. So, like, it doesn't really surprise me, honestly. I knew you could do it.
These boys have been plagued with 5th to 8th placements prior to this tournament, Fancy. It is finally time for Monkey Moon, Drali, and Exotic to clip some wings.
Players, one final time. Take to your seats and
I wonder how that feels, man. Just having the whole crowd against you.
Fancy. Not only is it $200,000 on the line, but there's also 1,000 club championship points. Do you know what that means for BDS? That means if they win this game, they walk away with $4 million. Woo! I do not want to be them right
lot of money on the line. And ladies and gentlemen, it is the very final match of the Esport World Cup in 2024. But let's not waste any more time and make some noise and let the Rocket League games begin!
The long-time juggernauts of Rocket League and BDS up against the new kids on the block.
Go follow the YouTube or go like the YouTube stream though. Before it starts. Do it. Help me out.
Single game getting to the grand finals, and the desk, they don't think BDS can take it. The people at home don't think they can take it. I think there's only 4 people who think that BDS can take this.
Yeah, and it's BDS themselves. I mean, I love what we heard from Fancy. He said, the pride of Saudi Arabia, and you listen to that crowd, Jorby. There's a lot of pride in this building for this Falcon squad.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think if you're in the building especially, it's gonna feel like it's like inevitable Falcons will win. I just remember that from Worlds. If you were in the venue at Worlds, it just felt like it was like impossible for Vitality not to win at Worlds. It was just the energy in the building.
He can say what he wants. He can say he doesn't pay attention to the crowd. Look, you can hear that one way or the
and
other.
I think it's like even more so probably at this event because it's
EU teams, they go to NA, get booed
Falcons
by NA
home
fans,
crowd,
go to
right?
Saudi Arabia, they get booed by everyone in Saudi Arabia, and then they go to Europe and they get booed by K-Corp fans. So you just can't win if you're a European team.
Monkey Moon, I think he loves it. Because how many times has he just upset everybody by winning another event?
He ruins everyone's day, and if you are Team Falcons, you have to be careful. They were talking about it in the pregame. BDS should not be underestimated just because they had a shaky start. And honestly, that was a few days ago at this point. BDS today has looked quite good.
Yeah, I mean, look,
they look very good.
Pre-jumping on defense, Exotic pre-jumping on offense, taking the ball away from Gen.G earlier. If that's the style of play we're going to see from BDS, it is going to be a battle. I don't think that you should be sleeping on BDS at all if you're in the arena, if you're at home. And Falcons, they definitely aren't going to underestimate them, but they estimate themselves. Their confidence is palpable when you watch them play. They're the fastest team in the world, and they're trying to make the claim to be the best team in the world.
And right now, I mean, they're looking like it. I know G2 doesn't come in with their full roster, but for Team Falcons, you mentioned it, it's the speed, the pace of play, the acrobatics that, you know, Johnny's breaking down with TRK. It's everything, and BDS, Drawley was saying that
what are
Falcons,
those?
They're such a balanced team. You can't just
do
take
those
away
have like
TRK
heat
because
in them or
and
something?
Killers, they make up for it. You can't just take away Rawas.
Did you guys see that shit?
TRK make up for
Never
it.
seen that.
They're so strong individually. That's
like,
what's so
are they?
special about
Do they
Team
have like
Falcons.
heat?
So, you know, they do got this kid on the other side on BDS.
Like I understand the bags and stuff like that to like warm up your hands, right? But those electronic thingies he had there, I'd imagine they have to have like heat or something. Like, what would the point be if not that?
Monkey Moon, Exotic, Drawley here, Cassio getting the boys ready. Monkey Moon,
I've never seen that before.
Making sure the hands are nice and loose on the controller. We're about to get started with game number 1 here in the grand finals. Players are taking their sides on the pitch. Monkey Moon eyes up his teammates. Everyone got their eyes on the monitors now.
Mickey
We're done
Moon.
messing around. We're done talking about nonsense.
Okay, we go.
Let's get the game
We're in.
going.
Game 1 in a best-of-7 Esports World Cup
No kickoff goal.
final between Team Falcons and Team BDS.
What are Falcons going to give you? They're going to give you that speed, but also just consistent and hard to beat challenges, 50s. They have their nose square on the ball almost at all
Also a
times.
factor is Falcons just came off a win, like they just played. Is what I'm saying.
Ahead of them here. Is it slowing it down? That's the answer against Falcons. Is it meeting them at their pace? We'll find out how BDS try to break.
It's been, honestly like there's been a lot of good games. I think all the teams showed up today. Like honestly, I mean the team that showed up the least, I guess you could say, is Gen.G, but I still think they played good, Gen.G. Even though they were getting out pressured.
At the Gen.G defense, corralling them into their own side. BDS are going to try and
But yeah, every series
against Falcons, it's a much bigger task.
Been close games today.
On the attack right now.
Not a bad idea to lean the car out on the challenge there, give an outlet there for BDS.
Maybe a chance here.
To find ways to force the 50s
that cutoff. That's what you're gonna see a lot. That's what BDS were doing so good against Gen.G. Those cutoffs. early, just not allowing possession.
Still BDS set well. Trolley, good pop. Killers can't get a good grab on it, but recovers nicely down.
I think that's a good look from BDS actually at the beginning. Oh, that's a goal. Honestly, they survived that. Holy shit. That's a scare for Falcons.
Oh, I don't know if Falcons are going to give you many more looks like that.
No way, not like that. At least 2 of those, Jorby, should have gone in.
English wasn't extremely easy. I mean, I never struggled with any topics in school, to be fair. But I mean, English was easy, but I still like of course English was easy itself.
Gotta be careful.
But like, you know, like getting exactly every single like tiny thing right still required some, what do you call it, like, it didn't come completely natural to me. But it was easy, yes.
Things died down after a bit of a rally on both sides. Monkey Moon, a heavy touch across. Not much.
I guess I more felt like English was like, felt kind of unnecessary, kind of.
Have to wait for the touch.
Is what I felt.
So not much is able to develop for either team. Good 50s
I think when I went to school.
When it comes to stopping those,
I didn't really feel like I learned much.
Really the only way, I think,
like it was mostly like grammar stuff, but it didn't feel super relevant because I felt like I was learning English so much elsewhere anyways. It felt quite unnecessary to me personally. But a lot of other people weren't as exposed to English as I was, I guess, in like my classes.
For BDS is attacking the play fast on Team Falcons, because if you give them just a second to set up to get their flip reset, bad things will happen for you. BDS on the point of attack so quick to contest.
Ooh, nice job from Monkey Moon, cutting off the lane quickly. Drawley with a wall dash, try to pop it down, but just too much speed actually to get back to the 50-50. Still, you gotta like how BDS are handling Falcons on the counter. Falcons aren't able to actually get that ball to pop back to them. Exotic.
Yeah, there's gonna be a good series, I feel. That's the feeling I'm getting. Oh, big stuff from Ruas there. Out of boost though.
Doesn't get a touch either, so some dead balls here early,
I mean, I went to high school and everything in Moss and everything before it. When I went to university and stuff, I studied elsewhere.
Taken out of the pitch for now. Falcons trying to break through this BDS back line.
BDS are doing something similar.
Exotics clearly first to this. This could be trouble. Yeah, that's the goal. Like, honestly, this is like weird from Falcons in this moment. No one's pressuring. You can see they have 2 players back, but no one went for the play. They just sat in net.
To make it work for them. 47 seconds left, and Falcons are getting shut down here in game 1.
Yeah, kind of a far cry from what we've seen from Team Falcons in previous games. Like the Des was talking about, they've only dropped a singular game against G2.
And I think once again, this is kind of what I said, is people underestimated BDS in my opinion, because they were, I think they were assuming, like they were looking at the whole event of BDS, where they had a really bad performance on day 1. But what you really should be looking at is how they were playing today. And I think that's where people went wrong, in thinking Falcons would just... Like, you heard the people on the desk saying, like, Falcons are just gonna easily win or something like that. And I think that was kind of ridiculous, if you keep in mind the fact that BDS outpressured Gen G so much. We know Gen G's a good team.
Monkey Moon is locked in Corelli, and that is a scary place to be if you're a Falcons fan.
But I still think Falcons...
a clinical defensive game.
I still think Falcons are the favorites, even after losing game 1, but...
Falcons.
Yeah, to me, BDS it probably has the best play style in the world when they play top, so it's gonna be tough if they play like this. It's just, yeah, they play unreal when they're like in the zone with their positioning. It's just Monkey Moon, the Monkey Moon style.
Could have been a story for Falcons, but BDS held on and they got it done. A great leave and power.
Yeah, that was a great play.
And most notably, shut out here on Team Falcons. couldn't break through, and for BDS, we're so close to doubling.
This
up
might be
their score
flashbacks
as
for
well.
Falcons, who knows?
Uncanny start.
This is what happened to them last
Falcons,
major.
that they haven't had to deal with in this
Crushing it in the
tournament quite yet,
semifinals, and
not
then
only
they
losing
get to the
first game,
finals, and
but also not finding the back of the net.
it's
It goes
tough.
to show, Jorby, how much
Facing
Gen
another
G had to
really
go
good
through
team
to even
once
get
again.
a couple games off of BDS, and how strong BDS is in their defensive side.
Near the end of the game, Falcons, they did start car chasing a little bit to try to break BDS off the line, and it may take a little bit more physicality, but hey, game 2, 5 minutes, and see what you can do off the kickoff. Maybe a kickoff strat comes out. Give yourself some sort of inherent advantage here. Or BDS will actually win.
Oh, that might be a goal, guys. Yo.
Denied. Falcons.
I thought it was gonna be a goal.
Well, look at this, Jorby. It's a long series for Team
That would have been
Falcons.
tough.
They're just getting started.
Oh, Jolly a bit slow to that, actually. It
And
was.
for BDS, I mean, I have to
I
compliment
thought
them
it'd go
again.
quicker.
Ever since their, hiccups in the beginning of this tournament, in this playoff bracket, they've looked quite good, and I think most importantly, consistent against Space Station, consistent against Gen G, and in game 1 against Team Falcons.
Quite good.
The same exact thing.
Like, what is
we
that?
can talk about the quality of play of BDS all we want, but the reality is they win the games that they're supposed to win. We
Ooh.
can talk about their struggles against Power, but they still beat Power. We can talk about their struggles overall, whatever, against Space Station early. They still beat Space Station. And here they are, and then they put on the classic
No, but
BDS
Space Station played very
performance
good.
against Gen G. And that's what probably made a lot of BDS fans out there feel more comfortable
Against BDS,
about
actually.
their chances in this grand final. And the first minute, Falcons still can't get the pace going.
That
the way
wasn't
they
some,
want.
like, bad
This is
win.
not their rhythm. This is not what they want to be doing. The ball keeps flying back into BDS. Falcons have to wait. No boost here for Drawley, but right back into Exotic. Monkey Moon on the side, and ooh, a little dangerous, and it's cut across. This might be a chance for Falcons to take over.
It just feels like BDS has knocked Falcons off their horse. I mean, they were going 100 miles an hour in every single one of those games. Now you're seeing Team Falcons
What I
actually
did
have to
not
slow
think
the
could
game
happen
down.
is
Some
kind of
of the stuff
happening.
just straight
BDS are
back
out
into the hands
pressuring
of
them.
BDS
That
because
classic
they're so
BDS
awkward,
style.
they're low boost,
This
they're
is a
not winning
counter
challenges.
chance, though. Monkey
Again,
Moon's
a lot of
alone.
credit goes over to BDS and how they break down
Monkey Moon's done
teams.
enough.
Monkey Moon got low 50'd against Rawas, but the layers were clean enough. This time a quick read, TRK.
They got BDS pinned back a bit now, though. Oh, that's so well done, actually. Oh, is this a goal? It is. Nice demo.
Huge miss there, going up for the read, and Killers will take the goal.
Yeah, good
What happened to
capitalization.
BDS? Monkey Moon
Exotic
kinda
missed the
trickled
read.
out to the right. I think he thought Exotic was going to win that. It could have been communication, and then
I mean,
Monkey Moon
I
gets
think
demoed in the end,
that
but
is
he had
like
no
all
shot
Exotic's
of making the
fault, if
save.
you ask me.
And Falcons finally get on the board.
He should,
Exotic seems
definitely.
scared that ball's going to get pushed towards the center of the net, but
He just
could
missed the
see him
ball.
Killers could see him the whole way as soon as he jumped, so he knew just keep going right.
Monkey
right.
Moon was fully
Now
screwed
Drawley
after that point.
trying
And he
to
tried to
get
put
BDS right
position
back in it, but
aggressively,
here
yes,
come
but
Falcons now. You get
that's
the
not
goal.
necessarily a
Need
bad
to
thing
establish
if
some
Exotic
confidence.
gets
The crowd
the
gets in it a little
challenge.
bit, and maybe the speed starts picking up. There's a demo as well. Drawley gets taken out of the play for a moment. Monkey Moon and Exotic forced to clear this ball out. That's a good initial touch. Monkey Moon has to keep it up, though. Unfortunately for Exotic, it ends up
Oh,
being
that's
a
him. It's a bit unfortunate for Drawley there.
Bumped into that? Is that
Yeah,
how
he got
all
bumped
that
into it.
power? Monkey Moon kind of serves it up to TRK. And
TRK
Drawley
got the
goes for it.
goal.
I think Rawas, that has an orange trail, Jorby.
It's kind of unreal how powerful
And
that hit
BDS,
was.
Disaster on the second goal. Team Falcons double up their lead.
Such a strong start in game number 1. Where everything starts going wrong all of a sudden. And
But yeah,
you
Falcons
just
definitely
let
coming
Falcons
alive a little
into
bit
the
here.
door. Triple commit. One for one. And Monkey Moon just gets there in time.
Looked
but
funny.
Killers just avoids him and keeps it in front of the box. BDS just trying to stabilize here in the corner, but here come Falcons. Now they start flying at every challenge, and they're getting more and more comfortable.
And this is scary because we were just complimenting how great BDS has been able to break down Falcons, but now Falcons finding their form, finding their pace again.
This could be awkward for Falcons
BDS
now.
have to come up with a different answer now.
Just shows you how volatile
Good shout.
Rocket League can be, even in just one grand final. It can look so different game to game.
It's always hard to play from behind.
Falcons look a lot better right now.
When both teams are playing
showing
good
it on the scoreboard, they're showing it on the
in
pitch.
series, in
3-0
best of sevens like this, it oftentimes comes down to who scores early. Like, it's just how Rocket League kind of works. It's really tough to fight back from behind.
The crowd loves it, and Falcons run
So like oftentimes a team will look like Falcons will look worse when they're playing from behind because they have to force stuff. Falcons will look worse when they play from behind. BDS will look worse when they play from behind.
They were able to keep it within centimeters. And that's the only time Falcons
And that's
go.
more and more true the more
They're
the
flying
clock is
forward. They
ticking.
want a fourth. The high-powered offense
I
gets
don't
shut
think
out
so,
too often.
actually.
Number 4. There it is.
I mean, we'll see what
All
happens.
over it. Got the pop off the ceiling. Killers is
But
on
I
a
think
roll.
they'll do it for a while. But I feel at some point they will separate. And I think the moment that happens is when they just can't win anything. Like I think if that ever happens, where their team with them two cannot win anything, they will eventually think about separating.
Your mentality stable. You can't let this game rattle you. You can't let the crowd rattle you.
I watched, like I used to watch a lot of Call of Duty esports. Oh, that's a good shot. Good save too. And there was like a twin duo exactly like in Rocket League. That was like the best team. And they eventually separated. And it was because of exactly what I'm saying. Because eventually they couldn't win. And it just didn't make sense eventually to play together, right? Like if you can't win anything together, it might make sense to separate. That's what I think. It's like, I think probably not even next year they'll separate, but like I don't think so, but later if like, yeah, if they can't win anymore, I do expect them to, personally.
It's a start for BDS, but it is a massive hill to climb. And a great pass out to Drawley.
It's like NRG, you know, as well, like, I know it's not the same because they're not twins, but it really is kind of the same still. Like, super good friends playing together, you know, Garrett, Justin. Like, they gave it a long time. You know, they wanted to make it work, but if you cannot win, eventually it just doesn't make sense to play together anymore. You know?
And try to get them to hit it back into you. Maybe you try to
and that will happen
before you get to the 50.
To any player in any sport, esport. You're not gonna stay on top forever.
Because the timing is just becomes so tight. You're talking quarters of seconds.
That's, yeah.
When it comes to timing those types of things. But if any team were able to do it, surely it could be BDS.
This next game will be very, very interesting.
This is just the time for BDS to get through their sequence.
This game has obviously been over for a bit.
The game was decided 2 goals ago. These 16 seconds, BDS just got to get their mental solid.
As hard as NRG.
But, you know,
yeah, I don't think so either, but at some point I do think they will not be able to win.
For BDS. Frustrate them. Put them in the dirt. You're seeing that now. At least that's what I would be advising Team Falcons. Keep scoring. Keep the pressure on. Stay in that flow state. They found it in this game. Sure, it was a little wonky from BDS defensively, but Falcons...
Like, I'll give you a scenario. Like, let's say Mina never gets more than 2 spots, and a lot of talent comes up, and then they can't qualify for majors anymore. Because there are only 2 spots, and there's a lot of talent coming up. Like, if we think about, like, 2-year time frame, that could easily happen. Like, easily. If you think about NRG, they were so good back then. It's really the same thing. Like no one would ever like think like in that moment that they would fall off, but it will happen. It will happen. Like at a certain point in time, like Fairy Peak was like so dominant. He was unbelievably dominant. Like now today, you don't think about Fairy Peak in that same sense, obviously, because times change. The meta always gets pushed forward.
Cassio, this is where his role comes into play. Keeping your boys locked in, because Falcons are not going to stop. This is not going to be easy. It never was. Not the BDS.
No one can predict the future, though. I don't know when it'll happen, but I know it will happen. It's always gonna happen.
Keep your eyes on the line and take it here against Falcons.
And I feel like for BDS, I mean, look, they're fist pumping here, they're talking, and that's a game where things
there's always going to be like a new prodigy, a new young players.
Falcons would even draw up. So for BDS, you look at game 2 and you say, okay, tough game 2, reset into game 3. This is going to be a long series, Jorby, clearly, as we're already trading blows. 1-1.
1-1, but Drawley, I don't feel like he's truly come unlocked in the series yet. As soon as he starts firing.
Yeah, I think this game is going to be a series defining. They took 1 game each.
Trying to get Falcons set up here on the midfield line.
I think this will be an important game,
50s, but the midfield
especially for BDS.
While contested, Falcons at least splitting it here against BDS. Falcons got their back, wall secured as well. Great catch and release there from TRK, but still, BDS able to get back to the ball. They're forcing Falcons to meet them at the punch. Falcons aren't controlling the game entirely, forced to dump it away on the touch.
It's a good pass.
That's a great touch there from Exotic. He had a lot of Falcons players in front of him. He knew Drawley was on the far side, so you play to space and allow your teammate to chase up after it. Now TRK threatening, as he'll just bump it through, dunk it through rather, and Team Falcons take the lead.
Of course, TRK will find
nice play, by the way. It's essentially like a bit of a counter in a sense. Monkmoon's gonna feel like he's kind of alone in that spot, but he wasn't really though, so he could have played the block better, but...
He's got no power onto the ball. It's so hard to make that 50 work and have it not go in your net when TRK is square-nosed on the ball like that. He just
not good from BDS here.
TRK get a full field air dribble like that down the field and try to get underneath him and take it away.
Tries to drop it down to Monkey Moon. That's a good play. Oh, it's open. It's on gold. You could see it happening. It was not on target. He didn't realize he was off.
Drawley drops it down for him, and Rawas can't get back to it, so Monkey Moon just takes the instant shot. That one was going.
Yeah, I don't know if Mina's ever gonna get more spots. Actually, that is not in the near future. I'll tell you that, because like already NA and EU has lost spots. There's no way like Mina gets more spots anytime soon. It's not happening. It is not happening.
This time he does squirrel that ball away, but Killers have the backboard. Killers denied for now, but here's another follow-up.
I promise you it ain't happening anytime soon.
BDS trying to get their structure reset. Boomer down the field. Exotic with the catch, but he's only got 27. Drawley following with him. Not the touch that they wanted. They'll have to try to contain Falcons here.
They expand overall RLCS spots. I don't think they will for a long time, actually. I mean, they took away EU and A spots. I think the format they currently have is like something they will stick with for a bit. That's my prediction, at least. Unless they esport, I don't know, like, I just don't see any reason why they wouldn't. Like, you gotta look at it from the perspective of like the tournament organizers, right?
And Falcons are now committing 2 players to win 1 ball. Monkey Moon just did the same thing. Flings that ball up on the musty. Exotic gets to play the ball now. Where is Drawley?
That's a good touch down to Clears. It's a bit risky from Clears, but it's worked.
Back on that. Looking on the cams, I thought that was a push that BDS were going to be pushing forward on.
Oh, is that who's first to that? Drawley could have been, but he has no boost.
Drawley had no boost, 0 boost.
Yeah, if Drawley had boost, that's gonna be a goal. But he had 0.
We'll stay with 1, but maybe
scary moment actually for Falcons. They were not very careful there.
Wow, that's a great touch. Saved his flip.
Oh, Drawley got the boost stolen, and yeah, TRK knows it. You can see it changed his play because of that. Oh, what a save! Yeah, dude, BDS are fully starved, every single player. Oh, that's such a big mistake from Falcons. They had them fully starved there. That's a whiff into losing all the pressure. Big moment for BDS though. Surviving that.
Not a ton in the tank.
Great touch from Monkey Moon down to a teammate. Monkey Moon's up. This is bad for BDS potentially. Ah, Drawley's smart there. He knew.
TRK forces him out to the side. Great kill
Knew the situation.
TRK, but they got to do a little more work because here comes Monkey Moon.
Oh, maybe free shot here. It's getting scary now for Falcons. TRK needs to get something here. It's gonna go low. Falcons are covering everything, but it's definitely dicey. Oh, he's past him.
But they got in front of the ball.
Drop.
They got themselves out, at least for now. Drawley trying to
barely surviving here. Oh, that's a goal, isn't it? Not quite. Yeah, Exotic, if he was more ready for that, might have had a cleaner shot. It's what I expected, but...
Exotic thinking Monkey Moon was going to be there, but usually BDS have somebody in that center lane.
That's a bad flick. Yeah. Monkey Moon now gonna need to stall. He knows it. It's a good play from Monkey Moon.
20 seconds. They're holding fine right now, Corelli, but Falcons
feels like it'll go overtime here.
In the BDS corner.
Maybe not.
Touch off the wall. Killers has to
this is awkward.
In front forces it up high, but Killers has a lot of boost. Loses the ball.
BDS is covering everything. Yeah, this will go overtime.
Roas back to the corner, looking for TRK. The bounce gets away from him.
He's gonna keep it up.
Falcons have the chance to get this ball
Yeah,
down
it's
the
overtime.
field, Monkey Moon says no way.
You got to get that one down if you're BDS. Falcons, they want to keep it up. They want to put the pressure on you, knowing that they have the chance to attack. Into overtime we go in game 3. And I would say, Jorby, in the last minute or so, both teams
Good play from Monkey
blows.
Moon.
I mean, BDS gets opportunities downfield, but Team Falcons able to
Jolly
return
has
the
a player
favor.
across, but he lets
dead
Exotic
even
go
right
instead.
now.
Oh,
BDS
scary. I don't like how
playing
BDS played that.
excellent, controlling the ball. Falcons are still able to get back and recover and even get a couple of nice pushes, but BDS's defense has been excellent. They stopped the killers to
Oh, he's around them. Who's first? Monkey Moon.
That feels like that's the difference maker right now in the game.
Oh, Jolly's messing up here. Big moment for Falcons. Exotic's done well. Oh, comes straight to TRK though. Roas might be there. Jolly gets it. Smart play from Exotic here. That's super clever. No panic.
So creative from Roas to get that touch. And that's what makes Falcons so tough to break through. Is
I think Jolly's
their
first to
challenge
this.
game, first of all, but
Not quite, he
even
slowed
when it
down.
looks like they're not able to get a touch, they are. And for BDS, they have to be ready. That
Exotic
quick
slow.
counterattack and control
It's getting
from Team
bumped.
Falcons. Here it is again. Roas, that one got away from
Jolly's done well.
And
Oh,
BDS
Kalir's
break out.
alone.
Exotic.
He gets the first touch
Try to
though.
chase him down with no boost. Drolly doesn't have a lot, and he wanted that high touch off the ceiling so he could follow it with a double, but with that low, without the boost,
What can Monkey Moon do? He has a bump maybe. Overextend here from BDS. Jolly alone. He's committed. Do they score? Nice try. That was a smart attempt from Falcons, but Monkey Moon or BDS stays composed. Oh, he's messed up big.
And it goes out
Monkey
to the
Moon
side.
clutches.
Perfect 50 for Monkey Moon.
Little scary, little dicey
Big clear.
from Team BDS.
Important
Double
clear.
commits coming out. In fact, they prevented
Oh, big
a better
mistake.
clear. They kind of pinched it
Kalir's
off
has
each
it
other.
covered.
Falcons are trying to take advantage, and they
Tense
have been
overtime.
driving up to the goal line on their attack, but BDS always has their last
Kalir's is
man
there
in
early.
place.
That's actually not a good hit from Kalir's though. Oh, but it bounces up. That's good for Falcons.
They get downfield, they're getting into the corners, but again, the 50s from BDS, despite that double commit that you talked about, you get that kill into the
Oh,
corner.
he slowed
Not no
down. That
Falcons
scary
play.
moment.
And they're the ones facing more pressure. Ross has to recover
Big
on
demo.
the half flip. And again, a heavy touch. Not the
Jolly
best
out of
control,
position.
but hey, you get the dunk as long as you got speed
That was scary. Monkey Moon
and square on the ball,
respawning.
you always got a chance. Killers,
Oh, it's just
they don't
in.
even have to touch it.
Surprisingly.
TRK takes the game.
What
2:26
happened?
in OT, 2-1 for Falcons.
And what happened to
I'm not
BDS
sure what
defense
happened
here,
there.
because for Falcons, they didn't even have to
Must
touch
have
that
been
ball.
some
BDS
boost
couldn't
grid
get back in time.
or something, right?
Team
We had the
Falcons,
wrong
though,
angle. We couldn't see what happened.
They had a lot of
Didn't feel
pressure,
like it should have been
Jordy,
open.
And the individual plays, it's funny because BDS was really
It's a
asking
close
lot
series,
from
but yeah, it
Falcons
feels like
players
Falcons have the
individually. It was
edge
either a long
for me.
range, perfectly placed shot that they were asking.
Feels
from them,
like they have the
or
edge.
Falcons players having to go up into the air dribble multiple times, which slows down the play a little bit. BDS, it affords them a little bit more
But
time to
BDS
get
definitely
back.
had the best
And then, of
game
course, you
one. They
mentioned
had
it
better, like
perfectly.
some good moments in
BDS
game 3.
kept Falcons out of their box.
It is
Invited
close.
Falcons in the attacking third.
Very
They did
close.
well to keep them out of the box. And if they did, it was just a player on the ground with the ball that BDS
Couple of
were able to
unfortunate
take
moments too
with
for
the
BDS
challenge. So for
on some of
Falcons,
those challenges. I mean, Falcons are playing them very good.
the all-time high for them, and they're still able to
Yeah,
break
you can't
through.
really blame
This series is one of those nose-to-nose
blame the Falcons
games.
player there for on
It's
goaling, honestly.
decided
Like
on
even
the
looking from his
50s, on the
perspective, you can tell it's like
challenges in
almost
that
impossible to
game.
tell if it's on.
Monkey Moon, there was another try where Roas routinely gets dunks in front of the box. But Monkey Moon times his boost into the ball perfectly, so Roas has no chance to dunk him. And that is the difference in timing between getting dunked and getting an easy save out into the corner is what this game is right now. It's what has forced Falcons to have to play more as a team, to have to throw more feints, because individually it's difficult. BDS are matching them step for step in that front. So it comes down to, can you get that timing off? Can you throw them off their rhythm even by just half a second?
Has Jolly left his
'Cause
chair?
that'll be enough for you to get that dunk. That'll be enough for you to get them to
I didn't
whip
see
the
him.
ball off the backboard. It is literally a game of nanoseconds.
Cassio, you just saw a second ago, discussing deeply with Monkey Moon and Exotic there. And there is a lot to talk about for BDS, because while they have this kind of controlling play style, Falcons are so quick and so smart on the ball, and they win so many
I
challenges.
think Falcons, where they're doing really well against BDS's style, is controlling 50s.
Falcons are just so good. BDS, they have to be more creative, and they have to take advantage
Done a very
of their
good job of
chances,
that.
Jorby. We kind of brought that up immediately in the first game when they missed that 2 or 3 flurry of shots. And it hasn't come back to bite them, obviously, but for BDS, you said it, they're not going to be afforded that many chances against Team Falcons. And I think that's been the case. Despite moving down the field a few times, it hasn't felt like BDS has been able to get a solid right hook into Team Falcons.
Despite all that, I still think BDS are doing a great job giving Falcons a look, baiting them into a touch, and getting possession, helping to kill that ball.
I'm guessing they're taking like toilet breaks in the technical issues here.
They are trying to use their speed
Because I saw Nas gone, TRK's gone.
Are that good, and it's showing you how tight it is right now.
And at this point, you know, you can confidently say that at least through these first few games, BDS has looked the best when staring
I don't mean
down
Nas, I
Team
mean
Falcons'
Drolly.
offense. I mean, really, no one else has been able to slow them down to this degree, to the point where we were even talking and saying, like, wow, what has happened to the speed and the pace of play coming out from Team Falcons? It's not there anymore earlier in the series. Obviously, they picked it up in this game, but BDS has been really the only team that's been able to slow them down.
I mean, for Falcons, they still have so much threat going down the field. Even there was a couple of opportunities where it was, what was it? It was Roas on 12, and then TRK had 6, and they still were moving the ball with pace and winning 50s and creating chances in front of the box. I mean, it's just, to me, it's absolutely crazy. The evolution, not just of the game, but watching how Falcons play the game and how even on low boost they can still play at such a speed with control. And
yeah,
it truly is impressive, this era of Rocket League work.
That's what's crucial, is with control, because we've had a lot of regions that have come in and they've played at high speeds, but they haven't been. Yeah, South America is a great example of a region. For a long time we said this is going to be an incredible play style as soon as they can rein it in.
Yeah.
Because it was like a 3-man commit every time they moved down the field, and they were beating everyone to the ball. And we saw something similar from Mina, but they have been so much better about their control, and obviously Sam has done that now as well. But they have really shown that you can just play this all-out attack and high-speed game and be successful.
There we go.
I mean, Falcons kind of developing that. If you can play at supersonic and come up with quality touches every time, it's hard to say like that's meta. That just feels like that's the ceiling. Like, you got to be able to match that. And slowing it down is real tough. G2 tried to slow it down against Falcons in the semifinals. They couldn't.
Oh,
Falcons just kept
lovely
on
bump.
keeping that pedal on the floor. And while BDS stop them, they take a couple of shots
Falcons
here
in
at the start
possession,
of
though.
game number 4, trying to tie this series up. They'll start on offense. They keep going out to the side. And this is happening a lot on BDS's rotation on offense. This ball squeaks out into the middle, but for some reason, and there's no single player guilty of this, but they're covering the sides on Falcons. It feels like a lot of respect given to Falcons defense when a lot of these balls are actually making it to the middle. BDS don't want to take that many risks on offense, or at least they haven't so far.
This could be bad.
And so
Okay,
maybe they
Monkey Moon
start
takes a bit
changing
of
that
a
up.
poor
Maybe they
touch
start
there.
taking more
That
of
could have
those
been a big
risks.
counter,
Nice
and it
change up
kind
here
of
from
still
Monkey Moon.
is.
Slowing it down, he had a bump, but a great recovery.
Mistake from the bumping player there to flip, I think.
Yeah, great stop by the last man. Team
Sitting on the
Falcons
ground
tearing
would
down
have
a bump
worked.
And an attacking player, and still coming out on top. And now TRK with only a pad will be sent back to the respawn. So far, BDS, again, going back to that lockdown type of gameplay, prepared for
They
anything.
clear for Falcons, but
and
it's been all
Team
BDS
Falcons. I
here.
think what BDS does
The first
the
minute and a
best
half.
on offense is keeping the ball awkward. That's how they're able to get 2, 3, 4 chances on the net in one go. And every team that we've seen, especially in the playoff bracket, they've struggled with that.
Oh, great job from Drolly.
Yeah, this is big for
Ross
Falcons.
really has to
Oh, he
stretch
has a
for this
reset.
one, but
Nice
stretch
reset.
He does. And he gets back to it. Killers underneath with the wave dash, a little bit of speed, and TRK. If
That is
shot
very
any
close
more
for Falcons.
he
That's
ended
him.
up hitting it on his undercarriage. Going off the inside of the
It's
post.
a
It's off the
bit unfortunate for BDS almost, but they also get a bit lucky.
Bumps his teammate into it, and he gets deleted.
Wow,
That
BDS
is close.
Got away with that one. For that one to not drop, and even with the follow-up from Team Falcons, it was too high.
Drolly should have this.
You stay scoreless, and now BDS
Actually,
trying to
Falcons
move
not
up
really
their
covering
line.
this
It's a
area.
Quality ball into space. Can they find possession? That's what's going to be crucial for BDS in the offensive zone, because the more possession you can keep away
Monkey Moon
from
hesitating
Falcons, the
there.
better.
Monkey Moon hesitated for a second because Drolly turned around on that ball, and he was slow to jump for it. I mean, you got to go on that play. If you see Drolly going up for that, Killers was ready for it. He just went.
Almost felt like they didn't
You
communicate
cannot
that
be
as a
slow against
pass.
this team Those are the milliseconds, the nanoseconds that we're talking about of a difference.
Oh, good play.
Get the ball here. They get a demo. And that's going to make things awkward for a second for Falcons. It was a good clear out to the side.
Should fake this if he has a player underneath, but doesn't have one.
That's okay. Falcons weren't able to push it, and Drawley.
Good play. Handoff.
Exotic doesn't have a ton in the tank.
Or just leave it. I think he should just leave that for Monkey Moon. That could have been a great play. Great fake. Monkey Moon a threat on the backboard. Exotic gets the pop. That's not what he wanted.
Monkey Moon backwards, no problem. And Falcons a little
BDS possession. Monkey Moon's there. Fakes it. That is nearly a goal. It is so nearly a goal. There's been some close calls here both ways. This is what I mean. Falcon's been doing a really good job of this, getting those blocks very well.
At least for a moment there, but a good clear from BDS allows them to go back
On the 50s, in the air.
Falcons, they're getting caught with low boost. And it's tough for them to keep up with the play. Monkey Moon wants
It's a bad hit, bad final touch from Monkey Moon. It's not bad, but it's not going to lead to any goal.
For sure. Falcons, 2 players on 20 or 0 boosts.
Oh, Monkey Moon messing up here.
The boost gonna be tough, but again,
good touch from Drawley.
To get into the lanes, force BDS. No BDS. They don't know how much boost.
It's going to be tough for. Wow, what a save! I was going to say that's going to be tough to read for the defense.
And he gets no steal for it, but Drawley just steals the ball underneath.
It's a very nice play from Drawley.
Monkey Moon pops over one and just can't get any more on it, but BDS are locking him down off the ceiling.
That might be a free shot. It is close.
Monkey Moon back to Drawley. Drawley, weak shot denied by Ross.
Yeah, Drawley saw 2 players.
Drawley had a player underneath him, like a teammate, I think.
He hesitated just for a second. He wasn't going to
get a
played
that.
But here comes Drawley again. Couple touches of the backboard. Monkey Moon wants a block.
BDS got to be so careful not to overextend here.
Knocking on this door. And Team Falcons have kept it shut.
Exotic.
What an angle.
World-class shot. I'll talk about an exotic shot. Oh my goodness, he wins his last 3 50-50s.
That was clean.
In place, and then he kicks him off the stage.
It's like a low-speed version of that Appjack redirect almost.
From them, a whole minute of pain that Falcons felt on the blue.
You could feel that one coming for Team
BDS. Oh, he got bumped off.
They have to strike back, and they could have. Killers had the open net, and he
one clear here, and it's gonna be game. They can't get it, BDS. This is still trouble for BDS.
That was an easy tie game.
Monkey Moon cuts off, but he hits it 2 Falcons players, which is not ideal.
Drops it down at 0 seconds. It bounces with under
They just need to send one at a time here. They should be fine.
BDS just need to get it on the ground, and there it is. We got a tie series.
No, BDS been playing really good, yeah. They've been playing very, very good today.
What a devastating loss here. I know it's a tight game, but
I mean, they made the grand final.
So much pressure. The most pressure
they're in a tie series right here.
And they really, honestly, Jorby, should have scored sooner with how many
against
shots they were able to put through.
I'd say pretty peak Falcons. Falcons are playing great. Both teams are playing great. This is just high-level Rocket League. 2 of the best teams in the world.
I think at that whole
it's what we're watching.
We could watch each POV from BDS and be like, oh, he carried that sequence. Exotic, what a beautiful shot, dude. That is insane.
Yeah, we're getting that online BDS now in this tournament.
I'm not gonna lie, Jorby. I pulled a Season 7 U when he scored that. When I ripped my headset off by accident.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Feels like a Game 7.
I popped off. I jumped up out of my seat.
That was a very close game.
But I'm like, surely he doesn't score from there, right?
What a shot from Exotic. And BDS better for it. And we've talked so much about how great Monkey Moon's been and how great Drawley's been. Their kind of secret weapon, as I said. And Exotic, he's been so consistent for BDS. That is a obviously a high impact play for BDS from Exotic.
Maximum impact. Now Falcons. You kind of listening to the crowd, but you don't hear anything. And that is the biggest thing for BDS.
Yeah. Here we go.
They love silence. And it's not the first crowd that BDS have
Yeah, they were only shaky day 1, really.
Could they do it again? The crowd's getting back into it.
They've been good.
Falcons, I'm looking back at that killer's opportunity, Corelli. With 10 seconds left in the game.
What a dunk.
We've watched him sink 100 times.
Wow. Falcons need to be careful here. They shouldn't get dunked like this.
It's such a critical moment where you needed that game-tying goal. You needed to really force BDS to sweat. And instead,
it's almost a free shot here. They might actually have one. Nice save. Clutch from TRK. That was trouble.
They've tried demoing Drawley a million times. And they just can't keep him off.
Finish is not there from Clears. He rushed it. Should have been a better shot there.
Up early here in the first 40 seconds of game number 5.
That might be even the biggest talking
It seems
point of that
Falcons
last
making
game,
some
Jorby,
sort of
was
mistakes
less so about BDS and
like
Exotic
that
scoring a crazy goal, but more
with the
so about Team
finishing.
Falcons
They
fumbling a
could
gimme
take their time
in
with some of
front the
these,
net.
like be a bit more clinical.
It's a tie series, and for Team Falcons,
Like everywhere else,
and
I'd
for
say
us, Jordan,
Falcons
we
are
knew
playing
this one was gonna
pretty
probably
good,
get close to
like
7,
extremely good.
if not always going to go to 7.
But they could be a bit more clinical right now.
From Exotic means BDS back in business offensively.
TRK lets it go. That move just to get Monkey Moon to freeze. To get
That's a
the
good back
space,
pass
but
from
Monkey Moon
Clears.
forces it back again, and these touches are so heavy. Roas wants to go. Go, and both the Chiefs and Johnny over the course of the week, they've shown us the telestration about MENA Rocket League, about Falcons in particular, about the just go mode because they have all the options, but then they just hit you in the face because their touches at
Ankle
speed
breaker.
are such quality. But they're
Nice try from Ruas.
and
That was a
BDS
sick
are
play.
ready for it. They're able to get back to it. They're matching Falcons, if not outpacing them like they did in the last game, and it's not something teams
Oh, there's a
can
big
do
chance.
all
Drali's
that
the only
often.
one
Here's
with
Killer.
boost.
Sets it up, and the tightest angle for
Oh,
Ross.
Drali's staying on the
TRK
ground
can't get
there.
in time.
And one that he normally scores as well, especially when he gets over the ball like
Actually
that,
survives
uncontested
with
by
that.
BDS. At least to not interfere with his shot. He hit it off the top of the bar.
The view bot thingies on Twitch are
Falcons going back to their
so annoying
offense,
right
and that
now.
one trickled
They're
pretty
constant.
far
Stupid.
towards the net, much further than I think BDS expected. Still, they keep a clean sheet.
Got some space, trying to avoid Monkey Moon, but then you run into a Drali. Drali across, Exotic's in the air.
Oh wow, what a play. That's just the level they're playing at right now, both of these teams. You have to stay so many steps ahead, like, yeah. Exotic pre-jumps a bump play. That's what it, like, that's what is necessary to score here.
Explosive response from BDS these last 2 games. Falcons, this is the most competition they've faced in this tournament. And BDS, they aren't just matching them out. Falcons keep
Oh, they
getting
mess up.
slowed.
No way, he missed.
Ross, he had no boost, he got
It's
no
tough
power
goal,
on the
but
touch.
it was
Everything going wrong
scoreable,
for
surely, right?
Falcons. Oh, that one
I think it
short
mainly
at
comes
the
down
end.
to
I
not
mean,
expecting that to happen.
Falcons, the little things are not working right now. How do you recover? How do you keep yourself
Charlie gets beat.
locked in as
Oh, a big
Killers
moment.
gets the next touch?
Good job, Exotic.
And everyone holding their breath for the next touch. 'Cause this is
Monkey
for
Moon
match
has more
point
here.
right now. And BDS, they're
Smart
showing
play
their
from Monkey
colors.
Moon. Smack it off the backboard there.
And it's looking all orange right now.
Plenty of time. You ask what do they do? Plenty of time for Team Falcons. You can't panic
I think
in a moment
Falcons
like
is
this
one of the
when
best
lights are
teams in the
brightest.
world at just like sort of creating
Yes.
goals out of nothing.
Especially Monkey Moon. He's been here quite
Like,
a bit.
at times, like in that G2 series too, it feels like G2 is kind of in control, and then Falcons just like all of a sudden they just get a goal.
When it arises.
So I truly
Killers
feel they
break
could just
down,
score
trying to
here
go
at
through
any
two.
any
He does.
moment.
Awkward bounce
Yeah.
off the post
See what I'm
and
saying?
in,
Like it's
and
like
somehow Killers made that one work.
it's like they're not. It's not really off pressure. It's not necessarily counter. It's just like they just get a goal.
And that bounce into Killers, Monkey Moon
Of some type of
thinking that's
solo
gonna go
play
low.
usually.
That's a tough read as it bounces between 2 cars. You know, when the noses meet at the same time, that's a little easier to read. That's a little easier to drive into. But the fact that it was a ping pong right back into Killers underneath and it bounced down, it caught Monkey Moon out as he drove
This is
forward.
awkward for
And that
Falcons.
just threw some
Low boost and
electricity
stuff.
back into the crowd. You hear the chants going for him now. And Falcons are back
This
in
is
it.
in the favor of BDS for sure.
They'll need one more at least. To
Messed
convert
up
this
there,
game
BDS.
5. BDS though. It feels like they've been getting better and better in this series.
This is trouble for
Falcons have
BDS.
regained some
TRK couldn't get
control.
it.
A lot of
Clears. He
solo
might have
plays
Ruas
coming out
underneath
from Team
him.
Falcons,
Good
which means a
chow.
lot of boost.
And maybe discomfort as well. Is when they're feeling good. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the world when it comes to their synergy.
Ooh.
But it just
Falcons
has not been
knocking.
something they've been able to go to. BDS have shut them down in the lanes. Monkey Moon diving
Oh, the
back.
counter.
A missed
It's
touch from
open.
Falcons. Exotic runs
Ooh.
away with a free
Shouldn't be a goal. Shouldn't be a
What happened
goal.
to Falcons? The mechanics, the speed, all the great things that we say about them, and this one just splits the gap.
That's tough for
They couldn't
Clears. It
even
just
get a
pinches
hand
out
on it.
mid.
Wow.
Can't really blame
Well,
him.
this has been, I mean, honestly, pressure. Like BDS early in the series. Remember game 2, the weird bump into their own goal,
Yep.
a weird mistake where 2 players weren't covering the net, and now Falcons, the same thing's happening.
Wow,
And the pressure is
rips
getting to
that
both of these
shot.
teams as it comes back. But BDS, they've so much experience feeling
Oh,
this
nice
pressure.
try.
Trolley,
That's smart
maybe
from
not
Monkey
so
Moon.
much. He's a little
Good
new
touch from
when it
TRK.
comes to this pressure, but
It's huge.
Monkey Moon and Exotic, they are no strangers to it. They know how to recover in those situations.
That is
Falcons
close.
are facing so much of it right now for BDS. They are getting pushed to the brink.
Good 50s. Super smart.
Just to keep this one alive and to keep Team Falcons at bay. Look at the
They're
time.
just not
10 seconds
overextending,
left.
not sending too many bodies.
Some quality challenges come up from Team Falcons, but they've lost 4 or 5 seconds. And with 5
Great
to go,
50s.
they have to move down the field.
That should be BDS on match point.
Challenged by Monkey Moon. Drawley looking to kill this one down.
Oh, he trolled.
But they left the
He
node
giga
open.
trolled.
The Killers can
Oh
get
my
over
god,
it.
he left the
Team
opening.
BDS go all the way.
That was scary for them.
And they put Falcons on match
Okay, it is match point though.
One more time for Team BDS, and they will come away the Esports World Cup champions against the hometown favorites. Falcons are calling the timeout now.
Yeah, that was a
They
wild
need
pre-jump,
the extra
by the
time.
way.
Sit down, figure it out, because so far there ain't no electricity. That should have been in. There's like 3 touches that should have been in. None of it's been in.
Oh, that was so nice
That's
from
crazy
Killers.
Killers because it goes through all 3 of
That was
BDS
so
there.
nice.
The fake down, the
Looking
B
from
over
his
the top of
perspective
one, and the
too.
bounce over the top of the other.
I mean, I saw it the
For
first
Team
time, but from his
Falcons,
perspective, you can
take this
see he had
timeout,
like
as you mentioned,
such good
and
vision.
You got to get the crowd back into this.
He was
one.
controlling
You gotta
that.
be raising your hands.
I want to hear from the smart guy. Achieves, what are you taking of this series? I need to hear what's going on.
So it's a pretty tough one out there for Falcons at the moment. BDS doing an excellent job. The answer for the Falcons fastball right now is you have to bring the support early. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one. So here's the attack from Falcons. All right, they get everybody jumping at the net. Fantastic. Killers goes back over his head, Drawley into the side, and now they go out to the corner. Now here's where you have to consider how to attack this, because we all know Falcons want to take this ball
It's
up the
not
wall,
an
right?
ideal
so Monkey
scenario.
Moon's going to head over, take this off. Now, what they're doing
TRK
is
here on
they're
0
bringing
is
this
rough.
support out of the midfield early to cover this space, because they know that the Falcons are going to see this challenge
This
coming,
positioning
and
is
they wanna
not
get out
good.
in front of it early.
It's
So
not
a
a
really
not
job.
a nice
Watch
scenario.
Drawley come out of the midfield here. He's already arrived before Rawas can make that next 50. They drive back through. Now they've
Yeah,
got the man
that's why
advantage,
that
and
happened,
Exotic
actually.
is in front to take the lead. Huge plays from BDS. So much aggression and time out of the midfield. It's fantastic from them. Back to you guys.
You know, Chiefs is a really smart guy. Great breakdown of Chiefs. Thank you very much. And you know, we saw that in a couple more plays too, where they show the challenge one way, but the real threat is actually behind the first man, and that is how you get through a team that likes to play at max speed. You try to trip them up, you show them the barrier, and then you hit them with the hammer.
I think that was a great breakdown from Achieves, because it shows that BDS is forcing Team Falcons into the path with the most
This could be the final
resistance,
game.
Right? They're trying to take away the easy plays. And what a
Will the
great,
timeout
great insight
matter?
from Achieves there as we jump into
Oh,
game
that's
6.
a missed touch.
Now Falcons, how do you get around it? You gotta make
Oh,
sure you
there's a
have your
goal.
eyes on
They
everybody on
both
the
went.
bench from BDS.
Okay, they're fine.
On Neo
Ui.
Tokyo,
there they are.
BDS have sent
This should have been a
many
BDS goal.
team home
Definitely.
on this
That was
stadium.
full
The
panic
crowd
from Falcons.
Don't want none of that. They want Champions Field. Falcons surely do as well. But BDS have had control of this series since Game 4, and they have not wrenched control of it. And big credit goes to Exotic, who has been behind a lot of the fire behind this BDS attack. As Monkey Moon drops it down, back over to Exotic, being the X factor for the team. I'll have to let that one go. But there's Falcons heavy touch.
TRK out of
Exotic
position,
easily
low
touch to
now.
get it back down underneath.
Good setup from Team
No
BDS.
more.
Unfortunately, Exotic gets demo, but Monkey
Oh,
Moon
that's a
winning.
nice
Challenge,
play.
Slicing and dicing, cutting him up, but the last man in Killers makes the save.
And Monkey Moon clearly went to the whetstone during the
What's happening here?
pause. The blades looking
Such a
quite
bad
sharp,
perspective.
but Falcons able to parry the blow and keep the duel going.
It's all BDS,
TRK with a
first
nice
minute.
touch. Now how do you get this one downfield? No pinch off the ceiling.
Great
You'll
touch.
have to
Bad touch.
sacrifice yourself for a basic air dribble.
Oh, this is
Try to
bad for
force this ball
BDS.
in front of the box.
Monkey Moon's
Keep
low
going
back.
out
Oh,
to the
what a
side.
what a
Nice
back
pass
pass.
over to Monkey Moon. And BDS break out off of that. Falcons able to get one more. Rawas has the board. Rawas, no! The
Oh, it's so
double not on
close.
target.
That's a
TRK
big
has to
moment.
stretch. And the little things again, Corelli, that have chances that Falcons so often score, they're getting none of it.
Yeah, that's a big
BDS
time
are
play that
super
you gotta
awkward,
put
though.
through if you're Team Falcons, but they are controlling the possession to the point where Team BDS just have weak
Oh,
clears
big
out
mistake.
now. Exotic's
That
been
is
invited
nearly a
in, the
goal.
backboard's found. Monkey Moon's there. It's on target.
It is a
One will
goal.
trickle in for Monkey
Yeah.
Moon, and Team BDS
That miss on the
walk
ball
downfield
there
and
from
steal Team
Killers, that was a
Falcons'
big
lunch money.
problem.
Well, Falcons try to go fast, 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 but Monkey Moon's all about that slow roll, baby. BDS looking for the money. in the grand finals on match point, and with 3 minutes left, they are in position.
I can't tell.
To be your esports
Jolly actually wins out.
Jolly taking that one up. Here, he just lets it go. Couldn't keep control of it. Exotic with a pot shot and all of Falcon's
Jolly, work to do.
Stress just from the triple commit.
Fakes it, that was smart.
Form, and they've got to do it fast. BDS.
It's gonna be tough for BDS here. Low boost.
In that midfield, and they forced them to come out with the solo plays, but they
nice play, nice play. That's better from Falcons.
No more solo, all about that synergy. Roas coming across, holds that
so nice. Pre-jump from TRK. Fantastic play. That's the, like I said earlier, that's the level they're playing at. Like, you have to like pre-jump shit to like open up the defense.
And so is the crowd, Jorby, which might be the most crucial part. BDS, though, are unrelenting as Monkey Moon, ever present in Rocket League LAN finals throughout the years, looking to add another notch to his belt.
It's well played by Exotic.
But Team Falcons might have something to say of it here in Neo Tokyo.
This is scary now for Falcons. That was a horrible
so often, so
handoff.
Many times, exactly that has been able to push the ball in, but Falcons have the defense. They're able to keep them out.
Jolly's first. Scary now for Falcons. It's in. Oh, it's not in.
He missed the ball. Jolly had no boost.
They couldn't save that though if it was on target.
And now BDS have to wait. Monkey Moon actually, he's just going to go for the ball. Roas underneath.
Another scary moment.
Settle in and settle down. They're getting stretched on their goal line. And a lot of players with
important
no
touch from Roas there.
Like
getting it to the corner.
Into the corner. Look at Exotic, full boost, and the opportunity to keep
Monkey Moon sideways. Good first touch.
And Falcons trying to stay above water as they do break out for just a moment.
Great hit. That was a great touch.
BDS, they've done such a great job of shutting down
he has a bump.
high-powered offense. Another shot from Jolly denied.
It's close, it's close. Such incredible defense.
Exotic avoids TRK's attempted bump.
Holding on here, Falcons.
Jolly next up, pushing him forward again. Up high, Roas loses the ball, but it falls right
Exotic's
back down
first, maybe? Not quite. That's a big moment for Falcons. Jolly's kind of panicking, he has to. Big clear. And Exotic's there.
As they're flying back to the backboard, and gets a nice touch out, but Jolly got more boost. Jolly's got the touch. And
scary now for Falcons.
Monkey Moon up, but
big beats.
By TRK, and Falcons keep getting to the touches. It's looking tenuous, but they're making it work. They're surviving, trying to force game 7. Dropper saved.
Those are the opportunities for Team Falcons.
Bad touch from Roas there.
And it's weak, but they
Clears
have the
done well here.
And they have the opportunity. It's a Killers.
Oh, they're starting to prime up Corelli. They just need to pull the ripcord, start the engine, and Falcons are right back to it.
Oof,
but BDS,
scary.
they will not let it happen. They're stalling them out. Exotic steals away the corner boost. Roas still has some. Monkey Moon.
Grand final, Shrimp.
Killers has a chance. Holds the ball. Got the 50 off the board, but no quick rebound for Falcons. They didn't have the boost. They
are we going OT?
And there's 10 seconds left on this clock. We might be going to overtime.
Maybe the last chance for BDS. 8 seconds
might be
down.
A shot
this
here.
One trickling out. Monkey Moon. Can he put this one away? It's pinched out by Team Falcons.
TRK might have a play for Falcons here.
Team Falcons, if they can move downfield, and Drawley, I don't know if you want to give it back to Killers with the boost he has, attacking from all angles.
Okay, overtime. Overtime. Will we have a kickoff?
I think this is the 5th overtime for BDS in between the semis and the grand finals, and now they're on
kickoff to Falcons.
Tournament goal. Killers wants game 7, but Exotic has stood in the way. They have not been able to break through him, and he forces another 50.
Oh, that's a goal. That's a goal. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Damn. BDS get a win this year. There it is. They're the champions. And Falcons, they're cursed. They cannot win a grand final.
BDS, they might have started slow, but they finished
on
top.
In the semifinals,
and I've been saying it, but yeah. BDS is like probably potentially one, yeah. If not the best team in the world, they are one of the best teams in the world when they show up.
And you can see it on TRK's face. You can see it on everyone's face on Falcons.
I mean, that was... I think Falcons played a lot better here than they did. I don't know if... do you guys agree with that? I think in the grand finals last time they played worse. A lot less playmaking.
The timeout happens.
But yeah.
I don't even think they called a timeout. They just won the next game. Wow. This guy right
Still, they couldn't make it happen.
One of the greatest to ever touch the game. How does he keep getting here?
How does he keep
Sen's team is not doing too well. Like they're doing fine. Like they've been good the whole year, but they're not really getting close to winning a LAN or anything like that. They've been consistently top 8, which is good, but
But here it is, your esports World Cup champions.
they made top 8. They won 1 online in event in Europe, and they've gotten top 8 every single time. Top 4 as well, once or twice. Once, I think top 4 of Copenhagen maybe. So they're doing good, but yeah. Damn. Yeah. BDS showed up for once. Yeah, and I still stand by what I said. I think coming into Worlds, it's gonna be the favorites for me is BDS, Falcons, G2, and KC. Those are the top, like the 4 teams I'm looking at primarily. And the rest, like the ones below, are also insane, so it's gonna be super cool. The most stacked Worlds by far, in terms of how many teams can actually win. I thought last Worlds, it felt like there were only 3 teams that could really win. This year, I feel there's like 8 or 9, which is crazy. And you can kind of see that, because there's been 3 different winners this year in the big tournament so far. We might have a new... Maybe it's Falcon's turn for Worlds.
We found the great way to make it happen, so it's just been a pleasure.
You guys certainly put up an exceptional fight.
3rd time lucky.
But I want to open up the floor to you. RLCS Worlds is coming up. What do you have to say to all of the teams that are watching you boys right now before you head into RLCS?
For Worlds, if we play our game, nobody will beat us.
Ooh, okay, I like it.
I mean, absolutely. After that performance against Falcons, he can definitely say that. But at the same time, Monkey Moon, I do want to
Poor
ask
Falcons,
you,
though.
what do you want to
All the
say
Falcons
to everyone
fans,
that's been
they always
supporting
get so
you up to this
close.
point?
I just started thinking about the crowd. Damn, always so close.
And we'll be back for Worlds, and I hope against Falcons.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Gidea Arena, one more time for your eSport World Cup featuring Rocket League champions, Team BDS. And now, guys, you get to cement your history as
Trophy is
the
super
eSport
sick,
World Cup
though.
totem as the first ever eSport World Cup Rocket League winners. So please, take the trophy and let's head to the totem to finalize this moment.
Are we gonna see it encased live? Or does that happen afterwards? Yeah, so for people that don't know, they put their key here. Like, this is BDS's key. Goes inside the trophy in the middle there. That they've been holding the whole event.
Champions, Team BDS, taking down the Falcons, the hometown heroes, but it was wonderful to see again the audience cheering them on as well. What a performance in Monkey Moon, James.
Yep.
To slot that one away to finish it off.
Pirelli called it. He said
That was a sick
Monkey
shot,
Moon
by the
called
way.
game. That's exactly what happened. Monkey Moon, one of the greatest players to touch
Deceptive,
Rocket League. Pirelli was
top
right
left.
with that one as well. Huge performance from him, but it took everyone. Exotic had some incredible plays like that double tap from a tight angle. Drawley, magnificent all tournament long.
But I also think
And
G2
BDS
with
is
Nas
just one
was
of
up
those
there
teams,
this
as long
event.
as Monkey Moon is
I
on
thought
it,
they also
no
gave
matter how
Falcons
bad
a,
the previous
like...
results.
I thought that series could have gone both
out.
ways as well,
Earn your
if I'm
flowers
honest.
If you're BDS.
They played very good.
No joke, I thought they had maybe like 25% shot of winning this thing, just because that's how well I thought Falcons was playing. And wow, what a performance to go out there. It was a battle, to be sure. Easily could have gone 7.
And there it is, Coach Cassio putting the frame in there for Team BDS, the Rocket League champions.
This is sick, by the way.
Immortalized in the totem here in Riyadh for your esports.
And then all
World
the
Cup.
losers are down here.
Monkey Moon now.
Now, they're gonna get to pick now 3 keys
Showing off
of their
photo
choosing.
Oh, and yeah, this is where they get to pick.
Like, these are all the teams they beat,
Put
right?
at the base of their
This
trophy.
is the juicy spot.
What do you pick?
I mean,
yeah,
well, do
take
we
a
have some intel on who they're going to be selecting down there?
They're gonna pick Falcons.
Oh,
we thought
I
maybe
think
other
they
French
picked...
teams.
Gen G.
Oh, take all the French.
Take all the French.
Okay. I like it.
Falcons for sure certainly has to.
They have to take
hear
Falcons.
them discussing it. You can see
It
them.
is a discussion. I mean,
Oh, here they go.
Who do we get?
What do we see?
what do they
Vitality,
got?
maybe?
Let's see. I can't. My eyesight.
That was Gen G.
There we go.
Falcons.
I think.
Okay,
Or I couldn't see.
We had the
It was
Falcons.
Falcons.
Okay.
Space Station.
Oh,
So it's
okay,
Gen
maybe
G,
on the
right?
playoffs. Maybe on the playoff match.
Oh, hold on. Will we get it? Here we go.
Gen G.
Gen G.
Yeah, Gen G
All
Space Station
Their
Falcons.
bracket run.
It was their bracket run, yeah. Their best wins, basically. Their best
We'll watch them
wins.
later at some point.
So I guess they could have
They
put
don't
in
have
like
this, so
the
we can't
other
talk
teams they
about it
didn't play
right now,
against as
I
well.
feel like they probably just would go playoffs.
I think it's just.
But I feel
yeah,
that's
the
weird.
The bracket they had to run through to get there.
No spite. Real sportsmen, those of you guys.
We beat these teams. They are ours.
Wow. What a moment for BDS. And, you know, for Monkey Moon, I think there's been a lot of chatter out there that really has been questioning if he's still at the level he was before, if he still is among
Oh,
the
you have
best.
to?
And
But I think the
this
ones that were
answers
lying there were
question.
other teams as well,
Monkey
right?
Moon coming out with Exotic and Drawley, Coach Casio.
Yeah, I feel like it would be weird if they put someone else in there.
Victory here in Riyadh.
What a show.
But I guess they could have gone down the meme route and only taken French teams too, like they talked about, but I feel like that's a bit weird
decoy first man,
to do.
and they absolutely came up with a winning game plan to take down a certain tournament favorite and a well-deserved victory.
Yeah, and for people that don't know, those three they picked will actually be like melted essentially at the bottom of this trophy and become a part of the trophy. Those teams they beat, their keys.
We saw Monkey Moon do it with BDS.
Yeah,
and
I mean
now
Monkey Moon's the
Drawley
GOAT,
with BDS gets
the
to
open
have
era
this
GOAT,
to his
for
resume.
a reason.
A phenomenal moment for a phenomenal player.
Casio as well. I mean, it's been a while. You know, he joins his coach, and team kind of starts to take a bit of a dip, and everyone goes, well, I don't know if that's the right idea. Yeah, well, you can't fault it now.
Love to see it. All the fallen teams behind them, and they stand victorious in front of the totem. What a wonderful moment for them again, especially leading forward. Just
He probably doesn't want to
James,
drop
you were
it.
saying that this squad still can hang. They still have it in them, especially against such a team like the Falcons that everyone had winning this entire tournament. They proved them all wrong.
No, and I mean there was some
I don't know.
honorable moments on defense from Killers.
Someone
He
who's
was-
arranging
he
it
had a
or
couple
contributing
saves where
money
he
or
was
something.
speeding along the backboard to get there, but
Damn,
overall,
I
I think
didn't
to
remember
me,
that
what,
shot.
What I saw out there, Chiefs, feel free to have
No,
a
go
different
for it.
opinion. But I just felt like this was one of those moments where
It's the classic
there,
Monkey
Chiefs, feel
Moon
free
like
to
tilt.
have a
No,
different
go for
opinion. But I just felt like this was one of those moments where
I
the
wonder if that was
experience
that
for
play,
TBS
the one where they
upgrading
on goal,
really
like
helped them,
got
and
bumped into
the
an
fact
on
that
goal.
Team
That was an
Falcons have been
unfortunate
there
on
and come up
goal.
short again. It seemed to affect them out there.
This was also an unfortunate on goal.
And all of the other series before
Yeah, it was
this
one goal,
would have been an
one
easy
on
goal
goal
for
each
Falcons.
way.
They would have knocked that through, and then we saw them multiple times have a chance, weren't able to complete.
Which
I
were
think I'm
like
definitely
not
with
bad
you,
on
you know? I
goals
think they were
in any
okay
way.
with losing game one, but then you know you start to miss a chance on target. We saw at the end of I think it was game 3. They had a
That
chance
shot
to put
was
one
so
away and they just
sick.
miss it wide. And at that point, then they started to look a little bit questioning.
This shot
you saw the
too.
game plan start to shift. Felt a little more passive, not quite that same killer instinct. And I think I'm definitely with you. There is certainly a component
that was nice
of the
too.
mental game that I would argue came and affected Falcons here. But is that enough? Who can say? Either way.
Wait, I want to see
BDS
that one more time.
I think the Falcons here, but
Yeah, Monkey Moon pinched it with the Ruas. I
is that
wonder if that was
component
intentional.
of the mental game that I would argue came and affected
It like
Falcons
happened so
here, but
surprising. Look, nah, Monkey Moon's trying to force it here. Yeah.
Is
It is kind of like bad from
enough?
Ruas if you think about
who
it.
can
Like,
say? Either way,
do you really
BDS, I
want to
think
take
you're right.
that
The experience
challenge?
pays off big for
He's
them.
trying to
They
disrupt.
got
I mean,
the
it's
job done.
unfortunate. That's very unlikely to happen.
I'm kind of concerned,
to be
actually,
fair.
for the Falcons now because this is twice.
It's
in the
very
grand
unlikely to
finals
happen.
where they
It's honestly
faltered
very
as a
unfortunate
favorite
goal.
3 times.
Yeah, I mean they made it to.
Yeah, that
they
pre-jump
made it
was
to the
so sick
London
as well.
final twice.
They were playing at
And,
such a high level.
Now here in Riyadh.
That shot too is like
coming up
so
short.
good. It's so deceptive.
Yeah, I'm worried about them going forward. It feels like a mental
Perfectly
block that
placed.
is
That was the game winner,
hopefully
the
something
series
they
winner.
Can get rid of in the future. I mean, BDS is very happy that
Yo,
still exists,
Adrian,
but
how are you
for
doing?
the Falcons, it certainly is.
Yeah, BDS.
I think even for us as fans of
Back on top.
Rocket League in
It's been a
general,
long time for
sucks
Monkey
to
Moon.
see a team get so close so many
Drali
times.
with a fantastic breakout season now,
bunch
regardless of
many
what
teams,
happens.
You know, we saw, oh, it's NRG's time. It's
I think they'll
NRG's
pick
time.
Exotic,
It's okay. We've
just
seen
because
it
of how
all.
they've been
We know
talking.
it can come full circle for anybody if they wound up finally getting their
It's hard to say who's deserving. It was a really big like full team effort.
It happens. You played a fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming they're gonna pick someone from BDS, but yeah, I wouldn't be mad if they picked TRK either.
Take a look at their
But I
journey,
just
too.
think they
mean,
typically
again, this was long
will pick.
through the slog of 16 teams at
When
the
there's only
beginning.
one
These
MVP, they
teams
will pick
earned their
the
place in
tournament
the grand
winner
finals
oftentimes, right?
quite handily as well, but then Falcons just falling
I mean,
a little bit
TRK
short.
is the MVP of the whole tourney if you look at like consistency throughout. I think. Yo, Citro, I'm drinking.
G2, when they played Team BDS, they let in a single goal in that whipping.
How did Falcons sweep G2?
Oh yeah. All right, you can't forget that. Team
Here?
Falcons,
That was
very
not a
same
sweep.
G2 team, they crushed them 4-1. That was the only, they only
I mean,
dropped that one
G2's
game
playing with a
until the grand
sub,
finals. And
but
that's why I
I'll
think
be
it's such
honest,
a
this was
mental thing in
like this series was a lot less close than this series. Although the scoreline says different, BDS were way more dominant in this series than Falcons were here. This was a very close series. This was like scoreline wise and goals, it was fairly close, but pressure, BDS were dominating the pressure,
I mean,
the
Daniel
possession.
said they played perfect in his interview. He's like, they just played perfect, and they were. That's what it seemed like. And I think
The
the grand
G2
final,
series
it
could
was
have
far
very
from
easily swung
perfection.
differently.
And so Team Falcons,
That was a
though,
close series.
They're gonna have. Sometimes you have to be forged by fire. And these results of getting so close, eventually I really feel like they
make diamonds, baby.
Oh yeah.
I think
just realizing now,
I
too,
think the casters were
NA didn't play
trolling
here.
with how they were
We have,
talking. Because I think this, like BDS played incredible here, incredible here, incredible here. I mean, I said it. I thought they were kind of. I don't know. I thought it was weird how they were just talking about it like BDS had no chance or something like that in the grand final. Because I thought they played really good here. It was only day one. They looked really shaky. And they shown some weakness against Gen G, but Gen G's a super good team. Like, they got countered on a few times, but
Okay, so I do want to get to some more awards here that
Kalirs gave them the win.
Well, just to get to
How
here.
so?
First one up is the Sony
I don't remember him
player
doing that.
bounty. Now, all the games had a different bounty for theirs. Ours was most demolitions. This is not one we hand out. It's just earned. Roas
Are you
walks
talking about the
away with
last
most
save?
demolitions. It was actually
The last save is
a very
impossible. That's
close
never
call
getting
in that
saved,
finals
pretty
between
much.
multiple players. I believe Killers
I
and
don't
Monkey Moon
I don't think
were
Kalirs
also in
played
the
that
running
bad.
for this bounty.
What was the final
I think
number, Lee?
Falcons in general played good.
We'll find out.
Too many mistakes.
Like,
Yeah, I mean,
We would have asked. Come on.
something insane.
I think it's more of a team thing.
Yeah, we don't know right now.
Where I don't think it was. I'm not gonna blame any single player on Falcons for that
This
loss.
next award, though, was something that we all decided, a player that stood out. We have to talk about our
Personally.
Sony MVP player of the tournament, and that goes to Jorius. I want to let
You have
people
no
know
idea if he
this
gets nervous,
was
by the way.
worth
Like, you have no idea how the
$50,000,
team
and Jorius
is talking, how
put
they're
in the
feeling.
work to earn
We
that
have no
money and
idea
this
watching.
award.
I mean, it's going to be tough to argue.
Yeah,
against
BDS just
Jorius, even
slightly
though,
edged them out
they
throughout the
didn't
series.
win.
And it was
This
super
Chiefs
close.
team was one of those teams people expected
I mean,
to
it's
go
kind of a
out in the
fair
group stage,
MVP.
probably not even win a series. This is a team that's not even going to Worlds. All right?
Like,
This is,
in terms of like,
this is
yeah. I
shocking
mean, I
that they
wouldn't
made
have
top
picked him as
8,
MVP
and,
since
you know,
Chiefs
they
didn't make it
looked
that far in the
good doing it,
tourney.
too. To beat a major champion not once,
But I mean, he is
but
up there
twice
for MVP
to make top 8. That is not a
in the
fluke.
tournament.
So, Jorius,
Just
a
individual
huge part of that
performance.
success, he was able to turn this around.
He
for
had an
teams.
unbelievable
hope it
performance,
gives
but
those OC guys back home, like, hey, no. Now we know.
I wouldn't
we
have picked
know
him
we can
personally.
do it now, that's what I'm hoping for as well. So, give them a little bit of boost heading into RLCS.
you know, Kalirs
Right.
in person.
Before moving on, I kind of wanted to touch on that too, just for Hunter and Kaka. This is huge for them. It's not just like Jorius came in and carried. Those two put in absolute work
Oh yeah,
to get to that.
Kaka
No,
was
Chiefs were impressive,
very good on
definitely.
offense. And
They
then
didn't
also,
really
I
have a
think,
bad series either.
It's really important to point out just the age of Hunter. He's a young player. He's
I mean,
got
if they
a
came in and
long
played
career
like
ahead of
that
himself.
at
So
Worlds,
to have a
with
result
like
this and to have
with
this
such a
kind
good
of
team, they
confidence
could
boost
do
that
some
early in-
damage.
in your or that early
Definitely.
in your career. could mean some amazing things. And we also saw some great talent like Sphinx. You know, there's some young talent from other regions now that are really starting to come up. So
I'm great, by the way, Adrian, if you're still here.
I think just keep an eye on.
Just been enjoying this tournament. It's a great tournament.
This is really. I think I had to take a moment to step back and just realize where we are.
I'm Monkey Moon's sister.
That we have Chiefs in a top 8 where there's top level competition across with Mina doing so well as well. Sam is at the top. We're
Hope to see me next year in Saudi. I mean, I'm probably never going there for this.
G2, and also I think the other thing,
I mean, it's expensive.
To have someone else other than Torsos an amazing result, because usually it's been, you know,
only
it's the problem.
It helps when you make like everything.
No, it really
right?
does feel, though, that
I mean, I'd love to go there,
the
but
longer we go on,
it's difficult
the more
to
competitive
make that
every
happen.
region is getting, and it's truly becoming a global esport.
Is the only thing. And also, I feel like surely it's really hard to get into this venue. Like, just looking, there's not many people there. It's a small venue. It's very... And it seems like it's only like players outside of like people that are from there.
I am still in shock that
I mean, I could be wrong, but it seems almost impossible to get into that venue.
What a smooth recovery in the corner and a beauty of a shot to the bottom left. Well-deserved spot on the top plays list.
And then we've got this one, I believe, from Atomic.
Yeah, this is a good goal too.
The angle of the century.
It's honestly, the pass was such a good part of this play though.
Beautiful angle.
I think a lot of these players at this level scored that almost every time. But that pass was so good. Just found them. And that's like team communication as well. Atomic staying there, knowing what Daniel's capable of, etc.
I'm guessing that's the one mechanic you can do.
No, Gen.G played really good this series. Open for more than 5,000 fans? Really? It looks like a tiny venue. Like, it looks so much smaller than 5,000. When you like see the room. But I believe you, I believe you. But it really looks super small.
Was a testament to those cool community rules that we come up. That's what we do. We're a community.
I guess it's bigger for other esports, is what Sino's saying. Possibly, yeah.
Sometimes you get captured by the moment.
The venue definitely looks like it's holding like not even 1,000, maybe 1,000.
For, you know, 30 seconds. Are we really? No, okay.
You were there yesterday?
And you gotta own it. He didn't go.
It looks super small. But I guess we're not getting like proper shots of it.
The other funny thing is that his like a lot of times if people try to roll one,
I don't know if I can find a shot of the venue.
I'll just go for the demo because I'm like, we're playing a game here.
Yeah, dude, I'm trying to win. I need your help.
The fact that everyone out there was like, all right, I'll take it. K-Corp, we get do it. Monkey Moon do it with BDS.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, there's like room up high somewhere. It's really hard to get a feeling of how that venue is, to be fair.
Tonight we'll have our closing ceremony later on here, but I want
It's
to
really
get some
hard.
final thoughts from you guys on the tournament as a whole, what we've witnessed for Rocket League and just EWC.
Oh, it's just it's amazing to see all these regions come together.
But yeah, it's tough for me to get there though, Ash, like
I had a lot of fun.
financially, etc. Right?
Fun itself, but even off camera, getting to hang
Make time
out,
for it.
play games with people. I just had so much fun. It was a blast.
Yeah, wonderful experience getting to come out here and meet a region that I've never got to really experience. And
It makes a lot more sense for me to go somewhere else in Europe, that it's much more close by if it goes to Worlds or something like that, right?
I'm going to reiterate everything they said. It's been fun
Next year?
being able to wander around. I've been talking. I can see them over the PUBG guys. There's so many games going on, and to have everyone join in and celebrate just esports and video games in general has been a blast. But we are at the end now. The party does not end, even though the gameplay is over. We do have the closing
Would I
ceremonies
go?
later on, and we'll be sending you over to
I mean, first of all,
EWC
it's
Center
not gonna
right after
happen,
this. They're
I
gonna be
think,
doing a recap
because
of
it's
the
already
entire
been there.
tournament. They've got, guests
But
like
I'd say
Tyler One,
that's a
Sidemen.
maybe.
It's going to be
I'd
fun, so
go
please stick
if
around. For
a lot of
us,
people I
for
knew
Rocket League and the games,
was also
we are
going.
done. Thank you for joining us here
I'd
in
say.
Riyadh for the Esports World Cup, and we'll see you next time.
Then I probably would. I'm hoping it comes to Norway at some point, though. It's never been to Norway. Do you feel as if some teams don't change their playstyle if they aren't doing well? I think all of them do to some extent change their playstyle. But I think, like, in general, the best playstyle is to play your own game and play well. It's hard if you're feeling off to, like, change your playstyle. Like, it's just hard, right? Like, if the other team is playing really good, you can try to change your playstyle, and teams try, clearly. Like, teams do try, but it is really tough, right? There's only small things they are changing, I think, overall. Like, if they're noticing they're, like, certain things they're giving up, like, they're getting boost starved, or, like, stuff like that, they're gonna try to, like, do better with not getting starved, controlling the ball better, like, stuff like that. I think that's mainly what teams are talking about. I don't think many teams actually try to, like, change their playstyle, like, fundamentally change it. It's more like certain things they're noticing, okay, we're doing this pretty poorly, we gotta do better with this. Or, like, they're like, demoing us a lot, we gotta try to avoid it. Or, like, stuff like that, you know what I mean? I think that's how they try to adapt. If that makes sense. I'm guessing it's not something you can do because it's resin and stuff. I don't think they can do it, like, immediately and show us. Yeah. They were kind of figuring it out the final game, I would say. Gen.G started looking good. But it was kind of too late. I also think, yeah, Gen.G weren't doing a good enough job of controlling possession in that series. But yeah, it's tough. Like, yeah, BDS has such a enforcing playstyle. It's really tough to actually do much when it's going wrong, right? It is very tough against that kind of style. It's like, just play better, you know, like, but it's, yeah, easy. There's obviously things you can do, but it is hard for these teams when there's so much pressure coming the other way. Yeah, I mean, Vitality is a lot less aggressive than BDS, though, to be fair. Like, Vitality do space out more, typically. So it is definitely a bit different, but... Because BDS don't really rely upon defending, right? And I think Gen.G did catch BDS on the counter pretty well. They were quite clinical on the counter, Gen.G, which is why they actually came out with those 2 wins, I think. But yeah, it's tough. But I think if they could control the ball better and yeah, stuff like that in their, like, in defense, then maybe they could set up more for attacks. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's just so hard, right, to, like, just, like, demo more. It's really hard. Only works if BDS are in positions to get demoed, right? But yeah, I think we're gonna send the raid over to Ryer, since he's live. I haven't raided him in a bit. Who got MVP? Actually, Jorius did. Which I think is a bit of a weird MVP, but I'm also not too mad at it, because I think he had a phenomenal performance, but... I think it is weird to give it to someone who goes out top 8, but... I mean, he is in the conversation for MVP, I think, as well, so it's not that bad. It could be worse. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, though, guys. I enjoyed the event. I hope you did too. I'll see you soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Say hi to Ryan from me. Have a good one.